In the small, lovely cafe, melodious music envelops every corner, blending with the sweet aroma of freshly baked pastries. Suddenly, the door opens gently with a soft sound. Woojin, with his radiant golden hair, enters casually. The girls' eyes follow him in unison, whispers spreading throughout the space. He is so handsome, I can't believe someone like him lives around here. Woojin flashes a bright smile, greeting. Yujiong, while pressing buttons on the machine, politely asks, "Hello? Welcome. What would you like to order?" He looks at her with gentle eyes and asks, "Nuna, when will you be done with work today?" The girls nearby immediately start buzzing. "He is so handsome. Did you hear that?" He called her Nuna. Yujiong responds with a professional smile. "When will you be done with work today is not on the menu, sir." Woojin shamelessly continues, "Will the shop still be open for the anniversary next week? If not, let us go somewhere together." Yujiong completely ignores him. "If you have not decided what you want to order, may I help the next customer in line first?" Woojin turns to look at Kalak behind him. With a sad expression, she immediately says, No, it is really okay. If you are still choosing, please take your time." Hearing that, Woojin perks up like a puppy and replies, "She said it is okay." Yujiong angrily emphasizes each word, "Sir. If you do not intend to order, please step out of the line, okay?" Woojin continues to shamelessly whine. "Sis, why do you keep calling me sir? It sounds like you are keeping your distance from me. I do not like that. Please call me by my name, like before." Yujiong's smile gradually distorts. She curses inwardly, "But there is no reason for me to call you by your name." Nevertheless, she sighs. Then she has no choice but to compromise. "Please order, Ju Yanwu." Woojin demands more, just Yanwu. She has no choice but to indulge him. "All right, Yanwu, what would you like to order?" Only then does he obediently order a grapefruit honey black tea. While Yujiong is preparing the drink, Ji-yoon excitedly runs over and asks, Miss Kim, is there something going on between you and that handsome guy? I see him here every single day." Yujiong indifferently says, "He is just a regular customer. There is really nothing." She quickly replies, "No way, I do not believe it." While making the drink, she thinks to herself, "Let us see, we have had more customers since Ju started coming here, but even so." Her thoughts are interrupted when she hands him the drink. "Here's your grapefruit honey black tea." Woojin politely replies, "Thank you." Then he asks same old question, "Are you really not free today?" Yujiong coldly refuses, "Ju." But before she can finish, he interrupts, "I am really tired. You know how difficult it is for lower-ranked espers to get guide time? I do not know any other guides who can help me, and honestly, my synchronization rate is low too." Facing his smooth-tongued lies, she frowns and thinks, "What, a low-ranked esper? You do not have a guide. By the way, I will explain, I have a good reason to avoid this guy. Because he will destroy the life that I finally got." Yujiong softly speaks, "Listen, Ju." He softly makes a noise, happily thinking she has softened. Her voice suddenly becomes heavy. "Wait, that is not your real name, is it? Because you are the guild master of Messian. I should call you Yeon Woojin, right?" Her words shock him into silence. Yujiong begins to reminisce about the past. People often say life is unpredictable, but calling my life that would be an understatement. At that time, she was a student sitting at a train station, waiting for a train. Suddenly, there was an ear-piercing beep. She took off her headphones to check, but the beep became louder, echoing throughout her mind, causing her to panic and cover her ears. Immediately after, she fainted, amidst the screams of the people around her. "Are you all right, dear?" Yujiong inwardly narrates, "The day everything started, nothing unusual happened. Until my ears started ringing, and I collapsed. At that time, I thought my life was over. But I woke up as Amelia Campbell, instead of Kim Yujiong." Speaking of Amelia Campbell, she was the illegitimate child of Earl Campbell, scorned by the other members of the family, and destined for a loveless marriage with the prince. In other words, I woke up in a typical family situation that fictional romance novels often have. At that time, I was very shocked and struggled ideologically. What should I do? How to escape this damn family? Am I really the female lead? Who has to escape from here? Is that really what I have to do? After considering everything, I decided to learn more about the imperial language, because unfortunately I woke up in a world where I did not know anything about the language of this place. When I looked at the squiggly writing, I even thought with a headache, is this writing or scribbles? By the time I finally mastered this strange language, Earl Campbell ordered me to participate in the war. Each family in the Herman Empire must have at least one member participate in the battle, and because I was the illegitimate child of the Earl, I had to go instead of the eldest son who was being promoted to heir to the family. But luckily, Amelia had a special power, and I used it to survive. Amelia's special power was healing, while healing the soldiers. I was confused. Is this a sensational novel in the guise of romance? After 5 years of war, the Empire finally won the battle, and I was able to enjoy the ceremony that followed, and was quite surprised that I finally had the power to destroy the Campbell family. I did not have any connections or contact when I first woke up in this world, but now I have it all, so I am not worried about anything anymore, Raymond, standing next to me, softly said. Amel, but I just indifferently replied, if you ask me to marry you again, I will throw that sentence in your face, Your Majesty. However, right at the moment when the fireworks were bursting, I heard the familiar beep. I painfully covered my ears. Despite Raymond frantically calling beside me, Amel, that is the sound I heard 7 years ago, it rang out again. The sound of water gently falling echoed. At this time, Yu Jiang also woke up in the hospital bed. She blankly looks around, I smell disinfectant, and the pattern on this hospital gown looks familiar. No way! I am back! She happily looks at herself in the mirror. I am Kim Yu Jiang again. I am finally back in my world. Before she could collect herself, Se-young's scolding voice rang out outside the door. See? I told you, that guy did not deserve you, Yu Jiang. I will introduce someone better to you, okay? Yu Jiang blankly asks, who are you? Se-young, while shaking her, excitedly says, why are you acting like you do not know me? Is it because I told you to break up with that Si-hyuk jerk? Are you going to forgive that scumbag again? There are many other guys in their 20s. You deserve someone better. Yu Jiang, dazed, asks, what? I do not understand what you are saying now. She suddenly startled and pondered. But wait, what do you mean by 20s? I did not realize, because I am still hazy. But did 7 years also pass for Kim Yu Jiang? While I was living as Amelia. Then, who was living as Kim Yu Jiang when I was not here? After clarifying everything, she asked again in disbelief, so, I opened a flower shop instead of going to university, and with your idea, I lent money to my ex-boyfriend without clearly writing an IOU. Furthermore, you said that my parents moved to the countryside to grow. Suddenly Hyun-woo poked his head in to interrupt. Yu Jiang, you are awake. I am so glad, but there is a slight problem. Looking at that unfamiliar face, she could not help but be confused. Wait, who is this person? Se-young turned to instruct him. Hyun-woo, if the problem is not serious, can you help Yu Jiang with the discharge papers first? We can talk later at her house. Hyun-woo shyly smiled and replied, actually, Yu Jiang's house was destroyed when a high-level esper lost control. From a face of extreme confusion, Yu Jiang gradually fell into a state of extreme shock. What the hell is an esper? Is that the name of a storm or something? How could a house that was so good be destroyed? Or did a herd of elephants run through the neighborhood? Why is my life always a mess? Yu Jiang sadly continued to reminisce. It has been a year since I returned to my original world. I thought I had returned to the familiar world of before. But it has become a fantasy modern world. Like, in a novel, the destruction of my house was just the beginning. What happened after that was also a shock to me. Amid a flood of chaotic information, 3 things caught my attention the most. First, the existence of espers and guides. Espers are people who have the ability to use powers. Guides are people who have the ability to purify the contaminated blood vessels of espers. These 2 groups of people are collectively called awakened people. It seems that these are the 2 most sought-after occupations in the world, and I know 2 people who have this power. And that jerk, in just the first year I returned to this world, that guy destroyed my house 3 times. To briefly explain that person's identity, he is one of the 5 S-level espers in Korea, possessing many abilities. He is also the young president of Masia, the #1 association in Korea and #2 in the world, Yeon Woo-jin. At that time, Yu Jiang was intently looking at the phone screen. I got back the deposit for my apartment and also received subsidies from the government and the Victim Support Fund. But it is still not enough, and I would feel bad if I stayed at Se-young's house again. Therefore, she made a decision. I gave up the idea of buying a house, but it seems that it could not be implemented. Instead, I borrowed money from my parents to open a cafe. I was lucky to find a good location, because my parents knew a landlord, but I decided to work part-time until the cafe was ready, because opening a cafe costs a lot of money. While working part-time, Soo-jin, who worked at the same shop, whispered to her, Sis, he is here again. Look, Yu Jiang looked in that direction. It is that customer again. That man is a popular customer who visits at least once a week and always orders an iced Americano. He attracts attention not only because of his appearance, but also because he always comes with beautiful women who look like celebrities. Suddenly, the girl sitting opposite Woo-jin angrily shouted, There will come a day when you will regret it. Gun-woo eavesdropped. Luckily that girl left. Remember the last time that girl threw a glass of water on him? We were the ones who had to clean it up. Yu Jiang gently reminded. Shh, he can hear you. She glanced at him and thought, every time he comes to the cafe, he breaks up with a different woman. It is really impressive. Gun-woo suddenly asked, Did everyone see that Error cleared the dungeon? Soo-jin wondered. Error? What is that? He explained in detail. It's a special guide that causes a lot of controversy. And in a video they posted, they broadcast live inside the gate. Yu Jiang did not understand and asked again. So what? That kind of video is rare, but still exists, right? The center sometimes posts such videos. However, Gun-woo's words made the atmosphere gloomy. The problem is that someone died during the live stream. A C-level esper was not guided in time and lost control, and that was filmed. Of course they took down the live stream, Yujiang quickly asked. What was that Esper's ability? He looked at the screen and replied, It is explosion. From the answer she understood the reason. They must have broadcast the scene of his body exploding. Sujin changed the subject to dispel the gloomy atmosphere. Speaking of guides, there was a time when I wanted to become a guide. I used to dream about a handsome Esper dreaming about me. The Espers are all very attractive, so I want to become the only guide of an Esper and receive eternal love from him. Yu Jiang helplessly said. She must have read too many romance novels. Gunwoo also agreed. You are right, I do not know when she will grow up. Sujin sadly defended. Come on, only guides can make an Esper obey them. Everyone is too much. Yu Jiang immediately explained, that is not right. A guide can't refuse to guide. Guiding can easily occur forcibly, just through body contact, of course, depending on the guide's decision. The intensity or level can be adjusted. Gunwoo praised her. You seem to know a lot about guides. She awkwardly smiled and stammered. That is because my friend works at the center. He excitedly asked more. So is it true that just by body contact an Esper can recognize a guide? Yu Jiang avoided his gaze, reluctantly answering a guide can't completely give up their ability, but they can hide it so that most people do not recognize it. Sujin surprisingly asked, I have never heard of this before. How do you know? Gunwoo also eagerly said, tell us more, but Yu Jiang only forced a smile and avoided it. She thought to herself but did not dare to say it. I know all these things, because I am a guide. Everything happened 8 months ago. When Yu Jiang was sitting listening to the news with Seyong and Hyun-woo, the leading guide association messiah, once again destroyed the monsters. Appropriate guidance was carried out before. The Esper lost control. She peeled an apple while lamenting. The life of an Esper will be in danger if they do not receive guidance, and the fact that a guide is forced to save lives sounds like a curse for both sides. Thinking back, when I was Amelia, I also had the ability to heal. Now I can't use that ability because I am in my own body. But why do I still remember the feeling when using them? Because she was so focused on thinking, she accidentally cut her hand. Hyun-woo quickly stopped her hand. Yu Jiang, what are you doing? Seyong also worriedly asked. What, are you not hurt much? Yu Jiang honestly replied. I was too focused on thinking, so I slipped. Suddenly Hyun-woo's face changed, making her panic. Immediately after, he surprisingly asked, Yu Jiang, are you a guide? Seyong surprisingly exclaimed, what? Even the owner Yu Jiang was surprised because she really did not know. Yu Jiang reminisced because Hyun-woo is an Esper, so we tried to do some different tests with his help, and found out that I might be a high-level guide. Oh wow, you are amazing. At that time, Seyong happily hugged her. Oh wow, you are amazing, Yu Jiang. And she was stunned. My level can't be C or higher, right? Level C and above are required to serve at the center for 3 years. I have experienced being considered someone with special abilities. Enough in the 7 years in the fantasy romance world. I just want to live peacefully, doing what I like. So Yu Jiang instructed the two of them. Hyun-woo, do not tell anyone that I am a guide. You too, Seyong. You must keep it a secret, understand? Even though they did not understand the reason, they still agreed. Okay. Yu Jiang was confident in herself. Being a guide or Esper is not a common thing, because I have learned how to control my abilities thanks to the time I lived as Amelia. So I can definitely hide this power without any problems, right at this moment. Sujin interrupted the recollection. Sis, I accidentally forgot an order. Can you bring this to the customer for me? Yu Jiang gently asked. What table number is it? She replied, number 8. Yu Jiang carried the food while thinking about the number 8 in her head, because that was Wu Jin's table. She put the food on the table and politely said, excuse me, here is your order. But unfortunately the plate rolled out. She saw that, while thinking to herself, damn it, she reached out to grab it. Accidentally, Wu Jin also reached out, so both of them touched each other's hands. The scene suddenly became awkward. She quickly withdrew her hand. I am sorry. I was just reaching for the fork. I did not mean to touch your hand. Looking at that handsome face, she could not help but admire. This is the first time I have seen him so close. He is really handsome. Yu Jiang shyly said, enjoy your cake, and quickly left. Suddenly he grabbed her hand, making her stand still. Confused in her heart, what is going on? She withdrew her hand and politely asked, is there something on my hand? I put lotion on my finger, sorry about that. Yu Jiang could not help but worry. Things will get more complicated if I interact with him, so she quickly found a reason to leave. The next drink is on me. Enjoy your meal. As she left, she was afraid that the reason she gave was not convincing enough. Really? Hand lotion, huh? Sujin sternly interrogated her. What did you do to him? Yu Jiang shyly replied, I told you. I did not do anything. The reason Sujin interrogated her was because a week had passed since that day. That guy had no longer brought women to the cafe. Gunwoo came to remind her. Hey, Jiang Sujin, stop gossiping, get back to work. Sujin still did not give up. You also noticed that, right? He is acting strangely towards her. She recounted the moment Wu Jin came to the shop and asked, can you recommend some items to me? Then she explained in detail, this is the first time he did not just order his familiar coffee and leave. I can tell he is interested in you. Gunwoo blankly asked, what? That is your reason? Yu Jiang folded her arms and calmly replied, as I said, nothing happened, and even if he is interested in me, it is definitely not for the reason you are thinking. Hearing that, Su Jin pouted. Come on, how can you be so sure? Gunwoo had to pull her away to get her out of the way. Hey, there is a new order, do not bother her anymore, hurry back to work. Su Jin was still not convinced and continued. I am telling the truth, according to my intuition, it is not like that, and Yu Jiang thought. His eyes are not the kind of romantic interest, they look like they are always on guard, but at the same time they are also curious. The afternoon gradually faded away. Yu Jiang asked Gunwoo, I am going to sort out the point cards, so can you take care of the cleaning? He quickly replied, I know. She focused on sorting the point cards. Suddenly spoke, that reminds me, that customer has not registered for a point card yet. Gunwoo asked in confusion, which customer? She honestly replied, the one that Su Jin always calls handsome. I just realized that I never stamped his point card at the cash register. Gunwoo recounted, I asked him before if he wanted to register, but he said he did not need it. Suddenly the phone rang. He quickly said, I have to take this call, I will be right back. Yu Jiang gently replied, okay, go ahead. It started to rain outside. Suddenly the door opened. Yu Jiang immediately spoke, welcome. The sound of an umbrella being placed down. Wu Jin with his golden hair stepped inside. Seeing him, she thought to herself, I have not seen him in a whole week, but he is here now. Wu Jin's face was pale, and his voice was also a bit weak. Hello, seeing that she could not help but wonder, is he sick? He looks so pale. Yu Jiang professionally said, welcome, please have a seat. But before she could finish, Wu Jin interrupted, I will order a drink here. An iced Ricano. She slightly frowned. He wants to drink something cold in this condition. Yu Jiang worriedly said, you do not look too well, why do not you try a warm drink instead of a cold one? It is raining today, so I think you might feel cold. Wu Jin was slightly surprised and then obediently asked, what kind of warm drinks do you have? Can you recommend one for me? She looked at the menu and turned to ask him, how about grapefruit honey, black tea, or yuzu tea? He gently smiled and teased her. You must like grapefruit a lot. You recommended that kind of tea to me last time too. But Yu Jiang felt puzzled. Did I do that? However, she still quickly reacted and said, all right. Then a grapefruit honey black tea. Coming right up. Wu Jin handed her the bank card while replying, great, thank you. He looked at the point cards on the table and asked in confusion, what is that? Yu Jiang quickly explained, this is our point card. Every time you buy a drink, we will put a stamp, and when you get 10 stamps, you will get a free drink. Do you want to make a card? Wu Jin gently nodded, seemingly too tired to speak. Yu Jiang also realized that why does he look paler and paler? So she reached out and gently measured the temperature on his forehead. Are you all right? You really look sick. Wu Jin's pupils suddenly dilated as if he realized something. And she also regretted her action. Damn, I reacted out of habit from when I was Amelia. He quickly grabbed her hand. His face gradually became rosier. Yu Jiang could not help but be surprised. Looking at the air flowing around, she wondered, what is that? She frantically withdrew her hand. What just happened? But very quickly, Yu Jiang regained her professional demeanor. I am sorry for taking the liberty of touching you. You should drink your tea and go to the hospital right away. Also, I need your name to make a point card, sir. What is your name? Wu Jin gently replies, it is Yan Wu. But before he can finish, the TV overpowers his voice. We did it, everyone. Korea's pride, Messiah, has just set a world record for clearing an A-level gate in the shortest time. Wu Jin's face suddenly contorts. Yu Jiang is no less surprised than him. What, Messiah, the head of that association, is the jerk who destroyed my house. She grinds her teeth and curses inwardly. Yan Wu Jin, that damn thing, if I ever meet him again, I will kill him. Wu Jin accidentally hears it and is quite surprised. Seeing Wu Jin looking at her in surprise, Yu Jiang panics. Did I just say that out loud? She awkwardly smiles and quickly changes the subject. I am sorry. What did you say your name was? Yan Wu. Wu Jin hesitates and then lies. It is Ju Yan Wu. A few days later, in a certain cafe, Se-young, sitting opposite, asks Yu Jiang, I heard so he is going to study abroad. She nods and replies, yes, originally it was next year, but the schedule has been moved up earlier than expected. Se-young gently blames her. Why did not you tell me earlier? Then just come live with me. You remember when you let me stay over after I argued with my parents in my senior year? You do not know how much that meant to me. But Yu Jiang skillfully refuses. It is okay. My shop is almost finished, so I can just stay there. She thinks to herself, actually, so he said she would move out a week before the cafe was completed, but I feel guilty if I ask Se-young for more help after everything she has done for me. Speaking of the cafe, Se-young quickly asks, oh, and I heard there is an extremely handsome customer at the cafe you work at. Is it true that he likes you? Yu-jiang asks in surprise. How did you know about that? She smiles and replies, Sujin happens to be my junior in college. So is that true? Yu-jiang slightly frowns and honestly replies, oh, that gossipy kid. Well, he is handsome, but he does not like me in the way you are thinking, Se-young curiously asks. Then what kind of interest is it? She muses and then replies, he looks more like a scientist who has just discovered an unknown species. Se-young does not understand her words. Huh? What do you mean? She immediately changes the subject. It is not important. How have you been lately? Se-young sighs in frustration. Still busy as always. A new high-level esper has appeared. But he is a troublemaker, Yu-jiang curiously asks. What level? Se-young angrily recounts, a rare B-level esper. He is still a teenager, but he sexually harassed a guide right after registering, so it caused a lot of trouble. But most people want to ignore it, because the guide is low-level. She is equally annoyed. That is ridiculous. People say everyone is equal, but everywhere there is always a difference in treatment between levels. Awakened people also have different discrimination depending on their level. In this hierarchical system, it is common for those in power to force and exploit others. Suddenly, Se-young hesitated. By the way, I checked my synchronization rate with Hyun-woo recently, and it has increased. Actually, your compatibility with Hyun-woo is higher than mine. So I am a little worried. I am afraid he might fall in love with you. Yu-jiang angrily says, What? But he is the one you like, not me. She quickly explains, I am sorry, but you know, espers and guides with synchronization rates often date each other. It must just be a misunderstanding of emotions. Due to the guiding work, research shows that people with high synchronization rates can attract each other, but it rarely develops into true love. That is right, but people say that the level of attraction will be higher for high-level guides and espers, like Heinz a level esper. Yu-jiang recalls, an esper obsessed over his guide and killed all the espers related to her. Then he lost control and killed his guide, right? If I remember correctly, he was eventually killed by another esper. Se-young quickly tried to fix the situation. But not all espers are like that. There are also many kind espers like Hyun-woo. Well, I do not need any guides or espers in my life, except for you and Hyun-woo. Yu-jiang also brightly smiles and replies, if I reduce my abilities to the lowest, Hyun-woo would not recognize that I am a guide, right? I just want to live like a normal person. She thinks to herself. Moreover, people rarely encounter espers in everyday life. However, one day she was cleaning the shop. When she suddenly saw a card, she stood still. What is this? A central gate entry card. The card was engraved with the words Gate Entry Card. On it was a photo of Woo Jin. Yu-jiang silently analyzed. If there are two borders at the corner of the card, it means that person is an esper, and one line is a guide. Gate Entry Card. Gate Entry Card. Lucky. This is the card of a low-level esper. Even so, he is still an esper. She picks up the card and gives it to Woo Jin. You dropped this. He smiles brightly and replies, thank you. Yu-jiang can't help but wonder, so the feeling I had that day was not an illusion. But how could that happen? I did not intentionally activate my ability. Regardless of those questions, she makes a decision. No, I should not think too much. I won't be working here for long, so I won't have to see him again. A few days later pass. Sujin laments. He did not come today either. Yu-jiang asks in surprise. Who? She lies on the table sadly and replies, the customer you have been avoiding lately. Yu-jiang secretly laughs. That is right. I am glad he stopped coming. Then she softly says, they must be busy, and I am not avoiding him. Sujin pouts and replies, sis, do you really think I do not notice? Every time he comes in, you find a way to avoid him. It is obvious. She is speechless and blankly asks, what? I thought I was good at keeping it a secret. Sujin frankly replies, whoever said that is lying to you. Yu-jiang recalls when she transmigrated into the book, but that arrogant prince said, well, you are a good actress. You should consider this job. Thinking about it now, maybe that guy was sneering when he said that jerk. Sujin starts daydreaming. If I were you, I would bow and thank him, then put him in a backpack and run away with him. Or maybe get married right away, and she just coldly replies, you would get caught. Yu-jiang suddenly falls into contemplation, but I also want to stroke his light brown hair. He looks like a puppy. Anyway, it does not matter because he is an esper, basically. He is forbidden fruit. As time passes, it is time to close, so Sujin announces, you close the shop today. Oh, remember to close all the windows too. It will rain tonight, Yu-jiang happily replies. Okay, see you later. The cafe is deserted with only electric lights. She turns off the lights and goes outside. Yu-jiang buries her face in her scarf, shivering, and softly says, it is so cold. She walks quickly down the street. Suddenly, something in front caught her attention. It was a staggering figure, Yu-jiang thought. What is this? Drunk? It has been a year since I returned to this world, but I still can't ignore people who do not look well. I should call the police to help him. In fact, it was Woo Jin emitting golden rays of light around him. Seeing that, Yu-jiang could not help but be surprised. She softly asks, Ju. Suddenly, strange red rays appeared under the ground, making her extremely confused. Stones flew everywhere, hitting her legs. Yujiang was frightened by the scene in front of her. What the hell is going on? She stood stunned, looking at Wu Jin. I did not know a low-level esper losing control could be this strong. Yujiang quickly got up, running as fast as she could towards Wu Jin. Extremely worried, he is controlling his power, so he is still conscious. Is he an esper who possesses attack power? What ability can cause the ground to crack like this? Can't waste time. I do not know when he will lose control, or what will happen if the attack range opens up. But one thing I am sure of is that I could die if I just ignore him like this. Damn it, this terrible life. She reached out, grabbed Wu Jin's face and shouted, Ju! Wake up, Ju! But the power still did not subside. She was extremely confused. Just touching him does not seem to be enough. Damn it, what am I going to do with this situation? To this extent, then, I am really going to die. Suddenly, a memory flashed in her mind. At that time, Hyun Woo asked her, Yujiang, do you know how to increase the effectiveness of guiding yourself? She folded her arms and indifferently asked, Do I need to know that stuff? He gently replied. You should know in case of emergency. What needs to be done is to increase the area of physical contact. This is very useful when you want to release a large amount of power at the same time, or increase its effectiveness. For example, being able to guide espers through their mouths, so Yujiang gently put her hand on Wu Jin's lips and said, Ju, open your mouth. Immediately after, she pressed her lips to his. Wu Jin gradually woke up. Yujiang silently explained, This is an emergency. I am just giving him artificial respiration right now. Wu Jin's power gradually subsided. Realizing that, she also let go. That is enough guiding. But Wu Jin dazedly looked at Yujiang, reaching behind her neck and demanding, I need more. Can I? Just a little? She tried to resist. Wait. But he still forcibly kissed her. She rummaged through her pockets. Is there anything I can use to get rid of him? She felt her phone, then took it and slammed it into him. Looking at the thing in her hand, she was slightly surprised. I grabbed anything I could find in my pocket. But why the phone? Her phone was now shattered. There was blood on the corner of the phone. Looking at Wu Jin lying motionless in the rain, she could not help but be afraid. I accidentally knocked someone out. Yujiang quickly dragged Wu Jin home. While dragging, she complained, He is so damn heavy. What do you eat to be so heavy? After putting Wu Jin on the bed, she sat pensively on the ground. I can't believe this happened. Remembering just now when she was helping Wu Jin walk in the rain, she asked, Where is your house, huh? He weakly replied, Apartment 00, Block 101, Room 3602. Then she had to help him open the door password. Put your hand up. Yujiang sadly thought, I do not understand why my phone was broken, but I had to bring him here, because I did not want to be questioned by the police. She reassured herself, also, if I took him to the motel I am staying at, that would be even stranger. I accidentally hit him, but I also saved his life. Suddenly behind her there was a soft sound of, and panting. Yujiang reached out and touched Wu Jin's forehead. He is so hot, what should I do to reduce his fever? She hesitated for a moment, then softly said, I will look around here, okay? After searching for a while, she happily exclaimed, Here it is. Looking at Wu Jin's closet, she wondered, why does he have so many kinds of medicine? Looking at the types of medicine, she finally picked up the red box and said to herself, This should be good. Yujiang quickly called Wu Jin, Hey, can you sit up a bit? While feeding him water, she happily thought, he finished taking the medicine. That is great. The wound on his forehead is not too serious. Maybe the bones of the espers are very strong. She suddenly became worried. Wait, what if he wakes up and notices that I hit him on the head? His level may be low, but he is still an esper after all. Maybe he will cause trouble again, so it is best that I prepare for safety. Is doing this right? But this is okay, right? Looking at the sensual work of tying Wu Jin up in front of her, she felt speechless with herself. However, she ignored it. Because she was exhausted, she was caught in the rain, and now she is also exhausted. I should rest a bit before going home. Thinking that, she went to the sofa and lay down to sleep. The sound of fireworks suddenly rang out. Inside the palace were brilliant lights, along with people laughing and talking to each other. Amelia was standing on the balcony shooting fireworks when Raymond's voice interrupted. Amel. She coldly turned her head and warned, If you ask me to marry you again, I will throw this in your face. Raymond smiled brightly and replied, The glass of wine in your hand. You really do not mean that, do you? Amelia looked at him and spoke, Ray. I mean, Your Highness. Raymond chuckled. If it is you, it is okay, Amel. I do not care what you call me. Have you thought about what you will do next? She frankly replied. I will start to take revenge. Hearing that, Raymond smiled and asked, Do you want me to help you? But Amelia flatly refused. Forget it. Do not get involved. This is something I have to do myself. She silently speculated, he knows I will start to take revenge when the war ends, so that is why he asked me so unprovokedly, right? While turning to leave, Amelia suddenly stood still. Wait. Before she could collect herself, a series of beeps rang in her head. Along with a hazy illusion at the train station, Raymond was worriedly beside her. Are you okay, Leah? The glass of wine in her hand fell to the ground and shattered, and she painfully hugged her head even though Raymond shouted, Amelia! Call the doctor immediately. Delos, wake up, Amelia! A pair of chopsticks gently picked up a piece of eggplant and placed it on the hot rice. Someone's voice spoke. Yujong, this is your favorite. Yujiang was a little surprised, made eye contact with her mother and asked in confusion, But Mom, I have hated eggplant since I was little. She heard that and was slightly surprised. Really? You could eat it just a few days ago. Why has it changed now? This exclamation made Yujong pause, trying to smile as she watched her mother pick up that piece of food. Ah, really? Speaking of the past, that day when the door suddenly opened, accompanied by Yuzhong's voice, Mom, I am back. She leaned over to look at her from the kitchen, smiling and replying, You are home early today. What are you holding? Is it for Yuha? Yujiang heard that and realized something. That is right. She flashed a bright smile, thinking to herself, Mom gave birth to my brother when I was in another world. I am still not used to him yet. While keeping a smile on her face and gently raising the gift bag, I brought cakes for everyone. But what replied to her was another question from her mother. But you do not like sweets, do you? Did not you say that just seeing whipped cream made you nauseous? Her voice continued to ring out, but Yujiang had long been lost in her own thoughts. Yuha said that he was lonely because I did not spend much time with him. And you have not been calling lately either. What is wrong? She counted. 3, 4. She did not stop. Those unkind words still competed to stab at her heart. Mom does not think it is because you are busy. You also do not laugh much anymore. Or did something happen to you? This made her mood even worse. Her eyes slightly drooped thoughtfully. Every time I hear things about myself that I do not know, it feels like I am gradually disappearing. Thinking of this, Yujiang silently told herself, And I do not remember this world much. And while sitting next to her mother, she ate a half-eaten piece of apple, and curiously spoke, But why did not you make me go to university? She absently watched TV while chewing an apple and replied, Why are you suddenly asking that? It has been a long time. Looking at her mother's calm face, she continued to question, But Mom always wanted me to go to university. She did not look at her as she recounted, but her words were still full of concern. How could I let you go to university after what happened to you? When you lost your memory, you did nothing but cry all day, and I did not want things to get worse. Yu Jiang looked at her as if she understood something. So that is why. Seeing that, she did not hesitate to admit, Yes, I thought about how selfish I would be if I forced you to go to university. So I decided to just let you do whatever you wanted. Her words made Yu Jiang's thoughts gain momentum. I was only 17 years old when that happened, and only time seemed to have stopped at that moment. At the same time, in a room with rays of light filtering through, on the bed, Wu Jin's whole body was tightly tied up with Japanese rope bondage. The rays of the early morning accidentally woke Wu Jin. His closed eyes slowly opened. As soon as his consciousness returned, a series of questions poured out. How did I get home last night? I remember feeling extremely tired, and then suddenly much better. Then, gently wriggling his body, another question continued to be asked in his head. Why are these ropes wrapped around my body like this? At this moment, the sound outside attracted his attention. I am asking where the house is. Wu Jin slowly got out of bed. Very quickly, he approached a sofa and saw the figure lying on it. Wu Jin was so surprised that he stopped. His cheek suddenly flushed when Wu Jin thought, Is this the reward for me for being patient all this time? In his eyes at this moment was Yujiang sleeping soundly on the sofa, with a coat draped over her. I thought she was avoiding me. Wu Jin pursed his lips. The more he thought about it, the redder his cheeks became. Was it her who tied me up like this? At this moment, his eyes suddenly fell on something. He noticed the cut wound on Yujiang's leg. At that time, the blood had dried. The thing that the coat could not cover made Wu Jin a little stunned. Her leg is injured. Wu Jin slowly spoke. Call Song Hua Yan. The phone on the table immediately activated, replying with a very mechanical voice, calling Esper from Messiah, Song Hua Yan. Very quickly, a girl appeared in front of him, with a friendly look. Hello, I am Song Hua Yan, a newly recruited Esper. Hua Yan curiously looked at the man in front of her, wondering, why is he tied up like that? As if sensing her probing gaze on him, Wu Jin slightly raised his chin, making Hua Yan startled and reply, Oh, I understand. Being an intelligent person, Hua Xian immediately understood, quickly ran to the side of the injured Yu Jiang to treat her. Faint blue lights covered Yu Jiang's legs, making the cut on it gradually fade and disappear completely. While healing enthusiastically, Hua Yan suddenly startled again, and the corner of her mouth uncontrollably uttered an exclamation. Oh, she is a guide. As soon as the words were finished, she felt Wu Jin's bullet-like gaze on her from behind. Hua Yan hesitated and observed him. noticing that Wu Jin's light yellow eyes were like they were piercing deep into her heart, with a warning. Hua Yan immediately made a gesture of locking her mouth, as if the words would be buried with her. I will keep it a secret, boss. These words made Wu Jin satisfied and commented. You are sharp, newbie. After a while of fumbling, she came back in front of him to present. I have finished treating her external wounds as well as yours, and I will not tell anyone about what happened today. Spewing a series of promises to him, Hua Yan quickly said a final greeting and left. Goodbye, boss. At this time, Wu Jin, still tied up, came to the sofa where Yu Jiang was lying. She gently stirred, leaning to one side. Her eyes finally drowsily opened slightly. At this moment, you could hear Wu Jin's voice next to her ear. Are you okay? Yu Jiang jumped up in surprise and cried out, Ju! Yu Jiang's expression was 2 words of relief when she continued. Your fever is gone. While saying that, she reached out to touch Wu Jin's forehead. He did not avoid it, just gently closed his eyes to receive this gesture. I should have changed clothes when I woke up. I will catch a cold if I stay like this. Wu Jin's face and ears could not help but flush slightly, stammering, Then looking down at his body full of ropes, he continued. I want to, but I can't move my hands. A question was asked that made Yu Jiang terrified and pale. Is this a fetish of yours? Yu Jiang's inner cry echoed throughout the building, reaching 9 layers of clouds above. I have really lost my mind. A moment later, Yu Jiang in a Gucci t-shirt sat at the table thoughtfully thinking. Se-yong and Hyun Woo first met, when Se-yong saw Hyun Woo unconscious on the street and took him home. She glanced around anxiously as she continued to think. What happened between them was romantic love, but in my case it is concealing a crime to survive. Yu Jiang's suspicion was pushed to the top when she remembered the gifts that Wu Jin had brought with his own hands. He said I could take a shower, and even gave me clothes to wear. And when I just came out, I smelled food. At the same time, Wu Jin was quietly preparing food in the kitchen. Yu Jiang was so surprised that her jaw almost touched the ground. Her eyes widened and she thought, what I am feeling now is a false sense of security. I have to go back to the present quickly. Wu Jin's voice rang out again, interrupting her inner monologue. Do you like abalone porridge? Yu Jiang released her hands from her flushed cheeks while replying, anything is fine. Wu Jin continued to ask with concern, great, are you in any pain? The water in the pot on the stove began to boil. On this side, he told her what had happened. I asked someone to heal the wound on your leg, but if there are any other injuries that need to be checked, please let me know. It was not until she heard Wu Jin say these words herself that Yu Jiang remembered her leg, gently lifted it, and admired, he is telling the truth. Wu Jin did not turn to look at her, but continued to explain, I know an esper who knows how to heal, so I asked that person to come here to heal your injuries while you were sleeping. Please let me know if you have any symptoms like a fever or difficulty breathing. Yu Jiang widened her eyes and replied briefly, no, I am fine. He placed a hot bowl of porridge on the table in front of Yu Jiang while reminding her, if there is anything wrong, please let me know at any time. In Yu Jiang's heart, she was screaming, you are the one who needs to get your brain checked. Steam rose from the bowl of porridge. Wu Jin invited her, please eat while it is still hot. Yu Jiang was still full of doubts. Is this how he is thanking me after I saved him? Then, as a courtesy, Yu Jiang suggested, Ju, you should eat with me too. Wu Jin did not rush but simply replied, I will eat later. Seeing that he had declared it so firmly, Yu Jiang did not bother to ask further, but began to eat. All right, then, thank you for the meal. But Yu Jiang's face immediately darkened. When she ate the first bite, she even had to use her hand to prevent herself from throwing up. In Yu Jiang's heart were hundreds of questions. How can porridge taste like this? Salty, sweet, bitter, and sour, all at the same time. Wu Jin saw her expression, and was a little sad. He asked softly, is it very bad? Not that anyone was beating him, but he confessed honestly, I added a lot of nutritious ingredients because you look too thin, including elixir and 101 different medicinal herbs. The more Yu Jiang listened, the wider her eyes opened in surprise. What the hell is elixir? And why did not you add salt? Hearing this, he averted his eyes and explained softly, because I wanted it to be as nutritious as possible, and salt is not good for your health. Moreover, adding nutrients makes the food taste better. That confession immediately made Yu Jiang freeze. She and he looked at each other without saying a word. Then suddenly Wu Jin took the food tray on the table, preparing to leave with a sentence. If you do not like this porridge, just give it to me. I will throw it away. Yu Jiang immediately tried to stop him. No, I will eat it. Then she cried and laughed as she tried to force herself to eat this affectionate dish, wondering in her heart, again, when was the last time someone cooked something for me with the heart of family? Moreover, it is the least I can do after what I did to him. It gradually became evening as the last rays of sunlight disappeared behind the buildings. Yu Jiang's terrified voice rang out, what, 80 million won? Her face paled. In her hand was the coat that was draped over her last night. The coat I used to cover myself costs 80 million won. Yu Jiang's mind was full of messy thoughts. Planning to ask him to pay for her broken phone and for the guiding she did to save his life. She was not sure how much other guides charged for what she did, but she was sure that all those things combined were not worth more than this coat. After calculating the gains and losses, she had no choice but to say to Wu Jin, who was sitting next to her, "Let us just call it even." She held the 80 million won tightly in her hand, giving a very practical reason: people's lives are more important than money, so is not saving someone the most priceless action. Wu Jin could not help but feel surprised, hesitating, and asking again, "What, but?" Suddenly Yu Jiang turned to Wu Jin and continued, "I injured my leg trying to save you while you were going crazy, and my phone is also broken." Ju. He was a little confused by the way Yu Jiang called him Ju. She continued to recount, "I brought you back here all alone in the pouring rain, and I did not get any sleep last night." Then, not forgetting to add a sigh, "Not to mention, I keep feeling chills all over my body. I am probably getting sick soon." Wu Jin was only concerned about the title Yu Jiang used for him. He reminded, "Just call me by my name." Yu Jiang agreed almost immediately. "All right, Yan Wu." Following that was a decisive action. Yu Jiang stood up while continuing, "Anyway, let us just call it even, okay?" These words made Wu Jin's eyes widen in surprise. He remained slumped on the sofa as he whispered, "If anything, I am the one who owes you." Then he suddenly touched Yu Jiang's arm and softly said, "So, whatever you want, just tell me." She could not help but feel surprised by this action, thinking to herself as she observed Wu Jin's hand wrapped around her wrist, "So he will ignore the matter of the coat and compensate me." She glanced around to assess the situation. "I mentioned this to ask for some money, but now I suddenly feel a little embarrassed." Wu Jin continued to express his opinion. "As you just said, nothing is more important than life. You risked your life to save me, so I would feel bad if I let you leave empty-handed like this." Yu Jiang observed his embarrassed expression, continuing to think to herself, "I probably should not judge people by their appearance. He seems to be a better person than I thought." After much deliberation, she smiled and replied, "It is okay, really, but if you think so, you can pay for my taxi." Unexpectedly, Wu Jin directly stood up from the sofa with another suggestion, "I have a car, let me drive you home." Hearing his suggestion, Yu Jiang agreed, without hesitation, "Great, thank you." Wu Jin's white car glided through the night, blending with the traffic on the main road. Yu Jiang leaned back, resting against the seat, thinking to herself, "So this is what people mean by a smooth and comfortable ride." At this moment, Wu Jin's voice suddenly rang out beside her, "Do you like this car?" Yu Jiang turned to look at him, politely replying, "Ah, it is good and comfortable." Unexpectedly, this man seemed to have a filter on his face, smiling gently as he continued, "If you like it, I can give it to you." Yu Jiang immediately jumped. No need, I do not even have a parking space." She glanced at him, her intention to probe was clear. In her head, she kept thinking, considering the gains and losses, this is clearly an expensive car. Is he so rich that he can give it away? It is nothing. Reaching a certain place, seeing the silhouette of a blue motorcycle parked on the side of the road, Yu Jiang gestured, "You can drop me off in front of that." Wu Jin glanced around, curiously speaking, "Do you live near here?" Yu Jiang did not hide anything, and honestly recounted, "No, I have been staying at a hotel for a few days for some personal reasons." He revealed a clear surprise in his eyes, and continued, "A hotel nearby." Wu Jin's eyes suddenly became cold, as if unable to read the expression when he reminded her, "There might be something happening at the Oo Inn in this area, you should stay away from this place." These serious words made Yu Jiang exclaim, "What? Oo Inn?" In her heart she thought, "But that is where I am staying." Suddenly a strange feeling came over her, and she questioned him in return. "Wait, how does Yan Wu know that something is about to happen in this area, and what makes you say that?" He gently explained, but his eyes were a little evasive. "You also know that I am an esper. Recently I heard about a crime gang formed by corrupt guides and espers, and they are lurking here." Yu Jiang's eyes widened at this truth. What, they share information like that with espers in the lower ranks? The words she blurted out could not help but shock him. Lower ranks. Yu Jiang immediately explained, "I saw your entrance card that day, remember when I picked it up for you?" She observed him with a wary expression, silently calculating in her head, "I should verify this information immediately, because it involves a criminal organization. But I am a little worried after hearing it." Yu Jiang's eyes turned to nothingness, her mind briefly skimming through the possibilities. "I really do not want to ask Seong to stay over, but..." The next words were quickly spoken as Yu Jiang finalized the plan. "Then instead, can you take me to the subway station? I will go stay at a friend's house." Wu Jin did not say anything more, just gently nodded to show his agreement. The car continued to move. The sky quickly turned to morning. Yu Jiang's dispirited figure leaned against the metal locker next door, thinking to herself, "In the end, I could not stay overnight at Seong's place." The night before, when she enthusiastically pressed the doorbell, no one responded, immediately raising a confusing question in her heart, "Why can't I hear anyone inside?" She continued to knock on the door, her words slightly worried. "Seong, it is me, Yu Jiang. Are you home?" Yu Jiang's hand hesitated, stopping in front of the door. Se-young. Precisely because no one gave her shelter. That is why there is a Yu Jiang, with dark circles under her eyes and a haggard face at present. She did not answer, so I had to spend the night at a 24-hour cafe. I am exhausted now. At this moment, Sujin came to Yu Jiang's side, curiously speaking, sis, is that jacket from brand G? Without waiting for her to reply, she continued to admire with eyes as bright as stars. It is. And it is also a limited edition. I heard it is extremely expensive. Where did you buy it? Not letting that girl's imagination run wild, Yu Jiang seriously corrected. No. This is just my friend's. Sujin sighed again. Well, then your friend must be very rich. These words were answered by Yu Jiang with a smile, but Sujin did not know that her heart was exploding with this new information. Before it was the 80 million won coat. And now he is lending me the limited edition jacket from brand G. A conclusion was drawn immediately. I should return it to him right after I finish working. Followed by the appearance of Yu Jiang at Wu Jin's place. When she heard his voice on the other end of the intercom, Yu Jiang briefly presented. Hello, Yanwu. Sorry for coming without warning. Are you free? I have something I want to return to you. Followed by Wu Jin's hasty reply. Okay. Yu Jiang politely continued, but before she could finish, the door in front of her was opened. Just take your time. I was planning to ask him to come downstairs. Her hand reached for the doorbell, but before she could touch it, the door was pushed open. The figure of Wu Jin, covered in sweat from running, quickly caught her eye. He spoke. Hello. Yu Jiang raised her face, briefly showing surprise when she saw his appearance. I have not even rung the doorbell yet. Wu Jin's face turned red with embarrassment, trying to explain briefly. I heard your footsteps. Although hearing the somewhat unreasonable words, Yu Jiang still politely continued. Oh, I understand. Anyway, I came here to return your things. Wu Jin interrupted her with a suggestion. Come inside, are you cold? And then, without letting Yu Jiang speak, he continued to smile and presented. I was given some desserts from Memoria, but I do not really like sweets and there is too much for me to eat. So if you do not mind, would you like to eat them with me? Yu Jiang's food-loving soul was immediately awakened by these words. Her eyes widened with curiosity as she thought. Wait, Memoria, but their snacks are always sold out before I can even order them. She seemed to have forgotten her original purpose for coming here. At this moment in her head there was only cake and cake. Do those snacks have cream tarts? Then she went into Wu Jin's house, not knowing that someone had already turned into a small dog, wagging its tail happily, so I will eat a little. Actually, I also have something I want to talk to you about. The familiar living room of Wu Jin caught her eye. Yu Jiang once again spoke, explaining about the jacket. I was going to wash the jacket before returning it to you, but I decided not to, because I was afraid of accidentally damaging it. At this moment, Wu Jin's mood was like spring flowers, immediately smiling and replying, You can keep it. Or, do you like another jacket because it does not suit you? What is your name? Hearing that question, Yu Jiang remembered something important. Ah, right. I have not introduced myself yet. I am Kim Yu Jiang. Wu Jin reached out to take her outstretched hand while asking more. How old are you? She also politely took his large hand and replied briefly, I am 25. Unexpectedly, Wu Jin mischievously teased. Oh, I am 23. Can I call you older sister? I have a feeling that we will be friends. Wu Jin's suggestion immediately surprised Yu Jiang, and she immediately replied, Sure, there is nothing wrong with that. I did not expect him to be such a friendly person. Receiving permission, he directly changed his address as he wondered, Thank you. And was there something that happened last night? You do not look too well. Yu Jiang sighed, vaguely recounting, Hotel rooms are usually very expensive when booking at the last minute. Wu Jin's eyes narrowed slightly as he continued her words. Was not it that you were going to stay at a friend's house? Yu Jiang explained briefly. That friend was not home. She continued to speak while Wu Jin placed a plate of cakes on the table, and I could not call that person because my phone is broken. Yu Jiang stabbed her fork into the cake on the table and talked about her plans. I will go back to her house again after I finish eating this. But Wu Jin did not pay much attention. His eyes were fixed on her, observing every movement. He hesitantly reached out. Then, the bottom of his eyes shone with sincerity, directly making a suggestion. If you do not have anywhere else to go, then why do not you stay with me? I have a guest bedroom you can use. This unexpected suggestion made Yu Jiang exclaim in surprise. What? Wu Jin saw her expression and explained, It is just that I am not home often. Realizing that her words were somewhat embarrassing, he had no choice but to softly suggest, If you do not feel comfortable, I can find a safer place to replace it. But Yu Jiang only smiled. You do not have to go that far. These words made Wu Jin a little dissatisfied, he replied, But I want to repay you for saving my life. How about this place? A phone screen was pushed in front of Yu Jiang. It was a picture of a 5-star hotel with luxurious furniture. Yu Jiang once again doubted life. Who is he after all? A philanthropist. The hand placed on her thigh slightly moved as she replied, No, I understand that you want to repay me, but this is too much. Wu Jin seemed to have come up with a new idea, directly concluding, If you are worried about money, then just stay at my house. She was so shocked that her mouth dropped open. Hey, why are you drawing conclusions so arbitrarily? Then her eyes slightly lowered and her tone became smaller. I can book a room with my own money. She remembered her financial situation, silently calculating. How much money do I have in my bank account? But when she remembered that meager number, the corners of Yu Jiang's mouth curved into a forced smile. That is right. I do not have anything left to hold on to my face now. Besides, he is the one who said he wanted to repay me, so I do not need to feel guilty about this. With no other choice, she agreed with Wu Jin, still completely unaware that Wu Jin's little tail was frantically wagging. I thought about it. It would be nice if you let me stay here for a few days. At a cafe, there were two girls facing each other. The space was warm, and the sound of conversation could be heard here and there. Yu Jiang now remembered an important thing related to Wu Jin. So many things have happened recently that I completely forgot. That is, Yanwu came to the cafe every day. He calmly entered and directly asked, "You finish work at 10 o'clock today, right?" Yu Jiang paused at this appearance, while Su Jin on the side could not help but be overwhelmed by his beauty. Yu Jiang replied with a business smile, "That is right, because that is when we close." Wu Jin's face flushed as he suggested, "Then I will wait for you." Then he continued to speak, but before he could finish his words, Yu Jiang quickly covered his mouth. "I drove here today." She wearily glanced at Su Jin, who was very excited in the back, thinking, that kid heard everything. She tried to push the boat along, directly speaking, "I will take care of everything here. You should go home early today." Yu Jiang shyly refused. "No, it is okay." She tried to make everything return to normal, so she tried to persuade, "I can help." But Su Jin insisted on pushing her away, promising, "Just leave things to me, you go." And in one single motion, she kicked Yu Jiang outside, with the smiling, "Wu Jin, see you later." Yu Jiang sighed, completely speechless with this junior. After adjusting her clothes for a while, she raised her face and asked Wu Jin, "I am just asking to be sure, but you did not come here to pick me up, did you?" He smiled and replied, "Although it was a lie, it was very smooth. I came here because of the street name, and also because we are going to the same place." Just like that, Wu Jin smiled throughout the journey. They walked together on the streets at night. Yu Jiang once again spoke, "Next time you should go before me." A moment later, Wu Jin spoke when he heard the sound of the door closing behind him. "Oh, you are done. I am watching this movie. Do you want to watch it together?" Yu Jiang agreed, without hesitation. "Okay." She approached him sitting on the sofa. Then she slowly sat down while scanning the screen. "Is it a detective movie?" The two of them kept a distance from each other while watching the movie, the voice coming from the screen, "Keep going, stop." The character in the movie walked through puddles of strawberry. The dialogue also rang out, "Kill him, do not kill him." A second later, a scream rang out as this person was beheaded. Yu Jiang jumped and screamed, holding the pillow tightly with both hands. Wu Jin on the side did not react at all, just gently explained, "Do not be afraid. In the movie, people exaggerate the truth. Things like that do not happen in real life." He began to present according to a clear logic. A dagger cannot cut off a person's neck with just one slash. Because there are bones, you have to stab at least 2 to 3 times. There were dozens of question marks on Yu Jiang's head as she looked at him suspiciously. "Was that to comfort me or not?" Wu Jin suddenly suggested. "This movie is not as good as I thought. Do you want to watch another movie?" "Yu," Jiang asked suspiciously, "is it really impossible to cut someone's neck with just a knife?" Wu Jin looked at her, gently explaining, "It is possible if an esper has that ability, but the main character is not an esper or a guide." Yu Jiang now remembered this. "That is right. I forgot that there are guides and espers in this world." Yu Jiang's thoughts just flew away, thinking about it. They can do all sorts of things with their power. And that is reality. Wu Jin glanced at her, his expression gloomy, while Yu Jiang was still lost in thought. "I should be used to it already, but knowing that still feels really strange." At this moment, he brought out a small box, gently suggesting, "Here, eat some chocolate." This sudden words pulled Yu Jiang out of the mess in her thoughts, then took a piece while replying, "Ah, thank you. Why did you suddenly give me sweets? Do I look sad or something?" Or, she looked at him, hesitating to ask again, "Do you need some now?" Then she directly reached out towards Wu Jin, and continued, guiding. "If you want, I can guide you." Wu Jin's eyes slightly widened at this unexpected suggestion from her. Seeing this expression on his face, she hesitated and spoke, "If you do not need it, it is okay." But Wu Jin suddenly intertwined his fingers with hers, his tone becoming more urgent. "Wait." His hand loosely intertwined with Yu Jiang's hand, holding her back. In a moment of excitement in the quiet room, he hesitated to suggest, Can I hold your hand?" Then he looked at Yu Jiang in silence, with pleading eyes, making her gape in surprise. Yu Jiang pushed Wu Jin's face away with one hand, and pulled her other hand back while reminding him, "Okay, but you are too close." She breathed a sigh, frowning and thinking, "I was startled." Then Wu Jin's hand gently placed on Yu Jiang's hand as she boldly asked a question. "I forgot to ask you something." And her eyes were fixed on the person in front of her. Her soft voice rang out in the space. "Are you dating anyone right now?" This question was completely unexpected. In an instant it made Wu Jin's whole face flush red. What? Yu Jiang slowly repeated her question to Wu Jin. Have you broken up with the person you used to date before? He stared blankly, honestly replying, What? I am not dating anyone. Yu Jiang momentarily felt relieved, and repeated his words, Oh, I understand. You mean, you are not dating anyone now, right? Wu Jin gently corrected, Actually, I have never had a girlfriend. He did not forget to add a sentence, I am serious. Yu Jiang unconsciously smiled, nodding briefly, All right. Seeing this half-believing, half-doubting expression on her face, he continued to confirm, No, really. Yu Jiang smiled without answering, but secretly thought, It is okay, you can freely date anyone you want. The clock on the table pointed to 12:49. The atmosphere between them at this moment was wrapped in a faint, golden aura. Her hand gently caressed his hand, while Yu Jiang continued to ponder. I feel quite sorry for this guy. Looking at Wu Jin's somewhat drowsy state under her influence, he is a low-level esper with low compatibility, and in just a moment he leaned his head on Yu Jiang's shoulder, falling asleep. Yu Jiang was slightly surprised, wondering if that was enough guiding. Then she gently said to the boy, who was trying his best to stay awake, It is 1 a.m, we should go to sleep. Wu Jin softly agreed, Okay, good night. Yu Jiang also politely replied, You too. The first rays of sunlight quickly filtered into the room, carrying a deafening sound. Yu Jiang covered her ears with a pillow, complaining in her sleepiness. Why is it so noisy so early in the morning? But she quickly jumped when she realized something. The apartment door is open. The door had been pushed open at some point. Yu Jiang quickly sat up, tightly holding the bedside lamp as a weapon for self-defense. But Yan Wu would not knock on the door like that. Could it be a thief? With the lamp in her hand, Yu Jiang slowly moved. Coming behind a stranger, she raised it high, preparing to attack. Dukyong, mistaking Yu Jiang for Wu Jin, directly turned his head and scolded, You crazy guy, I know how selfish you are, but the meeting last time was really important. Yu Jiang's movement stopped. The lamp was held in the air as their eyes met, and he wondered, Who are you? She immediately hid the lamp behind her, shyly replying to Dukyong, Hello? You must be his friend. His eyes scanned her, his mind full of questions like, A woman, why is she holding up? Dukyong's keen senses quickly found the answer. Wait, Wu Jin would never bring a stranger into his house. Memories of Wu Jin's strange actions were constantly remembered by him. First, he suddenly called a new healer to his place, bringing the new healer to my apartment, and then suddenly asking me about pastry shops. Even that strange text message was remembered by Dukyong. He connected everything together, finally coming to the conclusion, is it because of this woman? Thinking this and that, Dukyong finally stood up, scratching his head as he replied to Yu Jiang, I can't believe this is happening. That guy would let a woman stay in his house. Impossible. She silently observed the young man in front of her, wondering, is he talking about Yan Wu? So Yan Wu is not home now. Then Dukyong went to slump down on the sofa in a nonchalant manner, asking, Do you know where the guy who lives here is? Yu Jiang's eyes narrowed slightly, replying with caution, I do not know, I just woke up, but are you Yan Wu's friend? Dukyong was shocked by Yu Jiang's words, What? Who is Yan Wu? Then suddenly, Dukyong's whole body lunged forward. The scene of him lying on the ground with his head smoking made Yu Jiang exclaim in horror, Are you okay? It turned out that the person who hit him was Wu Jin. What the hell are you doing here? Yu Jiang worriedly pleaded, Yan Wu, call an ambulance? I think he might have a concussion. Wu Jin indifferently breathed a sigh, he will be fine, but Yu Jiang attacked him with extremely hurtful words, You may be fine, but he won't be. At this time, Dukyong crawled up from the ground, scolding, You crazy bastard. Why did not you answer the phone? In a split second, Wu Jin came behind Dukyong, muttering a fake name into his ear, Ju Yan Wu. Dukyong asked in confusion, What? Wu Jin whispered again, My name is Ju Yan Wu. Dukyong was shocked by these three unfamiliar words, Ju Yan Wu, then turned to observe Yu Jiang, who was trying to persuade Wu Jin, I think we should take him to the hospital. Very quickly, Dukyong understood the situation, so you are playing this game. Then smiled friendly, bowing to introduce himself. My name is Ha Dukyong. I am sorry if I scared you. Yu Jiang politely replied. Her intention was a little worried. It is okay. I am Kim Yu Jiang. More importantly, is your head okay? Dukyong scratched his head shyly, in a moment of confusion only managed to force a confident smile. I am an esper, so I am completely fine. Yu Jiang hesitated at this new information. Oh, you are an esper. Dukyong continued her words with a suggestion. By the way, I brought some pastries. Would you like to try them? I am sure they will be delicious because I bought them from a famous bakery. Looking at the attractive pastries displayed in front of her, Yu Jiang's eyes immediately lit up. Wait, this is Memoria's dessert, and I have not tried any of these before. But Wu Jin's somber voice rang out, interrupting, Sis, wait. Following that, Wu Jin reached out and blew up the delicious-looking pastries in front of Yu Jiang. Both Yu Jiang and Dukyong were shocked by this action. My pastries. She uncomfortably turned around, questioning Wu Jin. Wait, why did you destroy those delicious desserts? Wu Jin uncomfortably folded his arms and explained, deliberately giving a ridiculous reason. They might be poisoned. What if that guy intentionally harmed you? Du Qiang asked in confusion, his eyes as if shooting sparks. Huh? What did you just say? He frowned, observing Wu Jin and commenting, he is glaring like he wants to kill me. Does he want to keep that woman to himself? Seeing Wu Jin with that possessive expression, Du Qiang could not help but admire in his heart. I can't believe that Yan Wu Jin that I know would be so infatuated with a woman. Then, knowing it was difficult to stay, he directly spoke to Yu Zhang. Well, I will be going now, Yu Zhang. Sorry for bothering you. She gently shook his hand, politely replying, it is okay, this is not my house either, so I do not have the right to decide who can come. Du Qiang's eyes slightly narrowed when he made contact with Yu Zhang. Before leaving, he did not forget to leave a sentence. Well, see you next time. Unexpectedly, Wu Jin, with an uncomfortable expression on the side, warned darkly, get lost. Even after going outside, Du Qiang continued to wonder, is that woman the reason he has been happy lately? He remembered the handshake with Yu Jiang, continuing to think, I thought that woman might be a guide, but it does not seem to be the case. When he was outside, Du Qiang muttered to himself, his face with a wry smile, well, how could a normal person like me understand a crazy guy like him? At the same time, Wu Jin was watching Du Qiang's movements from above, his eyes very calculating. When he was sure that Du Qiang had left, Wu Jin turned to Yu Zhang and spoke, I am sorry for letting him barge in so early and startling you. I will make sure this does not happen again. The tension between the two people just now made her a little wary when replying, it is okay, I am fine. But Wu Jin quickly changed the subject. You said your phone was broken because of me, right? He held out a fancy phone with both hands, politely suggesting to Yu Zhang, please use this temporarily until you buy a new one. I saved my number in it. Yu Jiang immediately exclaimed in surprise, what? But you really do not have to. Wu Jin insisted, no, I must do this. After all, you saved my life. Yu Jiang could only gape, thinking, at this rate, if I save him again, he might repay me with his whole life. In a restaurant there was the sound of people talking. Eat as much as you want, it is on us, a second voice replied. Really? What is the occasion? Se-yong smiled brightly like a flower, explaining to Yu Jiang Hyun Woo and I are dating. She smiled, happy for them. I thought you two were dating already. Oh, really? Seeing Yu Jiang's not enthusiastic enough expression, Se-yong pouted and asked again, come on, is that all? She followed up with a few more words, congratulations. Suddenly, at this moment she looked at her two friends and proposed, by the way, can you tell me more about the awakened? I want to know more about guiding. The fork in Se-yong's hand suddenly fell to the ground. She was so shocked that she stood up straight. What not only Se-yong, Hyun Woo on the side also put on a bewildered face and spoke. Are you okay, Yu Jiang? She continued with her questions for Yu Jiang. I can't believe you are really asking me about the awakened. Have you decided to register to become a guide? Yu Jiang only smiled, gently replying, no, I do not intend to do that. These words made Se-yong so shocked that her voice became louder. Then why are you asking? A reason was randomly made up by Yu Jiang. Well, I am a guide, so I thought I should at least know the basics. Speaking of this, I have a question. Se-yong, although shocked, still helped wholeheartedly. Just ask. I will answer as much as I can. Suddenly Yu Jiang's eyes became more serious. You know, I usually reduce my guiding ability when I am in public, right? She recalled the memory when interacting with Wu Jin, but if I touch an esper, can just that contact activate my guiding ability? Se-yong also replied with a similarly serious expression. So you mean, can that cause you to unintentionally guide someone else, even when you do not activate it yourself? Yu Jiang confirmed again, yes, can that happen, even though I have no intention of doing it? This time, the person who had been silent all this while was Hyun Woo. Wait, Yu Jiang, where did you hear that? His eyes suddenly changed, frowning and affirming. That is called reverse guiding. A strange new concept surprised Yu Jiang. Reverse guiding. An explanation from this lovey-dovey couple rang out. Remember when I told you that reverse guiding can happen if the compatibility between the esper and guide is low? Not only can you, the synchronization rate of 13%, in fact, reverse guiding can also happen. Not stopping there, they continued to deconstruct it for her. When an esper is extremely in need of guiding, or if an esper intentionally refuses other guiding. Unlike the first case, an esper doing the second thing is really hateful and deceitful. At this time, Se-yong did not hesitate to say everything. Also, reverse guiding is very painful. That is why guides usually do not work with espers who are about to lose control. The risk of reverse guiding is very high, and guides can lose their lives if they get caught in the eruption. Yu Jiang quietly looked at them as she listened. She could not help but wonder, is it very painful? I just feel like something is coming out of my body, but that is all. Then she brought up her question. Do all guides feel pain when reverse guiding? Or are some people okay? Se-yong loudly affirmed. Definitely not, as far as I know. All guides experience intense pain. These words directly planted a thought in Yu Jiang's head, so that means I am not a guide. She did not accept that thought, so she asked a few more questions to salvage some part. Is there a possibility that they will feel pain later? Maybe it is okay at first. But then there are problems later. Seong extinguished that small hope, firmly denying, of course not. Seeing the abnormality, Hyun-woo stared at Yu-jong. Then his eyes slightly lowered, he spoke. Se-young told me not to tell Yu-jong this, but reverse guiding also happened when she and I first met, because I was in a very bad condition at that time. At this time, he looked at the little girl beside him. His voice also became smaller. With sadness, I did not know that reverse guiding was so painful. I am sorry. Se-young anxiously coaxed. No need to apologize. I said it is okay, and I did that to save you, Hyun-woo. A scene of flirting took place in front of Yu-jong, Se-young, Hyun-woo. She snapped to herself, I better finish eating and go home. Very quickly, the meal ended. Yu-jong returned to Woo-jin's house. As soon as she entered, she heard his voice. Hello, you are back. Woo-jin greeted her with a warm smile. Have you eaten? The two of them faced each other. She raised her head to look at him, replying briefly. I ate. What about you, Hyun-woo? He smiled and continued. I ate too. Yu-jong's eyes glanced in one direction. She quickly saw a table full of food. Woo-jin could not hide it any longer, directly admitting, actually, I was planning to eat later, because I do not feel very well now. Yu-jong worriedly replied. Really, are you okay? At this time, Yu-jong smiled and continued. I was going to ask you for a favor, but if you are not feeling well, then... Woo-jin immediately dismissed his unwell feeling. No, I am fine. This affirmation made Yu-jong a little paused. What? But... Woo-jin smiled, placing his hand on his chest, gently declaring, I will do anything for you. Yu-jong forced a smile at his certainty, but Hyun-woo, he does not even know what I am going to ask for. With no other choice, she proposed. Then let us sit down and talk. A moment later, Yu-jong's voice rang out again. How about now? Can you feel the guiding? Woo-jin's hand still lightly touched her hand and he spoke. Very little. But there is a strange feeling. Yu-jong could not help but be curious, immediately asking more. Strange, how? Woo-jin obediently and honestly gave an example. Normal guiding makes me feel like I am completely submerged in water. But this time it is just like the water is only up to my ankles. Even so, this feeling is also very comfortable. Woo-jin's analogy made Yu-jong feel puzzled. But being submerged in water is not very suffocating. How can that be a comfortable feeling? Has he discovered my power even though I tried to hide it, just because of a different feeling? Their hands intertwined once again. Then Woo-jin just tightened his hand with Yu-jong's. He even teased her, using a handsome face to declare, doing this will give a more accurate result. Yu-jong just indifferently agreed. That is right. She stood in place, looking down at Woo-jin, who was sitting, and spoke again. How is it? Do you feel energized? Thanks to the guiding, Woo-jin honestly replied. Not just that, it is just a very comfortable feeling. Yu-jong lowered her face, once again requesting, can you describe that comfortable feeling in detail? He gently replied, you know, people say. Woo-jin's ears turned red, and his face also flushed as he continued. The espers usually like guides who have high compatibility with them, right? He once again raised his face to look at Yu-jong, not forgetting to flash a warm smile. I heard that they will become more understanding and trusting of each other, and maybe that is true. Yu-jong's eyes flashed with surprise as she received this information. So that is how it is. So espers really tend to like guides who have high compatibility with them. Another morning came with the sunlight shining on the clear sky. Someone's feet strode. In this person's heart, they muttered curses. Just thinking about it is enough to make me angry again. That damn Woo-jin. The dark-haired youth, with a mood like a dog biting, frowned as he walked. I need something sweet. He was Seo Yeon-hoo, an A-level esper affiliated with the Hebe Guild in Korea. Remembering those unhappy things again, Yeon-hoo thought. We were planning to clear that gate ourselves, but Messiah took action first. He constantly felt troubled, and since when did those people care about illegal drug sales and cheap motels, to the point of stealing our deal? Yeon-hoo's expression was 2 words of discomfort, as he concluded, really, I hate everything about that bastard. He is really lucky to have been born with talent. Very quickly, Yeon-hoo stopped at the sweets counter. He examined a chocolate bar. Then he heard a noise as someone broke into this place. A group of masked people with guns in their hands entered and shouted, Put all the money in this bag now. They loudly warned, do not do anything stupid. Some shoppers shouted in chaos, help. On this side, Yeon-hoo was still leisurely unwrapping the chocolate. In his head, he was thinking about how to make mouse salad. He was already annoyed, and these mice were making him even more uncomfortable. Should I just deal with them now? At this moment, someone's voice rang out, damn it, did you come to shop too, you bastard? Yeon-hoo turned his head to look in that direction. He saw Yu-jong, who was very uncomfortable, holding a long metal bar as a self-defense weapon. Looking at the girl in front of him, Yeon-hoo wondered, who is she? Yu-jong had long thought so, but her luck was really bad. She could not help but speculate. Maybe I did something bad in my previous life, so my karma is so heavy now. The loud noise outside still rang out. Put all the money in this bag. The robbers bluntly raised their guns to threaten in public. Shut up now. If you want to live. As one of the few people who managed to hide in time, Yu Zhong only worried about another problem. If this continues, I will be late for work. But looking at the phone screen made her even more frustrated. The signal here is too weak. I do not know if I can send a message, but I will try anyway. Then, typing into the chat box. I am at Go-Mart. There are some robbers holding hostages. Call the police for me. Let us see. Se-Yong said she is sick. Hyunwoo and Yeonwoo are espers, so they will quickly grasp the situation. I will message them first. At the same time, she also secretly observed and assessed the situation. But these robbers, they do not look scary at all. Could it be because they are weak espers? Suddenly, the piercing cry of a child broke the peaceful space. Mom. The robber with a guilty conscience immediately intimidated the boy. I told you to shut up. He even pointed the muzzle of the gun at his head. Shut up now, making the boy tremble and stammer. Do not shoot me. Yu Zhang was calmer than them. So she discovered the trick of the group. That gun looks too crude. It seems to be a fake gun. If it was a real gun, they would have fired a few shots to scare everyone. Already, she silently clenched the crowbar in her hand, as if she had made a decision in her heart. Just as she was about to run out, there was a voice from behind. Hey, you. Yoonhoo slowly approached, reminding her, are you going to attack them? Do you know they are espers? He seriously confirmed, once again, although they are just low-level espers and holding toy guns, they are still stronger than ordinary people. But the focus of Yu Zhang's attention was on something else. Who are you? At this time, Yoonhoo remembered to introduce himself. Me, I am an esper. She seized the opportunity to seek assistance. Then please help the hostages. However, the other party refused very quickly. Unfortunately, my abilities are not suitable for this situation. He frankly revealed part of the reason. If I am careless, I could kill the hostages. Yu Zhang secretly observed the other party and judged the correctness. That undisguised gaze made Yeonhoo a little awkward. I am serious. My abilities are used for wide area slaughter, and there is oil here, so I can't use it. Therefore, she had to continue her intention to be self-reliant, and those guns are probably fake, right? He patiently confirmed again. I am a recognized esper and have been in real combat, so I am sure. Yu Zhang temporarily placed her trust in the other party. Good. I just need someone to confirm my suspicion. The sound of screaming and panic still rang out. A robber gestured to his companion. Hey, do not use your abilities casually, just hold on to the phones. The other party immediately obeyed, yes. Now she understood the root of the matter. It turned out the reason the signal was weak here was because of that robber's ability. The other two were stuffing money into their bags. Yu Zhang continued to probe the new passerby. Hey, you said you are an esper, right? Are you an attack type? Yoonhoo nonchalantly confirmed his identity. That is right. Why do you ask? Thanks to that, she quickly came up with a plan in her head. Then, can you help me instead of helping the hostages? Just get the robbers away from the oil, right? Well, he still had not loaded the situation. Wah, what? Yu Zhang had to say more to reassure the other party. I will repay you after this is over, so please find a way to distract the robbers. It would be even better if you could injure them. The sound of the gang had moved to another location. They were threatening the cashier to put money in. Hurry up. They even grabbed the boy from before to put pressure on her. Hurry up if you do not want this kid to die. Just then, hurried footsteps came rushing across the floor. Then the crowbar targeted the blind spot and slammed straight into the robber's head. He immediately fell over unconscious, causing his accomplices to panic. Bro. As soon as they saw it was a woman, they became even more enraged. What crazy bitch is this? Just then, the bodies of the two robbers suddenly erupted in large flames, burning their skin. It is too hot. But that was not enough to stop their aggressive actions. They even made a misjudgment. That little girl is an esper. One of them, who was still unharmed, took out a knife, ready to attack Yu Zhang Dai. At the same time, that person also used his ability. Then he quickly sliced a wound on her smooth white skin. Yu Zhang subconsciously raised her hand to wipe away the blood, gradually flowing down her cheek. Just then, a rumbling sound like an earthquake echoed. Everyone in the room temporarily stopped all activity, focusing only on observing their surroundings. The innocent hostages who were captured were the most flustered in the situation. Wow, what is going on? The ceiling is cracking. In just a few seconds, the enclosed building had turned into a convertible, making it easy to see the blue sky. Yu Zhang could not maintain her composure either. Wait a minute. Ordinary people could not help but marvel when they saw a glimmer of hope. Yan Wujin, why is Yan Wujin here? The whispering sounds inadvertently reached Yeonhoo's ears, irritating his nerves. But he is the only esper with that kind of ability. In the end, he did not bother hiding the disgust on his face. Why is Yan Wujin showing up here? The robbers who were being tormented begged incessantly. We are sorry. But unexpectedly, Yeonhoo, who was clueless, was also caught in the crossfire. The arrow of resentment in him grew even stronger. I am going to deal with that bastard. How dare he use his ability on me? Gradually, the police cars also began to arrive late, after everything had stabilized. Yu Jiang took the opportunity to ask about her new acquaintance. What is your name? She made her sincerity clear in her words. You helped me just now, so I want to repay you. I think I should at least know your name. Unexpectedly, she only received a single, incomprehensible syllable. Huh. The Sundar youth immediately jumped up. It is Xiao Yunhu, damn it, this is so embarrassing. Suddenly, he was inexplicably attacked again, making Yu Jiang feel sympathetic. Oh, okay, you are really a strange person. The incident passed like a musical prelude, and she returned to her normal life. She checked her phone as she walked after getting a signal again. The screen displayed Julian Wu, 1 missed call, making Yu Jiang a little disappointed. I thought he would at least leave a message. Just then she caught a familiar voice by her ear. Sis. Then she instinctively looked up at the source. Before her was the figure of the boy running hastily. Yon Wu, geez, are not you cold? Even as he panted for breath from exhaustion, the shimmering aura around him remained unshaken. That large hand gently caressed Yu Jiang's injured cheek. Wu Jin leaned in close, concerned, and asked carefully, Are you hurt? She had to reassure him in return. It is just a small scratch. Did you run all the way here just because of my message? He skillfully replied briefly so as not to reveal information. I was already in this area. But more importantly, you should take care of the wound on your face. Yu Jiang did not make a big deal out of it. It is okay. This wound will heal quickly. Then he handed her a bundle of incense. Oh, and this? She repeated the instructions from earlier. The police gave it to me just now, but I think you need it more. I do not know why you came here, but it is best to resolve it quickly and go home. Just a simple action, but in Wu Jin's eyes, it was like 100 flowers blooming. You are giving this to me? He gently accepted it with all his respect. Thank you, I will keep it carefully. Previously, he had been reported the situation by his subordinate. Chairman, I have checked, and all the hostages inside are safe. The statistical data was also updated accurately and quickly. 28 people injured, 1 critical, and some only slightly injured. His face remained cold and unchanged. Okay? But as soon as he hung up, Wu Jin could not control the rage inside him. Looking at the crowd gathered in front, the only person he was waiting for was nowhere to be seen. I just hope she is not hurt. Just then, his dangerous expression quickly subsided when his eyes inadvertently caught a figure. It was the pure flower Yu Jiang that he had been waiting for all this time. However, Wu Jin's keen eyes immediately noticed the small wound on her cheek. Just a small scratch was enough to flip the crazy switch in him. Those bastards! Should I kill them? In a closed room, a baseball bat lay alone beside a pool of splattered blood. Even so, not a single drop splashed on the man's shiny shoes. Wu Jin coldly watched the small fry being interrogated to the point of physical and mental exhaustion. Du Qiang could not help but worry about handling the scene. How are we going to cover this up this time? Just then, someone slowly walked down the stairs. Brother Do Qiang, I heard you were looking for me. He was Kim Jae-yong, an A-class healer of Messiah, and upon seeing the tragic scene before him, he had to force a smile. You really went big this time. But Wu Jin only cared about efficiency and results. Start immediately. Du Qiang had to comfort Jae-yong's heart. Sorry, that guy never knows how to appreciate other people's time. The other party also seemed very understanding. It would be scary if the chairman suddenly started thinking about others. Then he quickly completed his duties. Do you know how hard it is to heal each of these wounds? And I even used my ability, so I am starving now. The capitalist Wu Jin continued to put on the pressure. I will double your bonus, and add Korean beef to dinner too. Matter immediately determined Jae-yong's consciousness. Chairman, have I ever told you that I love you? He coldly turned away and entrusted everything to Do Qiang. I am going home, and send the new healer from last time. Although he did not show any questions, he still harbored suspicion. Why is Wu Jin involved in this petty theft? Looking back at the list of hostages, he quickly came across a familiar name. Could it be? Finally, Yu Jiang arrived home after a tiring day of work. She entered the password while calculating in her head. After the police interrogation and checking on Se-young's condition, I am exhausted. I have a day off tomorrow, so I will probably sleep in a bit. Then she opened the door as quickly as usual. But both were surprised by the sudden appearance of the other. Yu Jiang immediately intended to retreat. Hua Yan quickly came up with a solution to save the situation. Wait, do not misunderstand. She used all her abilities to convince her to stay. If you misunderstand, the chairman, Juyan Wu will be angry with me. We are not that kind of relationship. I am just here for work. I heard someone was injured, so I came to treat them. Fortunately, the sincere words gained some of her trust. So you are a healer, the other party readily confirmed. That is right. You are not planning to run away, are you? Yu Jiang had to make up a reasonable excuse. I am not running. I just do not want you to misunderstand. Anyway, she is a healer. I have never met anyone like that before. Suddenly, Du Qiang peeked out from behind and reminded, What are you two doing there? Come inside quickly. Hua Yan proactively answered instead. Oh, we were just about to come in. Then they returned to the main issue of this visit. I will start now. Your cheek is injured, right? Yu Jiang did not have time to react for a moment. What? Yes, but it is just a small scratch. Okay, Hua Yan reassured her. That is why I came to treat it. First, she was a little curious about one thing. Did Yan Wu call you? She quickly expressed her sincerity. It is just that I can't leave someone injured alone. Wu Jin also contributed to convincing her. That is right, I asked her to come help. I thought you would have a hard time serving customers at the cafe with a scratch on your face like that. This reason made Yu Jiang feel less burdened. Oh, thank you, but if I just put some ointment on it, this scratch will heal quickly. Before she could refuse, Hui Yon cast her power very quickly. She instinctively compared it to herself in another world. Unlike Amelia with her healing abilities, it seems like she does not need to touch other people to heal. At the same time, she also chatted to make the atmosphere more comfortable. By the way, I was also quite surprised that Esper Yan Wu Jin was involved in that robbery. Yu Jiang also paid attention to this topic. Oh, that is right. He usually does not handle things like that, to be honest. I was more panicked when I saw the ceiling cracking than because of the robbers. Du Qiang cleverly went along with the flow, so you know he usually does not participate in such incidents. Are you interested in Yan Wu Jin? But her expression was nonchalant, as if it were obvious. Well, he is a famous Esper. He still clung to this detail and delved deeper. That is right, but you do not seem to know much about other famous Espers. You do not care much about them, do you? Yu Jiang calmly repeated once again. Not really, but Yan Wu Jin is really famous. Then she quickly switched to another topic. Anyway, it is good that the robbers were caught. But I am also a little worried because the store was damaged, the robbers really ruined the interior. But the collapsed ceiling is an even bigger problem. Everyone listened attentively when she suddenly started talking a lot. The government will probably compensate for the damage because, after all, the cause was the robbers. But do not you think the store owner should be compensated twice as much? Yu Jiang gradually could not control her resentment. What about the psychological damage of the victims? Why did that bastard destroy other people's property? Is not he a calculating Esper? The surrounding space suddenly fell silent as she suddenly stopped. Hua Yon inadvertently could not help but utter a surprised sound. Only then did Yu Jiang react. Oh, sorry, I did not mean to say those harsh words, that is right. They should really think about the psychological damage of the victims too. In her heart, she secretly blamed. Whenever I mention Yan Wu Jin, I get annoyed. Wu Jin reassured her with a warm smile like the spring breeze. You do not have to worry. They will definitely get double the compensation. The words he spoke were as smooth as a flow and without any flaws, because all those damages could have been avoided entirely. Sure enough, Yu Jiang's mood quickly stabilized. Really, sorry for the words just now, but he showed agreement with that point of view. No, I also think he is a bastard, sis. She could not help but look at the other party with different eyes. Yan Wu. Before her was a Wu Jin with an added layer of angel filter. But more importantly, I am glad you were not seriously injured. The other two were concerned about Yu Jiang's misunderstanding. He is probably comforting me, so I won't feel bad. So they quickly understood their roles as light bulbs, and made their escape. Well, I have to go. Oh, me too. Yu Jiang was a little regretful. Aren't you staying for dinner? Hua Yan made an excuse to refuse very naturally. No, I have urgent business to take care of. Only then did she remember the most basic thing. Oh, I almost forgot. I am Song Hua Yan. I hope we will meet again soon. She even prepared a meeting gift. This is the wine I like the most. If you like sweets, you will definitely like it. This enthusiasm made Yu Jiang momentarily stunned. Thank you. She could not help but feel confused by that attitude. Why is she giving me this when I am just a guest in this apartment? But she decided to just keep it to herself and introduce herself. I am Kim Yu Jiang. Thank you for treating me twice. Hua Yan immediately switched to 200% excitement mode. I am willing to treat you anytime, Yu Jiang. That precious, sincere affection made her mood much better. Oh, really? Take care of yourself. She is so lovely. The other party also looked forward to it very much. See you later. They did not notice behind them the eyes of Wu Jin, with 3 parts hate and 7 parts jealousy. He unconsciously reached out and grabbed the girl's sleeve, sis. His hand tightened its grip on the hem of her clothes, as if he had no intention of letting go. Although he felt very uncomfortable inside, he still tried to appear nonchalant. Is she your type? The quiet room echoed with a deep voice. Is she your type? Yu Jiang did not catch the other party's frequency for a moment. Who? Wu Jin pouted, showing a sulky and aggrieved expression. That Song Hua Yan, his new image, gave her a few seconds of psychological shock. He is pouting. He secretly reminded her with a signal. Just so you know, Song Hua already has a partner guide. Yu Jiang repeated again, not quite understanding. Partner guide. Full information also gradually appeared in her head. That is right, a guide can become an official partner guide of an Esper if they have a compatibility higher than average. When they are partners, they will prioritize protecting each other's safety in cases and missions. Yu Jiang unconsciously recalled Hua Yan's appearance when she was healing. I heard this type of relationship is usually common between relatives and lovers. Then she outwardly responded naturally, oh, I did not think that way at all. It is normal to be attracted to a beautiful face, right? But inside she had her own reasons. I won't say that I paid attention to her because she is a healer. However, just looking at him, you could see that Woojin was not satisfied with this answer. Even Yu Jiang started to feel a little tense. Why is not he reacting? She suddenly came up with a reasonable guess. Could it be because the action-oriented her immediately implemented the thought in her head? She suddenly raised her hand like a goddess bringing salvation, Yan Wu. That clear call immediately made his soul float on cloud 9. Woojin obediently followed like a golden retriever, looking forward to being rewarded by its owner. Yu Jiang held his hand tightly while caring for him. You do not look well, so I think you might need guiding. In this moment, no matter what she said, there was only one answer. You are right. Small spots of light spread out into the space, along with Yu Jiang's power. After the two confided in each other, she understood the reason behind it. Geez, I did not expect you to misunderstand just because I looked at someone. Woojin only lowered his head, emphasizing the important point. Well, Songhua is an esper, on the other hand. Her reaction was still very nonchalant. Oh, by the way, does she also know I am a guide? This was quite obvious to her. No wonder she treated me so specially. Although he was still a little sulky, he did not forget to reassure her. But it is probably okay, she promised she would not tell anyone. The two exchanged stories like two longtime friends. So does Hyung know? No, I did not tell him, thank you. I do not like letting other people know I am a guide. This atmosphere made Yu Jiang unconsciously want to share. Hua Yan is the first person I have met who has an official partner guide. A friend of mine also wants to become a partner guide. And then she naturally revealed what was deep in her heart. But unlike her, I am not even interested in becoming an official guide. Woojin was quite curious about the reason behind it. Why not? Despite his very clear emotions, she still wanted to be honest. Because taking responsibility for someone's life is not easy, I know Yan Wu wants me to become his partner guide. The image of the other party worrying about her safety made Yu Jiang even more determined. But I do not want to take responsibility for someone else's life anymore. Hearing this, Woojin fell into silence. She is like a god. The other person affirmed with certainty, no one can replace her. He was even willing to put the other party as a priority. If she wants, I am willing to give up this job. But in reality, he knew that they had not reached that point yet. I understand anyway. Everyone is different. After the guiding ended, everyone returned to their own rooms. Yu Jiang happily relieved stress with her phone. Tomorrow will be my last day doing this part-time job. Then I will become the owner of my own cafe. Woojin said goodbye to me this morning. Yan Wu went to work early, so maybe I should relax a bit today. Only then did she suddenly remember something important. Oh, I forgot to tell Yan Wu that I am leaving his house tomorrow. Just then, a sudden call from her best friend interrupted her train of thought. Se-young, I thought you had to go to work today. The volume of the other party seemed to be able to break the actual geographical distance. Yu Jiang, let us go get a drink. She could not help but have a premonition. Did something happen? Finally, the two met at a very popular barbecue restaurant. After a few drinks, the problem was clarified. So, Hyunwoo is being nice to a new guide, and you are worried that they will fall for him. Se-young continued to fall into a vortex of overthinking, yes. Yu Jiang had no choice but to comfort her friend from a certain perspective. But Hyunwoo is nice to everyone, so do not worry, I am sure he does not have any special feelings for that person. But being blinded by love made her unable to be as calm and rational as before. Even so, that woman is also a guide. Who knows what might happen? Looking at the full glass of alcohol that the other party poured, Yu Jiang unconsciously reflected on that view. Se-young thinks that espers are instinctively attracted to guides. She used reasonable arguments to explain. Not every esper and guide with high compatibility will fall in love. Besides, you also know that compatibility will increase when espers have feelings for guides. At the same time, she also strengthened the other party's belief. Didn't you say that the compatibility between you and Hyunwoo had increased more than when you first checked recently? So what are you worried about? However, somewhere in her, there was still hesitation. Even so, this time, Yu Jiang decided to absolutely stand on Se-young's side. But Hyunwoo should not have acted like that. He already has someone by his side, so he should not be too nice to other people like that, making the other party move to tears. Yu Jiang. As a result, after drinking a bunch of bottles, she used every reason to defend her lover. No, he did not do anything wrong. It is me who does not clearly distinguish between work and personal matters. When drunk, she became even bolder than usual. And even if that guide likes Hyunwoo, I will never give him up anyway. I can't meet anyone better than him in this lifetime. After the climax passed, Se-young's emotions gradually settled down. You do not understand how wonderful he is, Yu Jiang. When you suddenly acted strangely and I was very worried about you. He was the one who was by my side. She immediately grasped the key point of the sentence. Acted strangely? And she just went on to recount that time. Yes, for the past year, you have been acting very strangely, like you have become a completely different person, and you hardly talk to your family anymore. Se-young could not help but feel upset. Do you know how worried your mother is about you, making Yu-jong also feel guilty? I have changed now. Do not you like me anymore? Before completely collapsing on the table, she still muttered in her mouth, silly, of course I still like you. She could only sigh at the other party's unconscious state. There was no other way but to carry Se-young out of the restaurant. Just as she stepped out the door, Hyun-woo hurriedly ran over. Yu-jong. He naturally took Se-young and asked, how much did she drink? She told the truth, I do not know. I stopped counting after the 7th bottle, and the person concerned only remembered her lover in front of her, Hyun-woo. Besides that, Hyun-woo did not forget to care about her situation. Yu-jong, are you okay? She quickly turned away to end her role as a shining light bulb. Of course I am okay. You two should go home. Thank you. Get home safe. Then she got into a taxi and returned to the apartment. She suddenly remembered what Se-young had told her tonight. Yes, for the past year, you have been acting very strangely, like you have become a completely different person, and you hardly talk to your family anymore. That concern made Yu-jong unable to stop paying attention. Just then, the phone next to her suddenly rang. As soon as she picked up, she heard Woo-jin's worried voice. Where are you? It is late. Oh, she calmly reported, I am in a taxi. But still did not escape his keen intuition. Did you go drinking? Yu-jong had no intention of hiding it. I had a little bit. Woo-jin knew when to stop the conversation. Then I will wait for you downstairs. See you later. Sure enough, as soon as the car pulled near the curb, she clearly saw his figure. Woo-jin proactively opened the door and asked with concern, are you okay? Yu-jiang's condition was no different from usual. Completely okay, my friend is even more drunk. Then she smiled and reminded the other party. It is cold outside, let us go inside. Woo-jin's first task after returning to the room was to take care of her. Have some water. Yu-jiang politely took it, thank you. He took the opportunity to probe the other party's intentions. Did something happen today? The room suddenly fell into a low note of silence. Suddenly, she raised a question. Are you close to your family, Hyun-woo, before the other party could react? Huh? The next question appeared. How would you feel if your family did not recognize you? Perhaps thanks to the effect of the alcohol, Yu-jong was able to confide more easily. My relationship with my family is not bad, but I feel uncomfortable around them. I know that my parents can't possibly recognize that their daughter is a different person, but the glass of ice water had decreased a little, but the drinker was still not sober. That makes me a little sad. Memories of her current life were like an old reel of tape. I want to be immersed in the warm embrace of my family and try my best to become a good older sister, but at the same time, the strange experience in another world also intertwined. This place is not full of the stench of blood and decaying flesh, and the people who were with me yesterday won't die today. In the end, Yu-jong herself got stuck between two identities. That is why I can't escape the alienation that I experienced as Amelia. Even though her heart ached when she had to utter the truth, I ran away when I realized that the daughter that my mother loves might not be me. The detail about the eggplant seemed small, but cut into her heart. This Yu-jong, the one you like. The conversation at that time still flowed smoothly. Mom, I have hated eggplant since I was a kid. Really? You used to eat it normally before? Why did you suddenly change? And the next time it happened was still very natural. Why did not you let me go to college? Why are you asking that? It is already in the past. At that time, Yu-jong was still puzzled. But you always wanted me to go to college. But she just calmly ate and replied, how could I let you go to school after what happened to you? When you lost your memory, you did nothing but cry all day. However, she clearly distinguished her feelings. But I do not hate my younger brother. Amelia also took advantage of her position, enjoying her hobbies and preparing to ruin the Campbell family. If Yu-jong knew that she would wake up in the old world, she would have asked Raymond for help. Only when she was really drunk did she reveal a childish side. I miss Mom. Woo-jin did not laugh at her, but listened and empathized. Can't you visit her? This was also something she had always considered many times. It is easier said than done for me, but I can't avoid her forever either. I just need a little more time. Suddenly, he revealed his true nature without being the good boy he always was. Isn't it that you just need to not see her again? But currently, Yu-jong had lost her radar to detect abnormalities, so she only rebuked, what? No, I do not want that. Can you do that to your family? Woo-jin frankly expressed a cold aspect in front of her. I do not really care. I have not seen them in a long time. We do not even keep in touch with each other. Because behind that was a heartbreaking story. They abandoned me, so I did the same. The number of gates was increasing day by day, and the power struggle between countries was at its peak, because the government wanted to strengthen its military power. So high-level espers and guides were like gold to them. So they offered a large sum of money in exchange for the guardianship of Woo-jin, and because his parents feared his power, they did not hesitate to hand him over to the government. This was a common reality at the time, because of newly awakened espers, often unintentionally injured or even killed their relatives or friends. The compassion in Yu-jong rose strongly. But are not you lonely? The overwhelming emotion made her do something instinctively. It does not necessarily have to be family members you should find someone to be with. Woojin's eyes became more and more sparkling with each word of concern from the other party. Even when you are having a hard time, you will feel better if you have someone to confide in. When you find someone who cares about you, treat them well. Yu Jiang gently stroked his soft hair as a comforting encouragement. You have done a great job enduring it all by yourself all this time. He immediately grasped the hand that had given him rare warmth. I never thought I would feel lonely, but maybe you are right. Woojin attacked head-on with his advantage of male beauty. What can I do to keep that person here? Suddenly, Yu Zhang's brain stopped working for a few seconds. Why can't I think of anything? And my stomach, too. The meaning had just occurred when the stomach reflex came at the same time he had a bad premonition. She hurriedly abandoned the puppy to save her face. I need to go to the bathroom. And only a few hours passed. The morning light had pierced through the glass, awakening the room. But Yu Jiang was frozen stiff, as if centuries had passed. Should I just go die? From now on, she might be an introvert for the rest of her life. I was drunk and told him everything. But very quickly she returned to the mature and rational version. What I should tell him is that I will be leaving this apartment today. He said he had something to do this morning, right? So she had no choice but to check her schedule on her phone. I do not know if he will stop by the cafe today. Yu Jiang was still quite mindful of each other's feelings. I might meet him there, and it would be a bit awkward if I met him before leaving. She quickly switched to another method of communication. Anyway, I should still leave a message. On a corner of the paper was the content of the letter. Thank you for letting me stay at your house. I meant to tell you that I was going to leave, but I forgot. Here's your phone and house key. Yan Wujin is an S-class esper with many abilities, a person who appears once every few centuries, the monster who formed a guild at a very young age and brought it to second place in the world. He is a perverted murderer who does not consider humans as humans, and an arrogant, haughty, and hateful guy. But he is also the one who saved the world. Do-kyung still decided to anti him to the end. Such an arrogant guy saved the world. This world is really rotten. He could not help but feel helpless towards the lazy bum in front of him. Hey, are you really not going to work today? Woojin rarely clearly expressed his desire to strike. No, I am sick. The other party still had not given up on persuading him. And what are you going to do if this world is destroyed? His answer was full of antisocial elements. If the world can't survive just because one person is resting, then it deserves to be like that. Do-kyung tried to put on an industrial smile and act as gently as possible. Come on, someone could die while we are talking. Woojin decided to make a final statement. But you are not saying that just because of justice, right? His persuasive words got stuck in his throat. This is why they call him a pervert. He had to consider it carefully again. But it is true that this guy is sick. He is losing control more often than usual. As a result, people are becoming more wary of him. Do-kyung was one of the few who clearly understood Woojin's strength. He is labeled as an S-class esper, just for convenience. But in reality, he is strong enough to create natural disasters. In his eyes, the other party was no different from a human-shaped time bomb. This guy will always be at the top of the kill list if he loses control. But can anyone really kill him? So in the end, Do-kyung still tried to care like an old mother with a rebellious child. Are you compatible with any of the guides I introduce? I think compatibility can change based on the situation. So I have introduced guides who seem a bit reckless. Just hearing it made Woojin want to crawl back into his blanket cocoon. No, no one is suitable. Shut up and leave me alone. The other party gradually felt hopeless. Hey, do not be like that. Just then, he suddenly connected the matter with a person. A proud back and sharp eyes appeared in his mind. Wait a minute. Do-kyung thought he had guessed the reason. You are acting like this is not because of Hyi-han, right? And Woojin's silence made the misunderstanding go further. So it is true. I knew you liked him a lot, but I did not know things were this far. He did not choose to refute, but issued a death warning. Keep talking if you want to die. Do-kyung officially started to raise a white flag to surrender. Maybe I should cut ties with him. With this situation, he might become a villain even now. His personality seems close to that of a villain. Woojin gently fell asleep, ignoring the uneasy worries of the person behind him. I hope the next guildmaster is a normal person. At the same time, at a bright cafe with melodious music, the menu on the blackboard was decorated cutely and attracted customers. Along with them were cakes that could heal bitter souls. Yu Jiang was very confident when she observed the space once. Maybe I should promote the cafe on social media. The first person to open the store was Seong Ji-hyun, Yu Jiang's high school friend, a graduate student researching gates. I told you, here, give me your phone. She could not help but be surprised when she received it. Did you change your phone? I thought you were short on money, she only explained briefly. My old phone broke, so... Before she could say anything more, she was interrupted by the other party's astonishment. Unbelievable. Is there anyone in the world who only has this many apps on their phone? Yu Jiang seriously followed the rules like an elderly person. All I need is my tube, the gate warning app, and the banking app. That is enough, right? Ji Hyun inadvertently discovered a strange creature. Are you really a human in the technological age if you do not download those apps? She could not help but have a headache every time she mentioned the topic of adaptation. Well, I lived in another world for 7 years. So she skillfully shifted the other party's attention. Do you want to drink more coffee? There is cake too. As expected, she was immediately interested. Cake? Sounds good. The appealing and unique food arrangement made Ji-hyun very curious. What are these blue lumps? Yoi Jiang popularized the information of her forte. That fruit, it is a kua fruit. It is quite delicious to eat with cake. It can also be made into jam. It is also good for the skin and helps reduce fat. No one knew that her experience came from another world. I used to make desserts from it when I was in the Herman Empire. I am glad I learned how to bake there whenever I had free time. Finally, Ji-hyun remembered. Oh, this is the fruit that was recently recognized as edible, right? It was found in a dungeon in the southern district, right? I heard everyone was crazy about it at first because it is good for health. But then no one ate it anymore because its taste is not very good. Yu Jiang could only force a stiff smile. No wonder it is so cheap. But the other party's reaction was completely opposite to the comments of the majority. Wait a minute, it is so delicious. Is this really kua fruit? She also felt a bit of accomplishment. Right, its taste will depend on how we prepare it. She quickly saw its potential. This dessert will be a hit. I am not kidding. You need to post it on social media right now. Yu Jiang was still skeptical. This cake. Really, the other party affirmed firmly. That is right. And add a hashtag. Remember to make the title eye-catching too. Thanks to that urging, she also posted it immediately while it was hot. Don't miss the healthy dessert, with kua fruit as the main ingredient. The midday sun was no longer as gentle as it was in the morning. Yu Jiang boredly stood for half the day. Before long, she missed the carefree time when she was a part-time employee. She dejectedly looked at the empty scene in front of her. Or is it because I just opened the cafe this week and there are not many customers? Besides that, there was another difficult problem. Above all, the cakes did not sell much, because people think kua fruit is not delicious. Just as she was sleepy, she met a beam of light. Welcome. This customer was so careful that he wore 2 layers of hats. His whole body was equipped tightly like a professional dog thief, along with a phone ready to take pictures at any time. Yu Jiang could not help but be confused by that rather odd action. Is he a celebrity? Why is he taking so many pictures? Then she made up a reasonable excuse for the other party. Maybe it is for his personal page. Finally, Yoonhoo was willing to order, give me a chocolate latte with an extra layer of whipped cream on top. Yu Jiang politely asked for the request. Yes, would you like to use it here? Then the other party immediately jumped the gun. Yes. Next was a short conversation, and the hesitant answers of the 2 people. You can choose soy milk, regular milk is fine. Do you want to add chocolate sauce on top? Yes. The 3rd time was the charm, making Yu Jiang also start to boil over. He keeps cutting me off. After going around in circles for a while, Yoonhoo mentioned the main topic. I saw on social media that your store is selling desserts made from kua fruit. Just then, his pupils suddenly dilated as if he had discovered something. Then he quickly pulled down his hat, acting mysterious. Does the store sell kua cakes here? Yu Jiang operated on the machine while answering. I am still baking them, so you have to wait a little longer. It will be done in 15 minutes. Can you wait? He quickly concluded. Then give me an extra portion of that cake. Then she instructed the other party. Yes, please go to the table and sit first. I will call you when your order is ready. During the process of completing the dish, Yu Jiang always felt an invisible source of pressure. Why is he staring at me like that? She paused for a moment to speculate. At first I thought it was my imagination, but he is definitely looking at me. Her imagination was constantly running wild. Moreover, I think I have seen this person somewhere before, but where? Without making Yoonhoo wait long, Yu Jiang brought out the tray. Here's your order. But the thoughts in her head did not match reality. Oh, I know. She did not notice that she had unconsciously reminisced. He reminds me of Yan Wu from before. When night fell, her board of directors came to a conclusion. Maybe he is into you, Yu Jiang. Ji Hyun itched her mouth and took the opportunity to tease Sejong. That is right. You are just looking at life through rose-colored glasses, because you are dating someone. Then she quickly returned to the main character in need of advice. Has he appeared any time since then? Yu Jiang honestly answered. He has. The conversation between them was still as brief as ever. Give me a kua cake. Wait for me a bit. She had noticed it early on, but he always only ordered kua cakes. I think he really likes it. Ji Hyun let her guard down somewhat. Oh, I was worried that he was a weirdo, but it does not seem like it. Do you know how many crazy people are out there now? Thanks to them, I get off work late every day. Sejong also wanted to join her in this topic. Are you guys also affected by that? What about you? Yes, I always get off work late. Yu Jiang's question was no different from a caveman with newly installed Wi-Fi. What happened? She was also used to her slow reaction, so she patiently popularized. There are a lot of people selling monsters these days. She did not expect such a terrifying answer. Monsters. You mean the non-human things inside the gates? Se-young immediately confirmed, yes, that is it, but you need a permit to take anything out of the gate. There is a procedure to follow, but those who can't even control these monsters properly are buying them illegally. The curiosity and ambition of humanity has always been like that. Humans are always attracted to rare things and always want to get them. This concern had been lingering in Se-young's mind recently. I do not care what happens to the people who buy or sell them, but the innocent people around them could be in danger. Ji-hyun could not help but sigh at the current state of affairs. Oh, no one can think of keeping those monsters like a farm when the great disaster happened. People are gradually becoming complacent, just because our country is more stable now. Yu Jiang was still half immersed in a daze detached from reality. I do not know everything, but it sounds like a serious problem. Se-young wisely changed to a lighter topic. Anyway, I can't believe you opened a cafe yourself. Yu Jiang, I know what you were like in high school. I can't believe this could happen. Remembering her former image made her also surprised. Who would have thought that an introverted and shy kid like you would start a business? Yu Jiang had to put on a confident smile to deal with the awkward situation. Then she smoothly shifted the focus of the story. Enough reminiscing about the past. Let us go to dinner. The other party was immediately led. Is it that late already? While she was leaving, Jae-hyun sensitively inquired, Yu Jiang does not like talking about what he was like in high school very much, does he? Se-young confirmed the fact. He does not. Then they returned to discussing the current situation. By the way, did you see Messiah's Guide recruitment notice? Oh, Yanwoo Jin's Guild? The words she just said set off Se-young's warning bell. Shh. Yu Jiang will get angry if he hears you say that name. Ji-hyun could not help but be curious about the situation behind it. I feel like I am in some kind of spy movie. But still could not stop their gossipy blood. Have you heard anything about it? I am surprised they posted a recruitment notice when they probably already have a new candidate. Moreover, they require that it be at least a C-level guide or higher, and a woman, about 165 centimeters tall, and shoe size about 24 centimeters or less, is not that too detailed. Yo Jaeyoung continued to live her peaceful days. Coincidentally, the words from her friend had guessed the truth. That is strange. Maybe they are looking for someone specific. Thanks to Jihyun's advice, my post on social media was a huge success. And after an influencer on social media with dessert reviews wrote about my cafe, customers started flocking in. Throughout the shop, there were sounds of praise. I did not expect kua fruit to be so delicious. I know, right? And it is also good for the skin. Customers surrounded the cashier, constantly asking, I saw your shop's desserts on social media. Are these cakes really made from kua fruit? Are there any cakes left? I also saw jam cookies online. Do you sell that kind? Yu Jiang smiled calmly and answered very properly. I am baking more cakes. The jam cookies are gifts, and they are all gone today. I have to do everything myself. From making coffee, checking the oven, to decorating and packaging the desserts. Even if there were 10 copies of me, I probably could not do all the work every day. She spun like a top, but still tried to complete the order in the fastest way. Here are the 2 iced coffees you ordered. The lid accidentally popped off and was caught by the customer opposite. Yena obediently raised her hand and returned it intact. Here you go. Yu Jiang confusedly took it and exclaimed, Oh, thank you. As soon as she touched the other person's finger, she had a judgment in her heart. This girl is an esper. Yena seemed to recognize her identity too, so she looked up questioningly. Just as she was about to open her mouth, a voice interrupted. Yena, come here for a bit. It turned out that the classmate behind was raising his hand to urge her. You have not ordered yet, right? We want to order something else. Yena immediately turned back to find out their needs. What do you want to order? Yu Jiang missed the customer, but secretly made a plan in her heart. I should give her some cookies if she comes back. The melodious music could not make her mood better. With this situation, the cafe won't be able to serve all the customers that come. Yu Jiang slumped down behind the counter and silently calculated in her head, I need to hire a part-time employee, as soon as possible. The door of the cafe was suddenly pulled open from the outside. Yoon-hoo, armed to the teeth from head to toe, strode in. Yu Jiang habitually spoke in a mechanical way. Welcome. As soon as she finished speaking, she recognized it in her heart. Oh, it is him. She quietly compared it to the image on social media. Then she quickly had an answer in her mind. The dessert reviewer Yu Jiang greeted with a more welcoming attitude. Long time no see, sir. She proactively suggested the menu to this potential customer. Would you still like a chocolate latte with an extra shot with a lot of whipped cream? And a kua cake to go? But Yeon-hoo's hesitation made her a little panicked. Maybe I was too abrupt. Fortunately, he quickly complied. Okay, just like that, Yu Jiang immediately breathed a sigh of relief. Okay, please wait a moment. She quickly made the dish while expressing her heart. Thank you so much for your review, Yoon-hoo exclaimed questioningly. What? Yu Jiang took the opportunity to share her feelings frankly. When I saw your post on social media, I wanted to thank you right away, but you never came back. He lowered his head and asked softly, How do you know? Yu Jiang felt the awkward atmosphere, but had no intention of explaining. Maybe he is surprised that I recognized him. I ran out of stickers, so instead I tied the bag of cookies that I gave to reviewers with a ribbon. She just silently recalled the moment when Yeonhu first came to the store, and he was the one who received that bag. He abruptly pulled down his mask and questioned, "Tell the truth, when did you recognize me?" Not hearing an answer made Yeonhu even more impatient. "Are you deaf?" This intense reaction made Yujong somewhat stunned. Her mind suddenly understood. Wait, this person is. The unpleasant memory suddenly returned when she asked Yeonhu, "What are you doing here?" Yujong tried to choose her words to verify Seo Yi-hyun. He irritably corrected her. "No, it is Seo Yoon-hoo. Damn it, do not get my name wrong again." She covered her mouth and exclaimed, "Oh right, Seo Yeon-hoo, what a surprise. I did not know a regular at my cafe was a famous person on social media." He did not hesitate to expose her. "But you do not seem very surprised," Yujong awkwardly explained. "That is because my face does not have many expressions." Yeonhu leaned closer and continued to question. "Anyway, what do you mean, a famous person on social media? I thought you recognized me as Seo Yeonhu, an esper from the Hebe Association." Yujong had to respond perfunctorily. "Oh, I do not know much about the associations. Are you also famous in that world?" The two just stood at the order counter, talking back and forth endlessly. "What do you mean you do not know I am famous?" "Oh, I am talking about you being a famous dessert reviewer on social media." "And what is with wanting to thank me?" "Oh, you often come to the cafe, and also help promote my shop's desserts." Finally, Yujong shared her little secret. "I was out of stickers at the time, so your bag of cookies was the only one tied with a ribbon." Yoonhoo was enlightened and replied briefly, "I see." Although it was clear, she continued the conversation. "By the way, SEO." He asked back curtly with one word. "What?" Yujong boldly wondered what she was confused about. "Why are you talking to me in such a natural tone?" Yoonhoo did not answer, but asked back, "How old are you?" Although confused, she still provided the information politely. "I am 25. But age is not important in this." He quickly explained very reasonably. "We are the same age, you can also talk to me comfortably." Yujong understood and immediately agreed. "Oh, okay." Yeonhu smiled brightly and exploited from the most basic issue. "What is your name?" She responded extremely briefly. "Kim Yujong." Just that was enough to change his attitude. "Kim Yujong, you are Kim Yujong." Yeonhu hurriedly asked, "Do you know Yeon Woo-jin?" Yujong calmly sneered. "Who does not know that name?" He did not miss the opportunity to find out thoroughly. "Do you know him?" She did not hesitate to deny it. "No, I know who he is, but he does not know me." This answer did not seem to satisfy Yeonhu. Based on the other party's reaction just now, doubts gradually arose in Yujong's mind. Why is he asking these questions? Yeonhu, who had been sulking for a while, finally burst out, "Wait, you know him, but you do not know me. It is really annoying." After that, Seo Yeonhu still continued to stop by the cafe when there were not too many customers. Although he was always grumbling, he must have really liked my desserts, because Yeonhu constantly ordered with one sentence, "Give me a portion that is twice the size." This person is an A-class esper with the ability to control fire. He is famous for having a not-so-good relationship with Yeon Woo-jin. But to me, he does not seem like a bad person at all. The problem is that his face is always frowning. But in the end, I realized that that person is actually more harmless than I thought, and also easy to predict. Yu Jiang stood in the counter, quietly observing this familiar customer. She washed the dishes while secretly adjusting her state. Anyway, the more important thing for me now is to hire a part-time employee. Yu Jiang was immersed in her own thoughts. I want to find someone who is hardworking, enthusiastic, cleans well, knows how to make drinks, and is the same age as me. The problem is that the more she thought about it, the more desperate she felt. But I probably can't find such a part-time employee, or at least that is what I thought. Most people think they will never be caught up in a disaster. But these disasters happen more often than we think. Kang Min-ji went out to find a part-time job and accidentally entered an unstable gate. She ran for her life while secretly cursing, "So many places. Why did the gate open in District R?" In her heart, Min-ji cried without tears, "I am not an esper or a guide, so I can't stop that unstable gate from opening." In her heart, she kept crying out, "Is there anyone from the center or an association? Save me, anyone is fine," until she felt the monster was next to her. The cry for help was suddenly stained with despair. Minji saw Yu Jiang charging with a sword and immediately labeled her in her heart. She must be an esper. She looked at the figure of the heroine rushing up and blurted out her plea again. "Please help me." A sharp sword grazed the monster's neck. Yu Jiang maintained the posture of holding the sword with both hands. Minji froze as she watched the blue blood splattered right next to her. The monster immediately collapsed to the ground, causing a slight aftershock. Yu Jiang generously patted its head and breathed a sigh of relief, almost. She wiped the blood on her cheek and casually asked, "Are you okay?" Minji, although stuttering, could not suppress her curiosity. I am okay, thank you. Are you an esper?" Yu Jiang immediately denied it. "No, this weapon is not mine. I took it from the esper over there." Hearing the important keyword, Minji immediately ran away, an esper, leaving Yujiang calling after her helplessly. Wait, do not go that way. As soon as she caught sight of a person, she hurriedly opened her mouth. Sorry, I heard you are an esper. When she came to her senses, the person she was talking to was just a corpse that was still warm. Yujiang ran over in time to ask, are you okay? This is why I told you not to run this way. She sat next to Minji and comforted her carefully. Can you get up? This place is dangerous, so let us go into the cave for temporary shelter. She had no choice but to follow the advice. Yujiang looked and felt uncomfortable in her heart. She must still be very shocked. She looked up at the sky and quietly concluded, anyway, a gate just opened right in front of me. The two quickly found a place to rest and recover. Yujiang kindly shared food with Minji. Oh, here, have a cookie. In times like these, we need to keep our strength up. She accepted the kindness and said softly, thank you. Yujiang enthusiastically reminded her, I have water too, if you want some. Just tell me. Minji ate the cake while taking the time to praise. Thank you for saving me. I did not expect you to be so calm in this situation. It is really amazing. She turned to the person who saved her and expressed her disbelief. You are really not an esper. Yujiang blankly repeatedly corrected. No, I am not. Do I look like an esper? Minji affirmed immediately without thinking yes. In her heart, she could not help but feel a little touched. I was really surprised when she just grabbed a weapon and charged into battle with that monster, even though she was just an ordinary person. She proactively introduced herself first. My name is Kim Yujiang, and you? She paused for a moment but still shared very fully. Oh, I am Kang Minji. I am 24 years old. Yujiang turned to her new friend and said in a low voice. Minji is right. We are really lucky. If this happens again, we will probably die. She did not hesitate to pour out her heart. But I am not calm because I am using my senses. If we are already in danger of dying, then just stay calm and do what we can. That way, at least we have a higher chance of surviving together. Minji sat with her knees hugged and acknowledged. You are right, but... Yujiang understood and interrupted. This is also my first time coming into a dungeon. From my experience, I realize that the chance of dying will be higher if you do not adapt to the new environment. Yujiang understood Minji's current feelings, so she continued to gently advise, so do not worry too much, and just accept the current situation with such quality advice. She quickly escaped from the negative emotions. Thank you. I feel much calmer now. Minji suddenly felt wronged. I went out to find a part-time job because I was just fired a few days ago. But I fell into a dungeon like this. How can I be so unlucky? I kept hoping things would get better. But look at me now. She was very optimistic, quickly regaining her spirits. But I am sure we will survive. Someone once read my palm and said I would live a long life. After that, she seemed to want to have more faith, so she made a promise. When we get out of here, I will make you your favorite drink, Yujiang. I can make anything you want because I worked at a cafe for a long time. This made her surprised and blurted out, What? Minji repeated what she just said. I said I will make you a drink, but that did not seem to be what Yujiang wanted. No, not that. She grabbed her hand, looking at the other party with expectant eyes. Wait, say that again. How many years have you worked at the cafe? Although Minji felt a little pressured by the sparkle in those eyes, she still answered honestly. Oh, about 5 years? Yujiang asked further. Do you like to clean? This sudden and irrelevant question made her hesitate a little. Well, I can't leave a place alone when it is messy. Feeling like she'd found the right person, she happily invited. Then do you want to work at my cafe? I will pay you a high salary and have good benefits. Minji also did not have a job, so she was quite interested in this. Oh, that is great. If the cafe is near my house, I will bring my resume right away. However, looking at the monster standing in front of the cave entrance over there made all the excited emotions of both quickly disappear. But first, we need to get out of here. Suddenly, a monster seemed to have discovered something in the corner. Yujiang clearly caught sight of its eyes too. Minji, I think we need to run. She urged the other party to flee while looking back at them, starting to chase. That monster just looked at me. Yujiang secretly recalled a few small details. The gate just now was white, right? She ran while rummaging through the information in her brain. Low-level gates are white, mid-level are green, high-level are blue, and the highest level are red. It was clear that Yujiang had been taught very carefully about this issue. You can close a gate leading to another dimension by finding its fault, meaning you have to kill the dungeon boss or destroy the object symbolizing the dungeon. But now, applying the learned theories in practice made her cry. That is what Hyun-woo said. The problem is, I do not know how to destroy that object. Even so, she still had to stand up as the director. Go this way, Minji. She reacted a little slowly. Okay. But the monsters were very quick, so they soon caught up closely. The huge mouth passing through the aisle screamed a few times to scare them. Both of them were terrified and fell to the ground. Minji quickly took a few breaths of air when she escaped from the scythe of death. We survived thanks to the narrow passage that they could not squeeze through. Having passed one difficult hurdle and the next was another difficult problem. But what should we do now with this situation? We won't be able to get out of the cave. Yujiang calmly made a decision. First, let us go deeper inside. Minji could not help but worry. What? There won't be anything dangerous there, right? The reason she could be so decisive was because she had a fairly reasonable item in her hand. I found an entry card from the center near the entrance to the cave. She speculated with some curiosity, oh, is this card from the dead person we saw outside? But she received a blunt denial. No, the face on the card is completely different from that person. I think the owner of the card is an Esper who is also trapped in this dungeon, like us. Yu Jiang recounted the situation at the time and gave a conclusion. I found this right at the door, so maybe he is deep inside. Minji felt relieved. That is great. At least there is a D-level Esper in this cave. Even though she said that, her intuition told her something else. But I do not know why I still feel uneasy. She thought and simulated it in her head. The monsters outside the cave have sharp teeth and claws. And the image of Yu Jiang's body also appeared clearly. But the dead Esper I saw had a decisive cut right at his neck, as if it was cut by a sharp blade. These details that were wrong had evoked a not-so-good idea. It looks like someone cut his neck. Her feet suddenly stopped when she heard a ferocious laugh in the distance. Ha ha ha, he said he would report me or something. Yu Jiang hid behind a rock, listening intently to the other person's conversation. So guess what I did to him? Her pupils suddenly narrowed, as if stimulated by an unbelievable scene. Minsik raised his hand to his neck and made a slashing motion, then recounted, I cut him like this. His accomplices laughed and chimed in, ha ha ha, serves him right. Yu Jiang seemed to recognize the identity of the young man over there. Is that person? It turned out that there was no need to look far because it was right in front of her, the owner of the entry card I picked up at the cave entrance. Minsik sneered and criticized another person. You are just a B-rank Esper, only one rank higher than me. He looked at Ilhu lying flat on the ground and said insults. Who are you to teach me about honor and law? He grabbed his hair without restraint and smiled contemptuously. Look at the way you are lying on the ground after I beat you. Even though he was in a situation where he was not sure he could keep his life, yet Ilhu still insisted on arguing back. Esperhong Minsiki, do you understand what you just did? He bluntly exposed Minsik's crime. You killed a civilian and captured a monster. But for a murderer like him, there was no way he would be frightened by those words. No one will know what happened in this gate as long as I close it. Minji witnessed such a thing directly for the first time. All her thoughts seemed to be delayed. Wah, what should we do now, Yu Jiang? Her voice was completely hoarse and suddenly blurted out a sentence. We are screwed. She tried to reassure herself, carefully observing the group on the other side. Slowly. I need to calm down and assess the situation. There are 2 of us. There are 4 on that side. Yu Jiang stared at Ilhu and gave an analysis. One of them looks like the victim, and that person seems to be a B-rank Esper. She scanned the blue stone that was shining. That thing in the back seems to be the object symbolizing this gate, so destroying it might close the gate. Minsik seemed to have hated him before. Co Ilhu. I wanted to kill you every time you said those hypocritical words, and today I will make that a reality. Then he raised the syringe in his hand, triumphantly declaring, I will show you a precious item that someone like you will never be able to touch. He immediately stabbed the needle into Ilhu's neck, making him unable to defend himself. He could not control the drug being injected into his body, so he tried to hook his throat. Kukuku. Minsik thought that there was no one around, so he revealed the information at will. Who would have thought that that association created an item that can neutralize the power difference between ranks? The screams of misery echoed throughout the cave, eh? But what Yu Jiang was concerned about was something else. What did he inject that person with? Is it poison? A moment later, still in that cave, but this time there were more streaks of bright red blood and terrified screams on the ground. Ilhu painfully clutched his head, his whole body kneeling on the ground. Ah! The power he released caused both of them to block it with their hands. Yu Jiang seemed to have anticipated this situation. I knew it. He will soon lose control. Tae Min suddenly turned to remind him, Brother Minsik, if we get caught up in his loss of control, we will be killed. We should close the gate now, he agreed cheerfully. Sounds good. It is quite sad because I can't watch that dog die. Then the 3 of them carried the sacks of items towards the large stone. Ilhu currently felt unwell as the drug had almost spread throughout his body. In this critical moment, Yu Jiang still quickly had a plan and stood up to act. Let us run, Minji. She was startled and panicked. Huh? Where to? She did not answer, but just ran straight ahead, letting her call after her. Yu Jiang. Only after a while, Ilhu's eye sockets had overflowed with blood. At the same time, Minji's loud and incomprehensible cry also rang out. Yu Jiang, what are you doing? For some reason, she came to his side and used her power. She secretly speculated the origin of this incident, that liquid inside the syringe must have activated and accelerated his loss of control. At this moment, Yu Jiang only had one idea left. I hope my guiding will be effective. Just like that, every minute and every second passed. Ilhu gradually calmed down. The storm immediately turned to nothingness. After a few more seconds, finally the traces of that unknown drug had disappeared. He regained his mind. The first sentence Ilhu said was, Who are you? Because time did not allow, Yu Jiang put aside the interrogation and hurriedly reminded, That is not important now. You need to fight those guys. I will guide you so you do not lose control. Attack with all your strength. However, he was a little wary, but we just met. What? I do not understand, she sternly scolded. Do you want to die in this cave? Go, hurry up. Minsik, who had come very close to that blue stone, was attracted by the movement behind. As soon as he turned his head, he saw an eyesore scene. Damn it, who are those bitches? Having no other choice, he clicked his tongue and used his hand to create gusts of wind. They lifted a large rock floating in the air. Yu Zhang shouted, Dodge, Minji! Thinking that they would not make it this time. But fortunately, Ilhu had recovered in time and stood in front of them. He controlled the streams of power to act according to his will. They struck straight at Minsik's face, causing him to scream loudly. Ilhu turned his head to look at the two, and instructed, Run to the center, hurry up. He took them to the blue stone and ordered, Hold the monster stone. Yu Jiang trusted him very much, so she immediately reached out. The 3 hands of 3 people touched it. Just a second later, large cracks appeared in the stone that was originally intact. Streams of light suddenly shone from within the crack. Yu Jiang's eyes directly faced that dazzling light. In the next second, all 3 had returned to the real world, everyone was exhausted, and sat down on the ground. Yu Jiang rejoiced secretly in her heart. After experiencing so many difficulties, we got out. In contrast, Ilhu was not very happy. He blamed himself. I should have controlled and brought them back, but I pushed them out of the transfer zone. In essence, I killed them. Minji tried to say a few comforting words, but they tried to kill us. This had no effect on him. Even so, that does not justify the fact that I killed people. Those people should have lived to pay the price for their sins. Yu Zhang herself reorganized the details of the battle and the noteworthy points. Considering the situation, Hong Minsik and his team must be illegal monster catchers. And they also killed all the witnesses, right? She also understood the difficulties of operating in this world. If there was not an Esper controlling electricity there, we would not be able to use electronic devices. Inside the gate, there is no way to warn the outside world, so a perfect crime is committed. Yu Jiang did not ask for anything more than peace. But the important thing is that I survived and escaped from an unstable gate, where civilians can easily lose their lives. Now that it was safe, Ilhu did not hesitate to question, on the spot. You are guide Kim Yu Jiang, right? The person involved in the recent sudden gate incident. She frankly admitted, that is right. She knew that this could not be hidden. Sooner or later, I guided an Esper working for the center, so I have no choice but to admit that I am a guide. Looking at the pile of documents, Xiang Yu suddenly made a comment. It seems like you have done some tests other than the required one. But this innocuous sentence made Yu Jiang pause. Wah, me, really? Then she suddenly remembered someone. Wait, did Amelia do it? Did she want to become an Esper or a guide? But why? Then she followed the instructions of the doctors. Stand here and put your hand on the machine. While checking, Yu Zhang was still thinking about the reason for this. Amelia does not seem like the type of person obsessed with honor. Or did she want to become a guide or Esper to get funding? Suddenly, a loud scream cut off her train of thought. AAA, the measuring device. 2 medical staff suddenly collapsed when they witnessed this scene. The measuring device has been destroyed. The last recorded wavelength is... But the most worried person right now was Yu Jiang. Don't tell me I have to compensate them for damaging that device. Inside the room, a somewhat relieved sound echoed. Finally, you registered. Yu Jiang. Hian Wu directly expressed his concern. I was very shocked to hear that you were trapped in the chaotic gate with Ilhu. I am glad you got out safely. He kept talking on and on, without realizing that Yu Jiang was pale-faced. Oh right. Ilhu wants to send you a gift of thanks because you helped him? He is a bit old-fashioned. But he is a good person. She unconsciously remembered what she had heard at the hospital. They said that they would need more time to install a new measuring device, so I am assigned a temporary rank before being reassessed. Yu Jiang's soul left her body, immersed in a sea of thoughts. I hope I will be ranked lower than C, but... She clenched the card in her hand, uttering 2 curses in her heart. Damn it. Se-yong, who had been silent, also began to share her regret. You have to close the cafe for a while. It is a pity. It was even doing well. What a shame. Yu Jiang came back to her senses and trembled. What? Se-yong replied with a natural look. How can you manage the cafe when you have to be a guide for at least 3 years? She asked back in confusion. Is there no option for me not to be a guide all days of the week? Yu Jiang switched to a more serious mode than ever. No matter what, I won't close the cafe. The real reason she kept in her heart and did not say, I have spent almost my whole life doing things I did not want to do, and now I have found something I want to do. There is no way I will give up as long as I have the right to decide. Never. Se-yong saw her sad expression and quickly suggested, there is still a way for you to have a more comfortable schedule when you are a guide. Yu Jiang immediately asked, really, how? She explained slowly what she knew. The first option is also the most common option is to work as a support guide at the center. The job requires you to come to the office all 5 days a week, but if there is an emergency on the weekend, you can be called up at any time. The second option is to work as a direct guide at the scene. You will be stationed nearby and ready to support when requested, but it may be a bit dangerous because you have to go into the gate often. The third option is to join an association. The association pays a large sum of money to the center to hire guides during their service, and after the service ends, the person is required to join the association. Your training time will be 3 months, so you can think about which option is best for you. Yu Jiang hesitated and opened her mouth. In that case. She raised her teacup and put on a 10-part serious look. In that case, there is only one option for me. The cafe was still bustling as usual. Minji stopped by the cashier and whispered a reminder. Kim, we are out of kua jam. Do we have any more jars? Yu Jiang leaned over and instructed. Try looking inside that cabinet over there. There should be some. She immediately called out, okay. She looked at the sales and could not help but sigh. Kua yogurt is also selling. Well, Minji just waited for that and excitedly showed off. That is right. This dish has been very popular these days. Suddenly, she tilted her head and asked, by the way, what are you going to do after the 3 months of training are over? Minji worriedly blurted out a series of questions. Will I be fired as soon as I am hired? And Yu Jiang had to try to stay calm to explain. Maybe I will avoid mandatory service. She worriedly exclaimed, but you were too young to be convicted. She calmly reassured her employee. Guess what? I am not really a guide, Minji. Familiar footsteps rang out outside the door again. Yeonhu had not even entered yet and muttered uncomfortably. Damn it, there is no place today either. He walked to the cashier and praised with a sarcastic tone. The cafe seems to be doing better than before, Yu Jiang enthusiastically replied. That is right, thanks to you. Yeonhu did not hesitate to admit it. That is right, you should really thank me. After all, my status on social media is very high, she quietly added in her heart. And everyone knows who you are, even when you are wearing a hat. Customers run in here every time you appear. Just then, a somewhat impatient voice rang out behind Yeonhu. If you are not going to order, can you get out of the line? Yana did not wait for him to respond and poked her head out to order first. Give me a cool latte, please. Yu Jiang could not help but be surprised. Oh, you are here. For Yana, a kind student and a regular who picked up the coaster for Yu Jiang on the opening day. Yeonhu, who was interrupted, immediately burst into temper. Who is this runt? Yana was not easy to deal with, and retorted, Runt. Then, what are you, a wall? Standing in front of the counter like that. If you are an adult, then act right. He was slapped in the face for the first time, so he was so angry that his teeth itched. What did you say? The girl swaggeringly continued to argue. If you are not ordering anything, then get out of the way. Do not bother her from working. Yeonhu flared up with anger and turned to question. Her. Since when have you two been so close? Do you know who you are talking to? Yu Jiang intervened at the right time when the war was escalating. Yana, I made a lot of cookies today. Do you want to try some? The girl immediately switched to a sweet mode and said yes. Yeonhu went crazy and yelled, hey, what about me? On the outside, Yu Jiang smiled as standard, but in her heart she was quite speechless. Every time I meet her, he becomes irritable. Frankly, I was very worried that they might fight, because they are both espers. But Yeonhu angrily shouted, what? How can I hit that weak girl? He took a sip of coffee to calm down and grimaced to defend himself. Is this what you think of me? I am not the kind of scum who hits civilians. Yu Jiang propped her chin up and dropped a bomb, civilians, but Yina is an esper. Yeonhu yelled in shock. What? That kid is an esper? Yana, who did not know when she had come back, confirmed. That is right, I am an esper. My ability is to control plants. He raised his head, pretending to be knowledgeable. Oh, so you are the new member of the Eon Association. The girl calmly stabbed back. Yes, I heard you are Co Yeonhu, a degenerate. He flailed like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. What? Who said that? Yu Jiang looked at the chaotic scene in front of her and sighed. Sadly, I wish they would both leave here. Another new day began with blue skies and white clouds. Yu Jiang stared at her phone and secretly reassured herself. I just need to get there at 10 o'clock, right? She did not look up, but sighed deeply. It is annoying, leaving the cafe to Minji and going to the center to attend training every morning. Yu Jiang looked around and walked forward, room 17. Oh, there it is. When she pushed open the door to an empty room, doubts suddenly arose in her heart. It seems like no one has come yet. Yu Jiang threw her bag on the chair and quietly comforted herself. They said there would be an esper coming today because we are practicing guiding, right? Before she could sit down, the door moved again. Yu Jiang turned her head and opened her mouth instinctively. Oh, hello! R.O. Woon appeared cautiously and stood there like a tree. She had to proactively reach out to introduce herself. I am Kim Yu Jiang. He mechanically followed her movements. Yu Jiang watched and became anxious. I need to finish this quickly so I can go back to the cafe. She saw that the other party had not completed the simple action, so she boldly suggested, can I start guiding now? Yu Jiang proactively took the hesitant hand in front of her. allow me. Woon could not control the tremor that was spreading throughout his limbs. He even had to clench his jaw uncomfortably. This reaction made Yu Jiang's eyes widen in surprise. A bold conclusion popped out in her head. Is it reverse guiding? Yu Jiang instinctively pulled her hand away and shouted, "What do you think you are doing?" She looked at the other party holding his head and collapsing while still talking on and on. "This is reverse guiding, right? Hey, are you okay?" Woon wrung his head and stuttered to apologize. "No, I am sorry." Yu Jiang met this scene for the first time, so she was somewhat helpless. "What? Are you okay?" She took a few steps forward and changed to a gentler tone. "Are you tired?" Woon was still immersed in a slump. "Sorry, it is all my fault." Yu Jiang looked at the trembling back, and her heart became complicated. This person's condition. She decided to step back and comfort him. "It is okay." Yu Jiang raised both hands to the sky to express her sincerity. "I will stand here. I won't move. Are you okay now? Try taking a deep breath." Yu Jiang was afraid that the other party would not notice, so she patiently pointed out, "It is okay. Here, look at my hand. It is so far away." Woon gradually escaped from the tense state. He raised his eyelids and calmly listened to her voice echoing in his ears. "I will be standing here. You do not need to worry." Yu Jiang had a rough conclusion in her head. It seems like he has a panic attack due to a surprise attack. They said I could practice guiding for an esper, but they did not ask if it would be this difficult. How can they invite an esper who gets traumatized every time he has to contact for guiding? Yu Jiang looked at the person cowering in a corner and felt a little helpless. Her mind was spinning in doubt. Also, a person with trauma related to guiding. What is he doing in the guiding room? The only sound left in the room was the humming of the air conditioner. Woon was still sitting with his knees hugged. Just then, a lollipop rolled in front of him. Woon's eyes involuntarily lit up. Yu Jiang in the distance tried to start a conversation. "Do you like strawberry candy?" She threw more lollipops, along with an explanation. "I have many other flavors too, so take whatever you like." Gratitude rose in Yu Jiang's heart. He is so sensitive and careful, like a cat. A moment later, she confusedly questioned the center staff. "What? I am in room number 7, not 17. Seok Min clenched the clipboard and justified in a low voice, "Because my pager did not ring, so we thought everything was fine." He shyly took all the responsibility on himself. "I am sorry for not checking your condition sooner," guide Kim Yu Jiang. At this point, her mind was somewhat enlightened. "Now I remember, they said I should press the red button if there is a problem. I was so dazed during class that I forgot." Yu Jiang gnashed her teeth and cursed inwardly. This is still bearable compared to the time I was stabbed in the side during the war." After apologizing, Seok Min showed some hesitation. "So, is there any problem?" She tilted her head to look at Woon and stammered to deny, "No, not really." The security guard suddenly entered and announced, "Esper Lee Woon, we will take you to another room." Both he and Yu Jiang looked at each other with doubtful eyes. In the end, Woon still accepted his fate and turned away. He hid himself again in a corner where no one could see. Yu Jiang could not restrain her curiosity and opened her mouth. "Is that person also an intern?" When talking, I felt that he had a lot of difficulty in communicating with others. Seok Min denied immediately. "Oh, he is not an intern." He surprisingly asked back, "You talked to him." She honestly shared what she had just experienced. "That is right, although most of it was me talking." Yu Jiang clenched her bag and secretly thanked heaven and earth. "Luckily, I brought candy with me in case I get hungry." She left the center with a heavy heart. What a long morning. Jinseo proactively stepped forward to greet her. "Oh, hello, you are guide Kim Yu Jiang, right?" He put his hand on his chest and happily introduced himself. "We are in the same class. I am Chai Jinseo." Yu Jiang shyly said. "Oh, sorry, I have not remembered everyone's name yet." Jinseo still smiled brightly and replied, "It is okay. I only know a few people too. But I remember your name, because you are famous." Catching the important keyword, she immediately asked back, "What? Why am I famous?" He mysteriously leaned closer to share. "Because you got the highest score on the test?" In Yu Jiang's heart, she suddenly smiled bitterly. "I just finished early and left early." Jinseo did not see her awkwardness and continued to babble. "Oh, by the way, what are you going to do after the training period ends?" "I am thinking of joining an association because they pay very high salaries there." Hyun Woo next to him suddenly reminded his friend who said that an association will contact you. "You are in Class D, so you do not have a 3-year obligation to work." "And me? I am aiming to join Messiah," he jerked back and immediately retorted. "There is no way you can join that association." Yu Jiang only smiled but did not laugh, just silently complained. "I am not interested in Messiah at all because it is Yeon Woojin's association. Getting into Messiah is even harder than applying for a company in Korea." Jin Seo tried to extract information thoroughly. "Are there any associations you want to join, Yu Jiang?" She had to deal with it perfunctorily. I have never thought about it." He still insisted on asking. "Then what conditions do you want for your contract? Have you thought about it?" Yu Jiang still tried to maintain a nonchalant attitude. Not sure, I really have not thought about it yet. Jin Xiao seemed to know it was difficult, so he proactively retreated. Oh, I understand. A familiar space was immersed in fiery red light. Monster corpses lay scattered on the ground. Yunhu silently stood in that dark space without saying a word. He raised his hand to wipe the blood on his face. One of the two people present clenched his sword and raised his vigilance. Even though he can't completely control his power, I still can't believe they ranked him A when he is so dangerous. The girl who came with him shouted without hesitation. Hey, what are you going to do after work? I heard there is a cafe you want to go to. Take me with you. Yunhu uncomfortably turned his head. To warn, if you follow me, I will kill you. They kept arguing next to the raging sea of fire. Anyway, the espers all know about that cafe. It seems like they always bring food to go because they do not want to meet you. It is like people only know you because of your bad temper. Even though Yan Mujin is worse than him, Yanhu heard the name of the arch-enemy and immediately burst into temper. Don't compare me to that bastard. The blonde girl excitedly shared the information. I heard you and brother said you won't participate in the next skate battle. Have you heard about the case where an S-level esper will go with us? The tsundere excitedly blurted out of habit. Damn it. Is it Yan Mujin? Yet she denied. No, it is Esper Lee, R.O. Woon. Do you know what? That kid is related to the high-ranking officials here. They changed the direction to discuss the person with real power. That guy, a man-made S-level esper. The government always wants to create high-level espers, because no one knows when dangerous gates will open, even when they have arranged defenses around the safe zone in the center. More than the associations, the government gave this responsibility to the National Assembly before the Great Disaster, allowing them to carry out what they call the Awakening Load Experiment for the awakened people. The experiment did not receive much attention from the public, because it was conducted on orphans who had lost both parents in the battle with the gates. But among those high-level espers there is a particularly outstanding individual. Lee R.O. Woon is one of the very few successful studies among the failed experiments. She babbled everything she knew. That kid's mind may be quite confused too. Those big shots did not learn anything from Do HYI. Hyun's case, did they? That guy went crazy after being reawakened and took everyone with him. Then who would not go crazy after having to go through such an experimental process, thinking about what that person had to go through? Lee R.O. Woon is quite normal. Whatever, no matter what, I just hope I do not meet CO Yunhu. Don't say that, it might not come true. But life is not like a dream. The most unrelated three-person team accidentally went live at the same time. Yunhu ripped off his mask and yelled, expressing his dissatisfaction. What the hell is this bastard doing here? R.O. Woon just looked at him calmly like a monkey in a zoo. Inside the cafe, Yanhu's angry shout echoed everywhere. What the hell is this bastard doing here? Hearing those words, Yu Jiang confusingly asked, R.O. Woon, do you know who Yunhu is? But before the words were out of her mouth, he interrupted sarcastically. Even if you ask, he won't answer. At that moment, R.O. Woon shyly muttered, No, I do not know. That surprised Yanhu so much that he could not say a word. What, he can talk? Being slapped in the face painfully, he shyly admired under the awkward atmosphere. Unbelievable. Really? 2 weeks ago, Yu Jiang's voice echoed, breaking the still atmosphere. What? You want me to look after a child? Hanyil professionally explained the nature of the job to the shocked person opposite. No, Esper Lee R.O. Woon is an adult. We just want you to spend time with him like last time. You can continue to participate in other classes, as usual. Her brain received some parts and did not forget to confirm again. So you are asking me to guide Esper Lee R.O. Woon for the rest of the practical training, right? Thinking of the young man's body trembling like a shivering, Yu Jiang's heart revealed anxiety. But how can I help when his close friend is so wary? Would rejecting this invitation be better for him? Feeling the concern from her, Hanyil gently adjusted her glasses to attract attention and then continued. No, we just want you to spend time with him like last time. Esper Lee R.O. Woon usually does not talk. Glancing through the profile, she spoke in a gentle tone. Neither hurried nor slow, but I heard that you talked to him, so I have this request. You are the only person who is requested to meet him during the training, and you will also receive a sum of money from it. Hearing those words, Yu Jiang not only did not feel happy, but felt heavier than usual. But all I did was give him candy to eat. To calm down, do people consider this talking? After a few minutes, a faint smile suddenly appeared on that charming face, saying that if all she needed to do was talk to kids instead of doing training exercises, then this was a windfall for her. Not knowing how much time had passed, Yu Jiang greeted the person in front of her with a sweet, artificial voice. Hello, I met you last time, do you remember? Looking at R.O. Woon sitting obediently on the chair, she leisurely inquired like an old friend visiting. From now on, you and I will be meeting more often. When is the best time? Not receiving a response did not make Yu Jiang feel discouraged. Instead, she offered another, even better idea. If you do not want to talk, would you like to use Morse code to communicate? Even so, R.O. Woon still did not give a reaction, causing her to silently conclude, I guess it is going to be difficult to talk to him on the first day. After that, Yu-young returned to the apartment with 2 mysterious boxes in her hands and endless excitement. Hello, have you eaten anything yet? Walking closer to Woon, who had just woken up, she began to deliver a monologue without getting tired. I thought you liked sweets, so I brought some desserts. I run a cafe, so you can stop by whenever you are free. His face suddenly flushed red as he listened to the warm explanations from the other person. The box with the string is meat-filled bread with a sour fruit sauce and nuts. The box with the blue string is kua bread. It is sweet and the most popular item at the cafe, and this is a cookie. Yu Jiang silently observed every gesture of Woon like a mother watching her child take their first steps. Thanks to this peaceful moment, she concluded something that made her feel cheerful. I heard that most espers suffering from side effects like sour or sweet foods. I am glad he seems to like desserts. Growing weary, Yu Jiang took out a file and slowly reminded him, in the meantime, I will read some documents, so feel free to relax. Without needing to observe the expression on the other person's face, she calmly flipped through the pages, reading Woon's information. Yu Jiang's eyes accidentally fell upon the small S-class on the page for a moment. The unexpected discovery stunned her, and she looked at him with probing eyes. He is an S-class esper. Yu Jiang watched Woon obediently eat the bread she brought, and her heart seemed to melt. To me, he looks like a clumsy child with a bag of desserts. Recalling the news she had seen before, Yu Jiang's mind quickly fell into contemplation. I thought guides and rank 5 espers were extremely rare, and are not they all supposed to have unpredictable personalities? Thinking about the news that once shocked her, an A-class esper burned down an entire forest, Yu Jiang secretly admired the boy. I can't believe Woon is anything like them. Her sigh seemed to get stuck in her throat as she thought about the hardships Woon must have endured. It made Yu Jiang breathless, but she still tried to calm down. Okay, this is not my business, this is just temporary. A moment later, a can of soda slowly fell into the dispenser after spinning a few times in the air. Jin Seo hesitantly attracted the attention of the person in front of him, guide Kim Yu Jiang. A soft voice rang out behind Yu Jiang, as if afraid of being overheard. Do you know anyone of high rank? Smelling something strange in that statement, she frowned and asked back, why? Causing him to panic and immediately open his mouth. It is just that the trainee guides keep talking about you. Recalling the dagger she saw a moment ago, Yu Jiang sighed in exasperation. So that is why everyone was looking at me. Returning to reality, she suppressed all emotions before probing Jin Seo. What are they saying? As the person who initiated the conversation, he told everything without hiding a single word. They said you were exempt from training practice because you know a high-ranking esper. And you are also being taught separately, unlike us normal trainees. She vaguely suspected the reason before, but hearing it with her own ears, Yu Jiang could not help but feel upset. They must think I am taking advantage of my connections or something. But while she was flustered, not knowing how to respond, Jin Seo enthusiastically chatted. I am sure you got the job because you are talented, but I am just letting you know what people are saying. Seeing the boy's radiant smile, Yu Jiang also smiled faintly. I wish I could tell him more, but I really can't give details. However, the heavens did not seem to want to let her live in peace and allowed Young Ho to prolong the conversation. I have not chosen a guild yet, he said, probably because you already have one, right? Even though Yu Jiang felt a surge of annoyance, she had to politely respond, no, I do not, and I really have not chosen a guild yet. That answer further stimulated her nosy police instincts. So it is true that you are being privately trained with a high-ranking esper? Understanding that she would be stalked forever if she remained flexible, she sternly reminded the other person. As I said, I can't explain the reason clearly, so I suggest you ask the management directly. Her sharp eyes glanced at each person without trying to hide her displeasure, instead of constantly poking at me like this. That not only did not scare the group of people who lived like a pack, but also led to an outrageous argument. So let us just say you have talent, but in the end, you are just a C-class guide. Yu Jiang was tired and did not want to argue anymore, only silently frowning as she waited for everything to pass. Thinking about the things she had to go through in her previous life, she wryly smiled. This level of oppression is not even comparable to the frustrations I had to endure as Amelia. Sometime later, blue and white clouds drifted lazily across the high sky. Yu Jiang comfortably enjoyed the coolness of the wind along with Woon, who was playing with a cat nearby. Anxiety crept into every breath, shattering all outward appearances of composure. It has been 2 months since I became a trainee. The cafe business is doing pretty well, so how come I still have a huge debt and a mountain of bills to pay? Woon, hearing the audible sigh, hesitantly inquired, Are you bored? His puppy dog eyes stared intently at Yu Jiang, as if gently questioning, When you are with me. Hearing that, she tilted her head in confusion. Huh, you mean? Before she could say anything more, both of them were interrupted by a loud sound. Esper Lee Woon. Appearing out of nowhere in front of the two, Yan Jie flashed a fake radiant smile and bowed. Hello. Looking at the young man in front of her, she probed, "He is your Esper, guide Kim Yoo-jiang." It made her a little confused, but she still politely responded, "Yes." But her mouth hesitated, but her mind started to think, "This girl's face is familiar. Who could she be?" Suddenly, an old memory rushed back, causing Yoo-jiang to suddenly awaken from a dream. I remember now. She is the one who rescued me from a question on my first day of class." Yan-jae only looked at Woon and enthusiastically introduced herself. "I am Jung Yan-jae. I am a B-class guide, so I am higher rank than you." Without hesitating to snatch someone in front of everyone, she shamelessly squeezed his hand. "Can you give me a chance, Esperly? I am confident in my guiding abilities. So I think you will be satisfied." Seeing the strange hand touching him, Woon froze and fell into a serious panic. His whole body trembled in resistance, but he could not break free from the physical contact. The sudden development startled Yoo-jung, and she did not have time to react. Remembering the image of him curled up on the sofa, then memories of the emotionless words on the report she had read flooded back. Yoo-jiang hurriedly pulled him towards her and angrily yelled, "What do you think you are doing?" Startled by the shout, Yan-jae stuttered, "What did I just do?" The stern voice from Yoo-jiang silently melted Woon's tense heart. "I will ask the same question." Without hesitating that it was a public place, she directly criticized the person in front of her. "This is not even an emergency situation. How dare you guide without the Esper's consent?" Frightened by that imposing aura, Yan-jae took a step back but still argued, "What is wrong with a guide performing guiding with an Esper?" Yoo-jiang's eyes unleashed a series of oppressive rays outward. "You did not ask the Esper's opinion first." Knowing that she was at a disadvantage, she tried to use words to cover up her sin. "I am sorry, guide Kim Yoo-jiang. But there is no law that says guides can't touch Espers." Hearing those words, Yoo-jung's mind was so infuriated that she almost lost her composure. Legally speaking, that is right, but she lowered her voice and slowly stabbed the other person with the beak of justice on her body. "Putting aside whether you are a guide or an Esper, do you think it is right to touch someone without their permission?" The seemingly unintentional reminder made Yan-jae jump in fright. Furthermore, touching another guide's Esper, that is not a good look in other people's eyes. Yoo-jung herself thought about the dark future that the other person had built. She will get a bad review if the instructors find out what happened here, and that review will negatively affect her chances of being recruited by guilds. The confrontation between the two had attracted the attention of the onlookers. "What is going on over there? I think something's happening." Unfortunately, Yan-jae's brainless arrogance accused her in the most absurd way. "It sounds like you are just keeping him to yourself, right?" The rude finger pointed rudely under the stupid remarks. "You are afraid you will lose a high-ranking Esper if I guide better than you, right?" Unlike that protruding attitude, Yoo-jiang still replied calmly, causing the crowd to murmur. "So what? I am assigned to him, and nothing can change the fact that you are an intruder in this situation." Guide Jung Yan-jae. Her absolute protection allowed Woon to protect his fragile heart in time. You do not have the right to force him without his consent. Not wanting to get involved with this kind of person anymore, Yoo-jiang decisively turned to leave. "I will report today's events to the instructors," causing Yan-jae to be more anxious than when she missed a deadline. Wait. Her eyes only managed to give the other person a little dissatisfaction before abandoning the game. "I am busy, so let us talk later." After that, Yoo-jiang's kind voice rang out in the deserted rest area. "I am sorry for hugging you like that earlier." Looking at the pale face in front of her, she slowly asked, "Are you okay? Do you feel nauseous?" Not receiving any response did not stop Yoo-jiang from asking questions. "Did she scare you by suddenly grabbing your hand like that?" She continued her monologue, unaware that her words were like something mothers say. "You must be cold. Let me get you a blanket." When she saw the other person showing signs of leaving, Woon suddenly blushed and replied, "No, I am fine." He even actively pulled Yoo-jung's hand towards him. "I do not feel scared or nauseous." Then he pressed it against his warm cheek without thinking about the ambiguous atmosphere that was clearly appearing when I am with you. Needless to say, the development that was not in the ABC scripts left Yoo-jiang speechless. A moment of reminiscence led her to a gentle smile like the beauty of a delicate flower. After that incident, Woon started to get used to my touch, and today he even stopped by my cafe. Looking at the red-haired person who was still staring at her across from her, Yoo-jung felt a little embarrassed, but I did not expect Seo Yan-hoo to show up too. Ignoring the uninvited guest, she walked out of the counter and said to the taciturn young man, "Come here, Woon. I will add some cotton candy to your hot chocolate." After the two left, Yan-hoo was so embarrassed that he wanted to evaporate from the earth. "Hey, what about me?" Sighing deeply, he took the initiative to order, "I also want a hot chocolate with cotton candy, whipped cream and chocolate syrup. And for the pastries, I want a kua bread with a lemon tart and kua jam." Casually sitting across from Woon, Yan-hoo arrogantly asked in a street gangster style, "What is he doing here? Do you know who he is?" His meddling finger started pointing indiscriminately. "How did you meet this kid?" He rarely leaves headquarters unless it is for work. Having just brought out the drinks, Yu Jiang disapprovingly reminded him, Yun-hoo. He did not know where he went wrong, so he arrogantly snapped back, What? Tell me what is going on. Tired of that attitude, she coldly uttered, I am a guide, causing Yan-hoo to jump up in shock. What? Yu Jiang rarely opened her heart to give information. I am a C-class trainee guide, but somehow I was assigned to an S-class esper, which only made him groan in pain. What the heck, damn it, I need more sugar. No sooner said than done, Yan-hoo opened his mouth and downed the sweet chocolate in one go. With sugar in his system, he calmed down and started asking softly, So how did you manage to reform that kid and turn him into a normal person, unexpectedly? Yu Jiang gave him a blunt answer that hurt even more than a slap. The way you talk, it seems like the person who needs to be reformed is you. Yun-hoo watched Ro-woon obediently drink his water, and the foul mouth could not help but speak. I have never heard that lump of meat speak until now. Hearing those words, she helplessly reminded him, Don't act like you are above everyone else. The conversation dragged on for a while before he suddenly switched to a new topic. You said you are a guide, right? Rookie season is coming up, right? If there are not any newcomers, do you want to join Hebe? With his guild's reputation, Yun-hoo arrogantly leaned back. State your conditions. I am a regular at your cafe, so at least I will listen. It was the first time someone had asked about this, so Yu Jiang seriously thought. My conditions. After thinking for a while, she made a rap about the conditions that few people would accept. I only want a 1-year contract, the shortest term possible, and I only want to work after the cafe closes, or on my days off. I also do not want to join the guild when the contract expires. Listening to every word, Yun-hoo confusedly asked, Wait, are you serious? Most people would negotiate about the salary, and what do you mean you do not want to join any guild? Without bothering to answer, Yu Jiang clicked her tongue and openly mocked him. I knew you were incompetent, you are not the head of Hebe or anything. Anyway, thanks for your goodwill. His face tried to restrain the dissatisfaction in his heart, but his voice was no different from cursing. No guild on this earth would agree to those conditions. Sitting and enduring the harsh sounds echoing in the cafe, only a madman or an idiot would agree. Somewhere, Do Kyung triggered a frenzy. Yan Woo-jin, that crazy fool. Looking at the mess in the luxurious room, he grabbed his head and screamed in dissatisfaction. What the hell is God doing, letting that crazy guy run wild? The personality in his head turned on the cursing mode without stopping. Posting that weird recruitment ad was one thing, but he keeps ruining one project after another. We have lost billions of won in just 2 months, and he even blew up the training center. It had been 2 months since Woo-jin's roommate disappeared, and the gray sky poured rain, as if expressing his cold heart. The reason Woo-jin was late that day was because of a criminal gang, so he deleted the numbers of the whole gang. Amidst the dark scene, the thunder could not cover the solitary figure of the man. Woo-jin's eyes were cold and devoid of human emotion as he glanced at the people behind him, his mouth whispering commands like sacred orders. Find her quickly. Do Kyung thought back to that scene and secretly shuddered all over. He had a bad feeling that the guild, or even the entire country, would be destroyed if things continued like this. He had to reluctantly go investigate because of that statement, but he brought back prolonged disappointment. The only thing he knew about that person was her name, Kim Yu-jiang, but when he got to the cafe, she had already quit. The man's eyes were covered with a layer of fluctuation. For no clear reason, Do Kyung could not call her because she had changed her phone number, but he heard a shock after she disappeared. The number you have dialed is temporarily unavailable. The report from the investigation team made Do Kyung jump and speak out in the middle of the road that Woo-jin destroyed her house dozens of times. Because of capital, the boy had to cry with a face as grumpy as an 80-year-old man. I can't even post a formal search notice because he said he would kill me if any information about her was leaked out. Whatever, forget it. When Do Kyung returned to report, Woo-jin murmured, She is my guide, making him stiffen up. You want a new guide? Seeing that the other person did not understand, he slowly repeated with a murderous aura radiating from his body. I said, The person I am looking for is my guide. That caused his mind to overload to the point that he had to hesitate to ask, Guide of yours? Occasionally being hit by such extreme shocks, Do Kyung did not hesitate to scream. But you are Yan Woo-jin, the worst incompatibility. You are saying you found a guide. And you hate guides the most. The curse kept echoing in his ears. If that is the case, I have to find her by any means, causing Woo-jin to suppress his anger and order, Shut up, now you understand why. Bring me the list of people registered at the center. Sometime later, Do Kyung wearily slammed the pile of investigation papers on the table. She awakened when she came of age, but she did not register, damn it. I did not think she would be an illegal guide. Remembering the hateful eyes, he could only cry secretly in his heart. What if she is involved in criminal activity? Do espers have enough power to find her and bring her here somehow? After being in a daze for a long time, there was a soft knock on the door from outside. Boss? The person brought in a new stack of papers and placed them on Do Kyung's desk. The list of trainees from the center is ready. Do you want to take a look? Too bored to even care? He spoke dismissively to ease his headache. No need. We are not recruiting trainees. But the next words of the other person, there is currently a trainee who is an S-class guide, caused Dukyong's curiosity to rise sharply. S-class, even so. Is it necessary for us to actively approach him? After all, even if they join another guild, we can always snatch them. The employee seemed to enjoy making his boss's heart race, so he slowly presented the important point in the final minutes. That is right. But her name is the same as the name you mumbled in your sleep. What was it? Kim Yoo-jeong. Finally having a clue, Dukyong slammed the table and ordered, "Call her," causing the other person to ask in confusion, "Excuse me." His horrified face with a hint of hope shouted, making the employees on the same floor jump. "Call her immediately." In the model office, the sound of whispering continued incessantly. Dae-yeon was working seriously while the lively voices of everyone kept ringing in her ears. "It has been a long time since we have had an S-class guide. Should we conduct a compatibility test next week?" Yoo-jeong was so shocked when she heard this news that she could not speak. "I am an S-class guide." Hesitating for a moment, she decided to go ask about the things that were stirring in her heart. Her worried eyes looked at the strangers who were observing the stats in front. "But let me ask, how many S-class guides are there currently?" Rarely encountering this situation, Dae-yeon and her other colleagues happily shared information. In Korea, there is only one other person who is an S-class guide. Her face was as excited as if she had found a chest full of gold, and that person is already 97 years old this year. Hearing those words, Yoo-jeong's throat became strangely dry, so, unlike the cheerful mood of the others, her shoulders drooped from the invisible and unspeakable burdens. "I am almost the only S-class guide in Korea." When she stepped out of the testing center, Yoo-jeong was suddenly stopped by someone who was about to leave with an umbrella. "You are guide Kim Yoo-jeong, right?" Soo-jin spoke enthusiastically. "We used to be in the same class. Do you remember? I heard you are an S-class guide. No wonder you are so good at guiding," causing her to only give a soft reply. "Thank you." The sound of the rain still could not suppress her talkative mouth. "If you do not mind, can I ask which guilds have contacted you?" Thinking for a short moment, Yoo-jeong slowly replied, "I have not checked yet because I do not plan to join any guild until I complete my training." Getting that confirmation, Soo-rin nodded in admiration. "I understand." Facing her, the haziness in her mind suddenly turned into discomfort. "These are the people who used to bully me. The news really does travel fast. I am better at guiding than other guides, because it is similar to how I used my powers when I was Emilia." Remembering the interaction between herself and Ara-woon, Yoo-jeong secretly sighed, "And the reason I was assigned to Lee Ara-woon is because I can communicate with him. Those things have nothing to do with my rank." Feeling that the pointless conversation had come to an end, she gently hinted, "I have to go now. I have things to do." Although she still wanted to ask more, Surin could only agree, "Okay." Her feet slowly walked forward like a programmed puppet. Yoo-jeong racked her brain about the future. "I do not want my life to be controlled by the guilds, so maybe I will join the permanent staff at Hate. The center." Her hand was busy calling someone, but her head did not stop her private discussion. "There is a risk of having to go to the gate occasionally, but I won't have to work 5 days a week like the support team, and the working hours are shorter." Hearing the ringtone stop, Yoo-jeong took the initiative to speak first. "Minji." She immediately replied, "What is it, Miss Kim?" The sweet voice quickly eased her mood to the point of laughing. "I called to tell you that you have a day off today. I do not feel well, so I do not think I can open the store." Her boss suddenly called to tell her she had a day off. Min-jin was a little startled. "What, are you sick?" Seeing someone standing dazedly in front of her store, Yoo-jeong stopped herself in mid-sentence. "No, it is just that I have been a little busy lately," letting the other line wrap a stream. "Oh, I am relieved to hear you are not sick. But, I hear the rain. Are you outside now?" Her mind was thinking about so many things, so when she was suddenly asked, she awkwardly replied, "Yes, anyway, rest up today, see you tomorrow." A tall figure like a telephone pole kept looking at the cafe, causing Yoo-jeong to wonder, who is that? A frequent customer, but no one ordered takeout today. As the owner, she slowly approached and spoke in a gentle voice full of industrial smell. "Do you want to enter Melly Café? If so, the store is closed today." The boy turned slowly when he heard someone talking to him. Yoo-jeong thought the person did not understand her, so she repeated herself. But she was stunned by the familiar face. "I am sorry, I said the store is closed." Finally seeing the person he missed, Woo-jin was so happy that his eyes turned red. Just as the uncertain sound of her questioning came out, Yoo-ju-yan-woo, was when he accidentally dropped the umbrella to the ground, making Yoo-jeong so worried that she rushed to shield him from the rain. "Hey, you will get wet!" The caring voice containing a lot of hesitation kept coming out. "What are you doing here? Let us go inside first. It is easy to catch a cold like this. Let me get you a warm towel." It had been a long time since he had received such simple attention. Woo-jin smiled and nodded. The whispered sounds, like a young man who had just fallen in love, were quickly covered by the wind and faded away. "Thank you." The cafe was affected by the weather and became cold, so Yoo-jeong had to use a heater to warm up the space. She brought out a cup of hot tea and pushed it towards him. "This is honey grapefruit tea." Yu Jiang's kind heart, filled with love, made her usually indifferent voice soften. It will feel a little warmer when you drink it. Not paying much attention to the coldness on his body, Wu Jin only focused on the girl in front of him. Is it really you? Hearing that strange question, she pretended to joke to ease the awkward atmosphere. If you are looking for Kim Yu Jiang, then yes, it is me. Wait, do not tell me you forgot my name, Mr. Ju. The puppy immediately became displeased and corrected. Please call me Yan Wu, making Yu Jiang awkwardly agree to move on. Okay, Yan Wu, here's a towel. Wu Jin looked at her meaningfully as he leaned forward. I can't wipe because I am holding this cup of tea. Straight woman, Yu Jiang did not see the signal and only probed gently, then let me wipe it for you. Being able to have his loved one wipe his hair, he sat still and enjoyed the heavenly blessings. Thanks to the closed position, Yu Jiang secretly assessed the person in front of her. He looks a little pale. Anxiety surged, and she could not help but ask, when was the last time you were guided, Yan Wu? Being asked suddenly, Wu Jin froze, as if a whole bottle of superglue had been smeared on him. His brain started overthinking, so the track of his reply was completely different from Yu Jiang's deduction. I still take guiding supplements regularly, so the possibility of me losing control is very low. You won't be in danger, so as soon as he finished speaking, she had to correct him immediately. What? That is not what I meant. I just think your complexion is not good. Wu Jin's veined hand secretly tightened the towel as he said a heartbreaking sentence. But you hate me. Hearing this for the first time, Yu Jiang was so shocked that she asked back. What? I hate you? He confirmed with a faint voice like a boy who had just been dumped. Yes. Her brain was empty, as if she wanted to react, but the system would not allow it. Wait, why does he think that? Reading that expression, Wu Jin pouted and gave the reason for the thought that had haunted him for so long. You left my apartment without saying a word. Thinking back to the memory before leaving, Yu Jiang asked in confusion, but I left a message. Did not you see it? Immediately causing a surprised emotion to appear on Wu Jin's face. A message. Looking at the sad boy in front of her, she secretly sighed. So he did not see it. Not letting the opportunity fall, she took advantage of this moment to verify without hesitation. Anyway, I do not hate you at all, Yan Wu, also constantly muttering in her head as if to remind herself. I do not hate him. Suddenly remembering the question that had not been answered, Yu Jiang had to ask again. So when was the last time you were guided? But what she received was an extremely awkward answer from Wu Jin. I still take guiding supplements regularly. Her eyes glanced at the hot tea and her heart sank without her knowing when. That means it has been a while since he has been properly guided. Her mouth also unexpectedly opened. Would you mind if I touched you a little, Yan Wu? Thinking what he had just heard was fake, Wu Jin froze and reacted half a second late. Then he automatically pressed his cheek against the warm palm of the person in front of him. Of course. He closed his eyes and calmly accepted whatever Yu Jiang wanted to do. The spiritual power flowing in the air was directed by her to fly around Wu Jin. Yu Jiang stared at the other person and secretly sighed. Now I understand more about espers. I can tell he is not like them. The rain outside was like an invisible wall preventing anyone out there from witnessing this moment. All the espers I have met during training have been guided smoothly in just a few minutes. But with him, I have a feeling this guiding has no end. Looking at the man who had fallen asleep tiredly since when, Yu Jiang suddenly asked herself, how great is Yan Wu's ability to accept guiding? Her heart soon became soft and quickly built a psychology of empathy with the other person. A great ability to accept does not necessarily mean he is a high-level esper. The pure energy kept entering Wu Jin's body along with Yu Jiang's calculations, but it is definitely not low-level either. Her brain automatically imagined a broken jade heart. Guiding can heal an esper's broken blood vessels, while also purifying and stabilizing their frequency of vibration. Wu Jin tightened Yu Jiang's hand to his cheek, unaware that the other person was worried about him. In other words, an esper will collapse if they do not get enough guiding. She carefully observed every expression on his face to prepare for something to happen. I wonder how long he has been holding on without enough guiding. Thoughts poured out continuously, causing Yu Jiang to ignore someone's comfortable groan. It is as if he is used to it because he has lived like that for so long. After holding the position for a while, she felt a warm breath blowing into her palm. It made Yu Jiang ticklish to the point of startling, but she did not dare to pull her hand back. Her heart beat faster when she heard Wu Jin ask coquettishly, "Can I kiss your hand?" Not understanding the ambiguity in that statement, Yu Jiang stared at the large man with the soul of a maiden. You want to be guided by hand. Then she frankly agreed under the melodious music from the earth and sky. Okay. Wu Jin was allowed and carefully kissed the fingers of the person he secretly loved. Not seeing any resistance from the other person, he immediately put Yu Jiang's palm on his face and took a deep breath. Embarrassed by the feelings spreading throughout her body, her face suddenly flushed red. It is too itchy. Wu Jin looked at Yu Jiang with infatuated eyes, as if signing an irreversible love contract. For the first time, her brain quickly understood the intention of that look. making Yu quickly pull her hand back and hide it behind her. Then that is probably enough. Pouting level max, his face was like he had just been unfollowed in the market. Wanting to escape this ambiguous atmosphere, she quickly changed the subject. By the way, was my guiding enough for you before? That question easily made his heart, which was hanging in the wind, light as if flying in the sky. Of course it is enough, I am always satisfied. Yu clearly did not believe it, but only dared to say it in her head. Really, the guiding definitely was not enough, and then hesitated to explain. No, what I mean is. Suddenly an idea flashed through her head, causing her words to spin sharply. Yanwu, can you show me your card to the center for a bit? Wu Jin gave a confused face. My card to the center. Afraid that the other person would misunderstand her intention, Yu quickly updated more information. I just became a trainee recently, so I want to see how yours is different from mine. Understanding what she was thinking, Wu Jin obediently handed out the card. Here. Holding it in her hand, she inadvertently spoke her mind. This looks different from the trainee card, making him look blankly. Is that so? Remembering the card she had seen before, Yu described it with a bit of regret. You probably forgot because it was a long time ago, but this card does not have any color. And it feels a bit rough, also not forgetting to blame herself in her head. Oh well, looks like I was wrong. Her eyes stared intently at the card while her soul had flown elsewhere. Most of the time I have only interacted with low-level espers, because the abilities are different. The tolerance must be different too. Breaking free from the web of thoughts, Yu hurriedly returned it to the handsome boy. Thank you for letting me see it, by the way. What are you doing in front of my cafe? Wu Jin reached out to receive it and continued softly as if the wind was blowing in her ear. I came to buy some of your kuwa bread. Hearing that, she enthusiastically invited, Really? But the store is closed today, so there is no bread. But next time you come, I will add some free cookies for you. Happy about this news, Wu Jin still tried to suppress it to confirm one more time, I can come again. That dazed appearance made her laugh. Didn't you say you came to buy bread? Given an inch, she quickly implicitly asked for another chance to meet. Then can I come often? Yu squinted and smiled like a flower because of that sweet expression. Of course, I would be very happy if you did. One sentence alone made the face of this cherubic infant brighten up. Sometime later, Wu Jin entered the store and calmly ordered, without paying much attention to the surrounding eyes, a honey grapefruit tea and a kuwa bread, please. Yu smiled and pressed the machine, coming right up, secretly sighing in exasperation. I did say he could come often, but I did not expect him to come every day of the week. Thinking back to the paths she had experienced before, she felt more and more confused. It takes at least an hour to get here from his house, even if he drives. So I do not think he only comes here for the desserts. The brain of the single woman quickly came to a completely dry conclusion. I think I know what this is. He is attracted to me. Probably because he has a high compatibility with me. Minji, who was helping out at the store, could not help but whisper. Miss Kim, who is that super handsome customer, he even greeted you earlier. Looking at the handsome man, quietly reading a book on one side. Her nosy blood rose no differently than the paparazzi, you won't believe it. But girls came to ask for his number, in just the past hour. Unlike her thoughts, what Minji received was a soft growl from Mother Yu. What I can't believe is that you keep looking at him instead of working, Minji. Making her scared and flustered. No, that is not it. The small kitchen flickered with the sounds of the two sisters talking. Didn't you ever say you liked handsome guys? That is right. And that customer looks handsome and interesting. Minji excitedly rapped nonstop because of the handsome guy. Vitamin, how do you know that when you have not even talked to him? His face looks interesting. Her voice was more certain than the lectures of scientists who had just proven a new law, making Yu only smile to move on. I heard that when you see something pleasant, your body will release positive hormones, which helps improve health and prolong life, and it is also considered eye candy. But immediately after that, the beautiful young girl changed the topic. Smoother than a drift car. In the movies. Speaking of pretty things, look at this. This is a new flower that people found in the gate in the tea area. Seeing the blue rose as green as the sea, the two continued to discuss nonstop. Wow, they found it inside the gate. It looks similar to some roses that people have only found a few of so far. Minji's voice kept fluttering around Yu ear. I heard the new ones cost at least a few million won, making her feel extremely admiring. Wow, I want one too. She saw that sparkling look and laughed because she found someone with the same aspirations. Right, it is really pretty. Before she could be happy for too long, Yu splashed a bucket of water on the face of the only employee in the store. But Minji, if you keep doing this, you might get a pay cut at the end of the month. The child of capital quickly sped up talking to customers, making them laugh awkwardly. Did you order an iced Americano and a kuwa latte? The cafe quickly returned to its peaceful scene with a fragrant aroma everywhere. During a lull in customers, Minji started gossiping, thinking about it. What kind of person does Miss Kim like? Surprised by this question that she rarely heard, Yu looked blankly and asked back, why are you asking that suddenly? But she understood that attitude as hiding something. So she joked, come on, it is not busy right now. She started thinking for a while before seriously stating, Probably someone polite, at least they have to know basic etiquette. Her brain suddenly remembered when she was Amelia, alone in a strange world. That is for sure, especially since my first impression of Raymond was terrible, even if it was an arranged marriage. I still could not believe he was late for our first meeting. A pointless stroll led Yu Jong to discover two noble people, secretly flirting in the garden. Accidentally meeting Raymond's eyes, she not only did not feel pain, but only a little contempt. I knew the prince was a philanderer. Yu Jiang was speechless and did not know what to say about this terrible fate, but unexpectedly caught him kissing another girl on the first day like that. Min Jin's teasing voice easily pulled her back to reality. So you like people who treat you with respect? Yu Jiang nodded in agreement and kindly gave more information. That is right, but not just me. I like people who are polite to everyone they meet. Seeing that the rational person suddenly had the mood to talk about love, Min Jin excitedly wanted to dig up more things. What else? What about appearance? She turned to leave after leaving a casual sentence. I like people who are cheerful, like someone. Now let us get back to work. Suddenly having to cut it off in the middle made her look annoyed. What? That is not fair at all. Sometime later, the windows welcomed the bright rays of the morning sun. The stack of papers lay quietly on the table as it shone on it, making the atmosphere heavy in the beautiful weather. Yu Jiang sat reading the first page and already sighed wearily. Her eyes stared closely at every word printed on the paper, making her thoughts messy. With many things, I knew a lot of guilds would contact me, but Messiah? The proposal was written clearly and simply, causing joy and doubt to open up in Yu Jiang's heart at the same time. And they also offered to increase the salary exponentially depending on the length of work. Why would they pay a trainee so much? Her emotionless face slowly spat out the words, "Are S-class guides that special?" Immediately there was a reply from behind, "That is right." Not knowing when he had stood next to her, Ara Woon again uttered a sentence as definite as a joint stamp. Yu Jiang is special. Embarrassed and flustered, she hurriedly corrected each word to be accurate. No, what I mean is S-class guides in general. Rarely praising others, his face naturally flushed red. Yu Jiang is also an S-class guide, right? Afraid that the other person would not hear clearly, Ara Woon also leaned down and solemnly confirmed as if he was swearing an oath, Yu Jiang is special. Feeling that sincerity, Yu Jiang happily smiled. Thank you. Her brain started to remember the work interactions between her and Ara Woon. Recently, Ara Woon has started to accept guiding from me. The young man silently shed tears, making the person startled. He slowly intertwined his hands with Yu Jiang's and opened his mouth to whisper, "It does not hurt." Despite his face being red from the tears, Ara Woon still tried to say, "It does not hurt at all. It is very comfortable." She also carefully read the return specification papers. We did a compatibility test, and it reached 82%. Watching him happily play with the stray kittens outside the work, Yu Jiang silently sighed in satisfaction. Usually, the average compatibility between guides and espers is 50%. But the rate reached 80%, so this is really a very high result. Her eyes were full of love when she looked at him. I think it is still just luck. A negative thought flashed across, causing Yu Jiang's joy to sink. Right now, I am the only guide he can connect to, so if the level of compatibility is low, I won't be able to guide in an emergency. The steady breath suddenly became a little chaotic, but it was not the only surprise. The brain projecting the recent test results made Yu Jiang's back bend over. Since when? During the trainee recruitment period, you can do 3 tests. Compatibility with members from the guilds that have contacted them, after testing the compatibility with members of 10 different guilds. Her eyebrows were so upset that they almost touched. I found out that my compatibility rate with them all is higher than average. The excited announcement of the representative made Yu Jiang's heart heavy as if a sword had been stabbed into it. You are a very special guide, Miss Yu Jiang. In fact, you are the strongest guide in the country. The complexity in her soul made the woman hesitant in silence. I am not sure why that specialness keeps following me. Yu Jiang suddenly smiled as if she was reliving the moment when she was Amelia. Having superpowers at first was great. But just a moment later, that emotion turned into fresh horror. But gradually, the work and responsibility weighed more and more on me, to the point of having to take responsibility for the lives of others because of having special powers. They thought I had the power to save people's lives, and those I refused would die. As if I was the murderer even though I did not kill them. The soul of the young girl was scratched by a unique journey. I have beautiful memories of that world, but the burden is too great for me to forget it in a year. So when I woke up and returned to being Kim Yu Jiang, I had hoped I would not be a guide or an esper anymore, but I still can't leave Ara Woon. While she was busy brushing his hair, Yu Jiang's mind also flew to a private place. He is only 20 years old, right? And he has spent his whole life only living at the center. Can he live a normal life? Seeing Ara Woon giving her a cookie, she shyly averted her eyes. It is okay. You eat it. Wanting to get closer to the boy, Yu Jiang blurted out a probe. Ara Woon, you are very strong, right? Her hand quickly braided Ara Woon's hair, her voice faintly sad. Because of that, people will probably make you do dangerous things. But you do not have to do it if it is too much for you. Sometimes you can ignore everything for yourself. Hearing those words, he did not know how to react, other than blushing. In the evening, a girl's admiring voice echoed outside the cafe. You do not know how shocked I was, making Yu Jiang smile and bow her head. I am sorry for not telling you sooner. Yena enjoyed the delicious cake and could also talk like an adult. Some people like to brag about their abilities, but some people do not, so I respect your privacy. Hearing those words, she laughed and lightly reminded, You are more mature than many adults, Yena. The gentle look made the girl sigh tiredly. The only thing that makes me uncomfortable is that Mr. Rila, Yunhu, found out first. There is something about you that makes me feel familiar and approachable from the start. Maybe it is because you are also a guide, like that person. Her brain naturally jumped slow. Yu Zhang looked blankly and asked, That person. Waiting for her to finish the sentence, Yena quickly explained, There is a girl I knew when I was little, and you remind me of her. Yu Jiang's eyes looked far away at the half-eaten piece of cake. Are she and I alike? The girl immediately replied as if she had thought about this issue before. No, the personalities and appearances of the two of you are completely different. You are like a cat, and she is like a puppy. Speechless at this description, she decisively ignored it and continued, Are you two still close? Yena's face suddenly sank. No, she has been gone for a long time. Suddenly making the atmosphere heavy, Yu Jiang felt so guilty that she hurriedly stood up. Let me get you some more cookies. Wait a bit. Seeing that hurried back, Yena suddenly remembered something to ask. Almost forgot, my chairman said to ask if you want to join the guild. Also just happening to have a new topic, she conveniently asked, You are a member of the Eon Guild, right? Who is the chairman of the guild? Thinking Yu Jiang was interested in her boss, the girl became an MC and enthusiastically introduced. Esper Quan Si Hyun. She is an S-class Esper. Fun fact, she is dating her special guide. The person she can't live without. Aside from those moments that are a little awkward, she is a great person. And she said she will do everything to be able to recruit a current S-class guide. Like you, do you have any requests or conditions? Yena's eyes sparkled again and were as round as a puppy. I will treat you well, so please come work with me. But before she could hear any reply, she was dropped from her high emotion because of the voice outside. Hey shorty, a newbie like you can't meet what she wants. Yunhu crossed his arms and said it like a joke. Her conditions are very strange. Unfortunately, that grand appearance was completely burned by Yena's dagger-like sentence. What are you talking about? You are the strange one, mister. Yunhu. Seeing the two of them arguing non-stop, Yu Jiang stepped in to stop them by changing the topic. By the way, you two must be busy these days. I have not seen you in a long time. Sighing after his energy was affected, he sighed in frustration. We are busy to death. More and more gates are opening, and people keep disappearing. You have seen it on the news too. Smelling the sweet scent in the store, Yunhu looked happy. Anyway, do you have any jam left? Give it all to me. Yena also did not stay silent and ordered more. And the kua syrup too. Give me some. Confirming the order, Yu Zhang turned to get the items. All right, sit down. I will be right back. Sitting down on the chair, Yena started to brightly discuss with Yunhu. Did you see the blue roses that were discovered in the gate in the tea area? They are being auctioned off. And they look really beautiful. The new topic easily pulled both of them into a conversation that did not see an end. I do not understand why those useless flowers are so popular, simply because they are beautiful. But you do not know how to appreciate beauty, so you probably do not understand. As soon as Yu Zhang's figure came into view, the girl dragged her in. Let me make one for you. Even though I can't give it to you right away, I can practice and make it for you later. Although she had been busy with work, her quick thinking helped Yu Jiang reply immediately. Make one. That is right. You said you can control plants, right? Remembering those strange, beautiful flowers, her pale face suddenly became surprisingly bright. Those flowers are really pretty anyway. Having money is still better than flowers that you can't eat. Sometime later, while she was working, a bunch of deep blue flowers suddenly appeared in front of Yu Zhang. Confused by this gift, she hesitated to ask, Yan Wu, this. His focused eyes made Wu Jin shyly pull his hand back. I heard you said you liked this type of flower. Not seeing the person she secretly loved happy, he tilted his head in confusion. Don't you like them? The sad face of that young man naturally caused a pang of conscience in Yu Jiang's heart. It is not that. A wry smile flashed because Yu Jiang's brain had not had time to load. They are very beautiful. I like them a lot. Getting that praise, Wu Jin's face changed immediately. I heard you like blue roses, so... Before he could finish the sentence, she interrupted, I understand. Her nasal cavity was attacked by pollen, causing Yu Jiang to fall into a cycle of thoughts. These roses smell really good. Is this their scent? Looking carefully at the bouquet in her hand, she began to pause. Wait, could these flowers be... As if wanting to answer the question in her heart, Yu Jiang spoke softly into Wu Jin's ear. Yan Wu, I am just asking to be sure, but you did not buy these flowers from a gate, did you? Enjoying the warmth next to his ear, he blushed and obediently replied, No, I just happened to see them, there is nothing special. Her heart, which had been hanging in the air, was safely released, helping Yu Jiang to feel happy. That is right. I thought so, but I still wanted to be sure. The bouquet in her hand slowly warmed the soul of the girl who lacked love. I thought flowers were just useless gifts, but I actually feel happy when I receive them. The morning sunlight shone into the room, in a place where two women were meeting to discuss something. From inside, the voice of a woman rang out, "Guide Kim Yoo-jeong." Soo-jin, sitting across from Yoo-jeong, tried to persuade, "If you do not want to join a guild, then would you like to work at the center?" She said, pulling the contract forward, "This is our initial offer, but the salary is negotiable if you are not satisfied." Soo-jin did not give up and gave more attractive priorities. "You will also be tax exempt if the salary is within a certain limit, and you will have access to government-protected resources and technologies." Before anyone else, Yoo-jeong thought, the salary is really low, but the tax exemption sounds pretty attractive. Yoo-jeong glanced at the paper on the table and only dared to think in her heart, "But this contract clearly states that I have to continue working for the center after the end of the required working time, which is no different from the conditions offered by the guilds." Thinking too much makes her head hurt. Yoo-jeong immediately stood up and pretended to be happy. "I am sorry, but I want to think more, until the end of the training period." "Wait." Guide Kim Yoo-jeong. Yoo-jeong forced a smile and said one thing. "Thank you for your generous offer. I will definitely consider it," but in her heart she thought another way. "I will only make a decision on the last day." Then she quietly hugged the bouquet and left that place. Yoo-jeong went to the door and met Jin Seo, who was peeking outside. He saw Yoo-jeong and was immediately happy. "Hello." She looked at him awkwardly. "Hello," but inside she could not help but wonder, "I thought he would lose interest in me after that day, but it seems not." Jin Seo innocently gossiped. "I heard you have been invited by many guilds. Congratulations. Have you decided which guild to join?" Yoo-jeong replied casually. "Not yet. Not yet. What about you, Guy Chai Jin Seo?" Jin Seo scratched his head shyly. "I am participating in the Error Guild. I like the conditions that the guild offered the most, so..." Yoo-jeong interrupted him. "I see." Her head suddenly remembered, Error is not that the guild that livestreamed Inside the Gate on MyTube earlier this year. Yoo-jeong said in his social voice, "I hope everything goes smoothly with you." Suddenly, Jin Seo looked down at the hay in her arms. "It seems like you just bought flowers, right?" Speaking of flowers, Yoo-jeong was much brighter. "That is right, I was given some flowers, so I thought it would be nice to put them together." Jin Seo asked Yoo-jeong tentatively, "What kind of flowers do you like?" She quickly replied, "Maybe hydrangeas," according to Sejong. "Those are the flowers that Amelia liked the most." Yoo-jeong thought, "Actually, I am not very interested in flowers. Maybe I should say roses. Those are the most beautiful flowers I have ever seen." While Yoo-jeong was happily thinking, Jin Seo was stunned for a moment. Seeing that, she waved her hand in front of him and called, "Cha Jin Seo." Jin Seo was a little flustered, but gradually regained his spirit and happily explained, "The type of flower you are holding is eustoma. They usually bloom in the summer, but recently they have been blooming earlier because the gates have changed the climate in some areas." Yoo-jeong replied curtly, "I see," but inside she contained a lot of curiosity. "I really can't understand this person. It would be easier to deal with if they showed clear hostility, but that is not the case." Inside the cafe, soft music played gently. Along with that was a table of food, with steak and spaghetti. It was really full of love and flavor. On the table, Yoo-jeong's phone vibrated with a message. "Are you well, Yoo-jeong?" She curiously looked at the strange number on the machine. "What is it?" Sejong was curious. "Who is it?" Yoo-jeong started to get a little impatient. Another message. Following that was a series of messages that came like a storm. "It is me, Si-hyuk. I have thought a lot, and I am really sorry if I have hurt you. I know I promised I would not betray you. The thing is, what you saw was just a misunderstanding. I am sorry for making you cry, but please believe me, I can explain everything. I am telling the truth. Can we get back together? This time I will treat you better." Yoo-jeong's expression became angry. "Who is this, Si-hyuk?" Opposite her, Sejong jumped up like a spring. "What, that jerk, Si-hyuk?" Until now, she rummaged through her memory for a vague memory of Si-hyuk. "That is right, he is the bad ex-boyfriend who stole all my money and ran away." Sejong was as hot as fire, shooting a warning look at Yoo-jeong. "Don't tell me you are thinking about getting back with that guy." She did not answer anything, only looked at the phone. "No, I do not even know what that guy looks like." Not getting a satisfactory answer, Sejong got up again harshly. "He cheated on you 5 times, and also took advantage of your weaknesses to profit. How can you think about getting back with that guy?" Sejong's voice boomed, as if she was giving a lecture in a large lecture hall. "I bet he texted you, because he heard the rumor that you are an S-class guide. He can live like a normal person, because of his low rank, but he is still an esper." Finally, Yoo-jeong coldly spoke. "Is this the guy who borrowed 5 million won from me, and has not paid it back?" She raised the phone and looked at it. "I think I can sue him for not paying back the money. To solve this mess," she continued, "I can file a lawsuit if the amount of money borrowed is not large, and he has not paid me back for a long time. What kind of money did I lend him?" "Do not tell me I gave cash." Sejong agreed. "I think you really gave cash." While Yoo-jeong was suspicious. "When did he promise to pay me back?" Se-young was a little helpless. I am not sure. You did not even write an IOU because you said you trusted him. Yu Ji-young squeezed the phone and blamed herself. That is terrible. Why was past me so stupid? She helplessly slammed the phone hard on the table. I did a quick search to see if I could sue him for fraud, but I need evidence for that. But the phone that may have evidence of the conversation, I threw away because it was broken. Se-young heard it like a bolt from the blue. Sue him. You are going to sue him, Si-yake. Yu Jiang, what is wrong with you? Yu Jiang rested her chin on her hand and pondered. That is right, because he contacted me first, so I thought it would be convenient to ask for the money back, but it seems like it won't be easy. The two people's appointment ended just like that. Yu Jiang returned to her work. With one hand she made coffee. On one side she was thinking, how did that guy Ham Seok get my new number? If he dares to show his face, I will give him a beating for daring to steal 5 million won. From me? Suddenly the bell rang in the cafe. A customer wearing elegant leather shoes came in, and she announced inside to another customer who was waiting before, here's your iced Americano. Woo-jin walked step by step closer to where Yu Jiang was standing at the counter. He brightly hugged a basket full of colorful bottles of medicine. She surprisingly recognized him, Yeon-woo. Woo-jin was shy, and then put the basket of medicine on the table. I thought you would probably like them too. Yu Jiang looked at him coldly. Please return them? That look made Woo-jin confused. What? But those are just some drinks. Yu Jiang was a little annoyed. I should not have received those blue roses in the first place. I only occasionally guide Yeon-woo because I think he is a good friend, but he keeps bringing rare fruits and expensive ingredients to thank me. And she also understood that he was having trouble finding a guide because of his low rank, but this had to stop. She said, pushing the basket of medicine towards him in refusal. These are not ordinary drinks, they are elixirs. I know those are the most expensive medicines on the market. But Woo-jin did not want to take it back, and tried to persuade Yu Jiang, no, they are not that expensive. They are just some basic medicines. You do not need to feel bad when you receive them. I promise. Those words made Yu Jiang moved. She glanced at the medicine. If it is just basic medicine, it would not be that expensive. The effect is probably only equal to my desserts. Helplessly, she hugged the basket and received it. All right, then I will receive it. Cheer up. You are drinking honey grapefruit tea again today. It is free. Please sit down and make yourself comfortable. Achieving his goal, Woo-jin was happy like a puppy. Then, his two hands intertwined with a bit of nervousness. Before that, I have a question. Woo-jin's face began to turn red. He shyly, what is your favorite food? Yu Jiang hugged the basket of medicine and looked at him warily. I have a feeling if I answer, he will bring food for me. She remembered the moment when she received the food he made. Her goosebumps were all over her. Thinking about it, his cooking skills are really bad. And then, Yu Jiang's face turned green. She said to herself, then this will make him not bring other gifts for me. Yu Jiang glanced at her favorite blue roses and happily replied, I like homemade sweets. Sweets always make me feel better. Her face became radiant. That is why I like them. Woo-jin, across from her, smiled. His heart stopped for a beat. His face became even more red. Yu Jiang saw that the situation was not good and shouted, I am talking about sweets, you know. It seemed that her voice had no effect at all, and Woo-jin's ears also started to turn red. All right, sweets. His eyes were deep, as if he was calculating something in his heart. After chatting, Woo-jin immediately hurried back, throwing open the office door. He said to Do-kyung and Jae-young, I want to learn how to bake. Jae-young's eyes and forced smile clearly expressed surprise. What? And Do-kyung was no different from him. He hesitated. Say that again. Am I dreaming? And then Jae-young pinched Do-kyung's cheek. I do not think so. Suddenly, Jae-young changed the subject. By the way, are there any jobs related to personal matters? Chairman, the last job I took had a high salary. Do-kyung was worried. Hey, you say that like we are a criminal organization. Jae-young looked at him slyly. Before that, I have done a lot of similar things, so I can confidently say that if I am recruited into a criminal organization, I will adapt quickly. I have even prepared this resume. Woo-jin sat down, crossed his arms, and said solemnly, there will be a job like that soon. While Jae-young was excited. Great. Do-kyung was the opposite. He frowned. Damn it. Why are you in such a hurry this time? Suddenly, Jae-young remembered the flower incident and quipped at Woo-jin. Almost forgot. Did you really spend 5 million won just to buy those fragile flowers? Do-kyung was stunned. Are you kidding? He immediately put on the voice of an adult, as if he had experienced it. You can't always give her gifts like that. People will feel embarrassed, you know. Woo-jin glared unhappily. Seeing that Do-kyung did not want to say more. Okay, forget it. Forget it. You do not understand. But, thinking about it again, Do-kyung still had some expectations. I am glad that Kim Yu-young is compatible with Ju Yeon-woo. I have to pair these two up at all costs for the future of the guild. He made a sincere suggestion to Woo-jin. Anyway, next time you visit the store, bring someone else with you. Someone who has never shown their face. Woo-jin's eyes became cold. Around him, an aura of anger surrounded him. I wanted to bury those espers who came to the store alive. On the other hand, Do-kyung tried to persuade. Just think about it. It is not just you coming to the store, but you also keep looking at her. Do not you think she will feel uncomfortable? If your purpose is to make people hate you, then go ahead. Woojin glared angrily, but could not refute a single word. Finally, Do-kyung did not like Woojin's eyes. He stepped closer to him. Don't look at me like that. I am the one who keeps your real identity from being spread, remember? At that time, Do-kyung remembered, and how much that guide hated you. On this side, Jae-young was extremely excited. Really, the chairman is on the blacklist. But Do-kyung was helpless. It turns out that he destroyed Kim Yoo-jong's house twice. Bringing it up again made Woojin gloomy. Do-kyung criticized, just hearing your name makes her sick of you, and Jae-young added fuel to the fire, so the chairman is the one at fault. No wonder she hates you. Not stopping there, Jae-young was a little sarcastic. I do not know if the government's compensation is enough for her loss, but more accurately, she should be compensated for her feelings too. While Woojin gave his opinion, what if I buy a house she likes? Then Do-kyung poured cold water on him. She will think you are crazy, suddenly buying a house for someone. And you are not even close, Jae-young sneered. If I were you, I would propose to her. Woojin stood up wearily. Forget it. I am busy. I will think about it later. Immediately, he turned to leave, Do-kyung said, following. Wait, I still have to discuss the guild's matter with you. Woojin threw a cold look at Do-kyung. I said I am busy, I have to learn how to bake. Then, he slammed the door shut, leaving the two still stunned in the room. Do-kyung was helpless. This guy is really crazy. Back on Yoo-jong's side, she was with Aro-woon transmitting energy to him. After quite a long time she stopped. Aro-woon opened his eyes, and felt something unusual. He suspiciously looked at her. Something is strange. Yoo-jong reluctantly explained, I am sorry, I am busy with other things today, so I wanted to take the opportunity to guide you a lot at once. After that, she asked with some guilt, Are you uncomfortable? If so, I won't do this again. He indicated that he was okay. No, I am fine. But in his heart there was something difficult to say that he wanted to express to her. Actually. And so Aro-woon could not utter the words. He turned his face away to hide his embarrassment. Yoo-jong, as if not noticing anything, spoke innocently. Maybe I am worried because the training is about to end. Sorry. Aro-woon squeezed his hand with a troubled expression and asked, I won't be able to see you anymore after the training ends. She stroked his head like a child and comforted. I will participate in the center support group, so we will probably have time to meet, and if you do not mind, you can come see me anytime. Yoo-jong comforted Aro-woon. You know my workplace, and you even know my phone number. He eagerly nodded. Yes. She looked at him and smiled. Aro-woon is an S-class Esper. Then she thought, I have been guiding him since he started to be willing to accept contact, but I only give him one way, guidance. It is impossible to completely fill the guide for him in every way. Yoo-jong was lost in her thoughts. Thanks to that I can give him half today. I wonder that. But then Woojin's figure suddenly appeared in her head. Why is that person different? Just like that, a long day ended. The sky became quiet in the evening. The lights of the store were on, illuminating a corner of the street. The cafe was closed. The close sign was hung in front of the door. Inside, Yoo-young politely invited Yoon-hoo a glass of water. She also wondered, how can an Esper hide their rank? He drank, and was curious. Hide what rank? Suddenly, Yoon-hoo's eyes lit up, as if he had found gold. What is this? It is so delicious. Looking at his expression, she was also a little happy. It is chocolate cream latte, and it has coffee in it. It is a new item I am trying. Do you like it? He was delighted. It is very delicious. You definitely have to sell this item. The ideas in her head kept pouring out. But I plan to use the leftover cookies to sprinkle on top, so that the drink will be different every time. Suddenly, remembering what she was talking about earlier. More importantly, answer my question. Yoon-hoo was indifferent. What is more important to a cafe owner than adding a new item to the menu? He put a piece of cake in his mouth and judged. Maybe it is because that Esper does not want to tell you about their rank. You also do not like telling people about you being a guide or revealing your rank, right? She also agreed. Reasonable. But a little doubt arose in Yoon-hoo's heart. Even so, it is quite strange. Normally Espers will lie that their rank is higher than what they are, but not like that. He analyzed. But I know a few Espers like that. There are a small number of Espers and guides who work for the government. Hiding their rank is because of the nature of the job. Even though most of them are hunting dogs who want to make their master interested in them. Following that direction, Yoo-jong thought, then maybe that person works for the National Intelligence Service. Yoon-hoo heard that, and his two hands clenched, making a cracking sound. His face changed like a vicious dog. What, is there a madman threatening you? Want me to kick that guy's ass? She helplessly tried to stop him. No, he is a good person, and gentle and kind too. I just have a feeling that his rank is much higher than what he says. He was curious, but how do you know? It is not like that guy would tell you. Yoo-jong explained. I can guess when I am guiding him. He was surprised. Really? Guides can feel something like that. I did not know that. Even so, she still had something unresolved. Also, is it possible for a B-class Esper to have larger blood vessels than an A-class Esper? Yoon-hoo replied without a second thought. Dangerous espers usually have greater strength to defend and support espers, because they often have to use more. Yoon-hoo remembered his pain and explained, "For example, my blood vessels are about the same size as an S-class esper, but that is not entirely a good thing, because the consequence is that I endure more side effects, and when my blood vessels are damaged, it hurts like hell." Ending, he started to probe her with a mocking smile. "But what is that person's name? You do not usually remember the names of the people you know, or are you close friends?" Yoo Jeong did not hide anything and told Yoon-hoo, "Honestly, his name is Ju Yeon Woo, and he is a regular at the store. I do not know what his ability is, but I think he is a dangerous esper." Yeon-hoo's head jumped, understanding immediately she was stunned. "What, do you know him?" His face became tense, his eyes cold. "No, but for some reason I do not like his name." Another morning began at the cafe. Many customers came to enjoy breakfast with gentle music as if to start a new day full of energy. But inside the cafe there was a small trouble. The side dish cake today was all gone. Minji, standing in the counter with Yoo Jeong, secretly looked over to the big shot customer. "Did you see what just happened?" She said in a gossipy voice. "That customer called all the items on the menu." But on the contrary, Minji's eyes looked at Jae Jeong and could not hide her love for him. His friend is also cute. In Yoo Jeong's heart there was a little guilt. I thought he would stop bringing gifts after I said I liked homemade cakes. But then, he started calling for more drinks. And buying every dessert on the menu too. She looked at the two of them. I wondered how he would eat it all. Then she looked at Woojin's friend eating deliciously, and judged, it turns out that he has a friend to help. Woojin sensitively felt her gaze. He turned back. His eyes looked at her intently. And he smiled, a smile sweeter than any cake in the world. His lips parted, making everyone envious. Not just anyone, Yoo Jeong immediately associated it with the scene of her and him touching lips that day. She frowned, lost in her imagination. Yoo Jeong immediately banged her head on the computer screen, embarrassed and helpless with herself. Why am I suddenly thinking about that? It is only level 3, transferring through the mouth. Then Yoo Jeong raised her head. Her face was no different from a tomato. The heat made her head want to smoke. She was self-obsessed. Yeon Woo must like me. Her hands clenched the screen tightly, tense. It is not that I did not think about it. Yoo Jeong also thought about the scene of the two of them becoming a couple. After all, espers need guiding, and the relationship between espers and guides often develops into a couple. She thought, but what if I am overthinking it? What if he is only good to me because we have a high compatibility? Or am I the only one worried about this? Then Yoo Jeong suddenly paused for a few seconds. Wait, me too. She thought about the feeling when facing Woojin. Do I feel something for Yeon Woo? His blurred face appeared in Yoo Jeong's imagination. It was excellent with no flaws to be found, she praised. He has a nice voice and a beautiful face. I like how kind he is. But I am not sure if I like him as a friend or if I have feelings for him. I have never dated anyone before, so how would I know? Ending that series of vague thoughts, she returned to her daily work. Yoo Jeong asked Minji, while drying the dishes. Minji, can I ask you a question? She was cheerful, of course. Yoo Jeong pretended to make a hypothesis. For example, there is someone who likes you and you also like that person, but you are not sure if you like that person as a friend or more than that. She looked up at Minji and asked tentatively, in that situation, what would you do? Would you date that person? She glanced at Yoo Jeong teasingly. What is wrong? Does someone like you, Miss Kim? Yoo Jeong hesitated to deny, no, but her face darkened a little flustered. I just realized he has not dated or done anything. I am just guessing his feelings. Maybe I do not need to worry about this, right? Then she said a few words casually, nothing, forget what but Minji interrupted. Wait, someone confessed to you. She was as excited as if she had just won the lottery. Oh my god, congratulations, introduce that person to me someday. Do not forget to invite me to the wedding. No, it is not like that. Conversely, on the side of the table, when Woojin heard the whole story, his hand was veined, he slammed hard on the table. Woojin suddenly stood up without saying a word. The atmosphere around him also followed his mood, and sank. His eyes moved coldly towards Yoo Jeong. The people around him whispered, what is wrong? Jae Young did not care. What he cared about were still the delicious-looking desserts on the table. The gossip still did not stop. Are those two arguing? Woojin walked quickly to the counter where Yoo Jeong was standing. He propped his hand on the table, looking at her and questioning, are you getting married? Faced with that unexpected question, Yoo Jeong could only stammer, and could not say a word. Woojin looked regretful. Do you love that person? Yoo Jeong looked at him like a dazed deer. What is he saying? And then, as if she had understood the problem, she waved her hand and laughed awkwardly to explain, no, I am not getting married. I have not even dated anyone before. Woojin was as if he had been released, really. On this side, Jae Young listened carefully while knocking at a table of sweets. Yoo Jeong affirmed, really, I do not know if you can hear what I am saying from your table. She covered her mouth and politely said to Woojin, "Anyway, Yanwoo, can you keep your voice down a little? People are looking." He listened to her, and his voice softened like a child. "Okay, you are not going to get married, right?" Yujiang affirmed firmly. "No, there is no way." Taking advantage of this opportunity, Woojin whispered, "Then are you free tomorrow? If you are free tomorrow, would you like to go somewhere with me?" Yujiang agreed without thinking. "Okay, the store won't be open tomorrow, so I am free." Suddenly she paused. "Wait, what?" Not giving Yujiang a chance to refuse, Woojin quickly made an appointment. "Then you are free, right? I will wait for you in front of the cafe." The next morning, the sky was clear. Every gust of wind played on the branches. The leaves shook slightly as if giggling. How peaceful. Contrary to this atmosphere, Yujiang seemed a little reluctant. "I do not usually go out like this." She thought back to the day she left Woojin's house. "I thought that Yanwoo and I would never meet again after that day." She had politely left a message for him. "Thank you for letting me stay. I am sorry for leaving a message instead of telling you directly. Yesterday I wanted to talk to you, but I did not have time. The keys and phone are here." But when they met again, Yujiang was a little happy. That, maybe it is because she felt something for Woojin. She wore clothes that were youthful and neat as she walked over. In front, Woojin was leaning against the car, focusing on the phone. He saw her, smiled brightly. "You are here." He politely opened the car door and invited her to get in. "Here, let me open the door for you." Yujiang was polite, "Thank you," but the car made her a little suspicious. The car is different from last time. Yujiang immediately got into the car, automatically putting the seatbelt over her. Woojin's eyes in the car did not leave her. He blurted out, "You look so beautiful today." Realizing that he had said a little too much, he quickly covered up. "I mean, you are always beautiful, but I wanted to say that to you today." "You?" Jiang laughed awkwardly. "Thank you." To break this awkward atmosphere, she changed the subject. "Now that I think about it, we have never decided where to go." Woojin confidently answered her, "I have a place ready." He also affirmed firmly, "You will like it, I am sure." The wheels gradually moved, taking the two away. Only a moment later, they were close to the meeting point. Yujiang looked a little hesitant and looked into the distance. "Does he think I will like it?" They stopped right at an antique store that was no less luxurious. Woojin was excited. "We are here." She was a little surprised. "We are here." Yujiang looked up at the magnificent building with a little curiosity. "Is this the place he said I would like?" Woojin moved closer to her shoulder and whispered, "Let us go inside." She woke up and happily agreed, but in her heart she was still wondering, where exactly is this? Inside the store were many antiques, such as an old lamp, and even a frame of a woman from the past. In another corner, the cabinet, although old, was still clean and sturdy. The shop owner Junhyuk appeared. In his hand was a special box. His face was full of confidence. "These balls are smoke grenades. They explode very stably without malfunctioning, and are also quite popular with customers." Yujiang was a little suspicious. "Smoke grenades." He introduced more, that is right. "And this sword has been soaked in paralyzing medicine. If you use it to slash the opponent, you can buy a little more time." She seemed interested. "That is great." Woojin was like a president taking his little wife shopping. He stood there with his arms crossed and quickly closed the deal. "Let us take both of those items." As if meeting a big-shot customer, Junhyuk appeared respectful. "I will go to the warehouse to get new items for you. Please wait a moment." She turned to call Woojin, "Yeon Woo." He answered innocently, "Yes." Only now did Yujiang have time to ask Woojin about the matter she was curious about. "Can you explain? Why are we here now?" Woojin turned his face away. His face turned red and embarrassed. "Actually, I wanted to take you to a place that I thought you would like first, but I am a little worried." Yujiang did not seem to be enlightened at all. "Worried?" He gently pulled her sleeve and asked, "You do not want to take this protective gear just because it is not food?" She hesitated to think about the words she had said to Woojin before. Did I ever say that I would not receive things that were not food? Woojin sincerely shared his worries. To be honest, an acquaintance of mine in the guild said that recently a new S-class guide appeared. His face gradually became more serious. "Coincidentally, she has the same name as you, and I heard that this year there is only one new guide with that name." But Yuyang's face was surprisingly calm. "Yes, that is right." Woojin looked worried. "If you are an S-class guide, then it is very likely that you will encounter dangerous situations. Just with these items may not be enough. But I want you to be safe, in case something happens. And that is the reason for the pile of boxes stacked like a mountain in front of her. So all of those boxes are all protective equipment for me." Woojin pouted. "Don't you like them? What do I have to do for you to smile at me again?" He remembered her only smile at that time. "You smiled when I gave you blue roses, but you did not like any of the other flowers after that." Yujiang thought deeply. "The other flowers? That is right." Another bouquet of flowers appeared sparkling in her memory. At that time, she suddenly asked him, "What is this, Yeon-woo?" Woojin gently brought the bouquet towards her. "I thought you might like them." Yujiang tried to think about what she had said at that time. "It seems that I reacted instinctively and said that I did not need them." Wu Jin's hand still tightly grasped the hem of her clothes. Without letting go, he earnestly, "So this time, I prepared something different." Yu Jiang coldly wondered, "So why do you want me to smile?" To not waste any more time, Yu Jiang was frank. "Sorry if I misunderstood, but you like me, right? Yan Wu." The surrounding atmosphere suddenly became quiet and nervous, waiting for Wu Jin's answer. His face became sparkling and surprisingly excited. Yu Jiang saw and thought, "Why is he making that expression?" Her face was dull. She was again lost in her thoughts. Could it be that he only wants to show his gratitude as an awakened person like me? I should not have asked if he likes me. Yu Jiang broke out in a cold sweat. Her thoughts poured out nonstop. Could it be that I really misunderstood? Is it because I have lived too many years in another world? Could this just be an act of friendship between a guide and an esper? If that is the case, then... Wu Jin saw her flustered like that. His face flushed and stammered, "You, hey!" She had a bad feeling and quickly covered his mouth, interrupting, "It is okay. I said the wrong thing just now. What I really wanted to say is..." Yu Jiang changed the subject and flipped her face as quickly as flipping a pancake. "Are you really a C-class esper?" She covered his mouth too tightly, causing him to only utter unclear words. C-class esper. Yu Jiang let go of her hand to give Wu Jin space to breathe. "That is right. When I was guiding you, it did not seem like that. It felt like something was wrong." She did not pay attention to the gloomy atmosphere around Wu Jin. At this time, she kept asking, "Do you feel tired or exhausted after I guide? Have you ever had a headache? Insomnia or heartburn after that?" He was absent-minded. "What? No, not at all." At this time, his hands had been clenched tightly as if he was restraining his feelings, and she was still chattering non-stop. "Sorry for not being thoughtful enough. I thought you were okay, because I only guided at a low level, and had not provided enough for you." By now, she had paid a little attention to Wu Jin's face. Wait, hold on." Yu Zhouang looked up and frowned. Her hand reached out and touched his cheek. She called out loudly, "Yan Wu." He woke up in an instant. His hand trembled and reached up to touch her hand lightly. "Can I hold your hand like this?" She remained in that position, comforting him. "Yes, of course you can." And so the two got into the car and left the store, continuing on their way. Behind the car were piled up with Yu Jiang's gifts. The silence in the car seemed stifling. Yu Jiang turned to ask, "Wu Jin, you keep asking me about holding hands. Is that a habit of yours, Yan Wu?" He answered her, "Not really." Wu Jin lowered his head and worried, "I just do not want to scare you." "You?" Jiang asked. "Then why do you loosen your hand every time you hold my hand?" He gently explained. "Because I do not want to make mistakes and hurt you. What if I break your hand?" She could not help but be surprised. "What? How can you break my hand just by holding hands?" Yu Jiang guessed about Wu Jin. "Are you a physique enhancement esper?" He shook his head in denial. She looked at him, thinking deeply. "I heard that some espers see guides, as if they are made of glass. Is he one of those espers?" Yu Jiang held out her hand happily. "Then, let me take this opportunity to show you. Human hands are actually stronger than you think." She turned her hand towards him. "Hold my hand, Yan Wu." He hesitated a little and raised his hand towards her. His hand gently rested on her hand. She felt that touch. "He is not clenching my hand at all. That is strange." Yu Jiang encouraged him like a child. "Now try to squeeze gently." He glanced at his hands, a little hesitant. She immediately took the initiative to squeeze his hand tightly, and raised it brightly. "Like this is... Okay, can you remember this feeling?" He nodded and smiled happily. "Yes." Yu Jiang coaxed him like a child. "From now on, you can hold my hand like this. It does not hurt, and you do not need to worry about breaking my hand either." Wu Jin seemed to grasp the key word in her sentence. From now on, she pulled her hand back and changed the subject to avoid embarrassment. "Now let us go to the next place. We are out to have fun, right?" She asked him excitedly. "Where are we going next?" His face flushed red. "Hotel." Yu Jiang did not seem to hear any of the words, and cheerfully replied, "A hotel sounds good too." Only 3 seconds later did her head absorb those 2 words. She shouted in the car, "Wait, a hotel!" And so they did come to a hotel, but this place looked very luxurious. On the table was already a huge, multi-layered chocolate cake waiting for them. Not only that, delicious cakes were also brought out one by the staff. After only a moment, her table was full of delicious-looking food, making her stunned. Yu Jiang suddenly turned away, hiding her embarrassment. "I hate myself for rushing to guess everything. I always thought that I hardly had such desires." Wu Jin was a little worried. "Do you feel unwell anywhere?" She waved her hand, smiling awkwardly. "No, I am fine." He politely cut a piece of cake and brought it towards her. "Here, please eat," she replied. "Thank you." Yu Jiang seemed to be enjoying this moment very much. She ate deliciously while thinking, "I am not sure if this feeling is love, but I know I like Yan Wu, and I want to be by his side. How can I hate a person who cares and cares for me so much?" She happily suggested, "If you really need guiding, tell me. I may not be able to help all the time, but if I can, I will help." She also denied what she was enjoying. Of course not, because of the desserts. Woo Jin tapped the table lightly a few times. Really? His face lit up brightly. Then you won't abandon me anymore, right? Yu Jiang unexpectedly retorted. When did I abandon you? He glanced to the side, pouting coquettishly. But, you left my house without saying anything. She immediately denied. Hey, that is not fair. I left a message. He still argued. Even so, tell me directly next time. Yu Jiang was a little more silent. Yan Wu, this might sound a little cold. Would it change anything if I said it directly? Even if I said it, the result would still be the same. You would still leave. Because Yu Jiang was a stranger, and there was no place that completely belonged to her, like when she suddenly came to another world, and she had to leave without saying goodbye. Wu Jin comforted her. Maybe you did not have to leave. And suggested, if you are having trouble, I can help you. The two were awkward again. Wu Jin spoke. Do you like the dessert? I heard my friend say that the desserts here are great. She was delighted. They are very delicious. His heart was light. I am glad to hear that. I thought you would like it. Yu Jiang smiled brightly, grateful. Thank you for bringing me here. They are really very delicious. That smile made Wu Jin dazed again. He hurriedly turned his face away, hiding his emotions. It seemed that at this time he felt that it was a suitable time to ask for something. He was quick-witted. It seems I need guiding right now. Please hold my hand. The surrounding atmosphere suddenly became quiet, and there was no sound of people talking. Only the voices at Yu Jiang and Wu Jin's table could be heard. She touched his hand and began to operate. I think this wandering life is not so bad. He listened carefully to every word she said. Yu Jiang's face calmly told about her. When I heard that that jerk had destroyed the apartment that I had worked hard to get, I thought about giving up and returning to my family. But then I met you, Yan Wu. Wu Jin's eyes did not leave her, she was frank. Successfully opened my own cafe, found kind employees, and now the store is running. Well, recently, everything has been going very smoothly, although it is also a little scary. She thought of the day when she and Minji were chased by monsters. The bad things also happened, but it was a test of strength. Then she cheered up again. After the rain comes the sun, but inside she was a little helpless. Normally I avoid saying the thoughts in my head, but today everything just came out. Suddenly Wu Jin's face became pale and lifeless. He squeezed her hand tighter and gently pulled back, making her startled. Yu Jiang asked worriedly, Yan Wu, what is wrong? He quickly covered up. I just think this guiding is not enough. She hastily reached her hand towards him. Quickly, give me your other hand. She held both of his hands and continuously transmitted more power. Feeling that her strength was not enough, she hesitated. I have used a lot of power already, but it is still not enough. It is really hard to increase the level here. He closed his eyes to recuperate but did not forget to question her. Do you really hate that person? Yu Jiang looked blankly and asked back. That person who? Wu Jin replied. Yan Wu Jin. That name made her suddenly remember. She frankly retorted, yes, I hate him, but inside she was curious. Why is he asking that? She turned her face away to avoid his eyes. I like to speak ill of him, but not everyone hates Yan Wu Jin like me. At the time 8 years ago, on May 25th, the gates began to open at the same time around the world. The most dangerous gate was the Red Gate that appeared in Korea. Countless monsters poured out of the gate, and of course, the surrounding areas became withered and toxic. In our country alone, hundreds of thousands of people died or were seriously injured, creating great losses. It was Yan Wu Jin who led a group of espers to close that gate. After that, to commemorate the victims, the day the gate was closed became an annual holiday. Every year, a festival is also held on this day to celebrate the closing of the gate. During that time, Yan Wu Jin established his guild Messiah and set a precedent for guilds to act independently of the government. It was thanks to them that standards and systems began to be established in this chaotic world. Although the merits were like that, that could not convince Yu Jiang, she thought. It is very impressive, but to a person who has lived in another world like me, that is just one of the stories about heroes. If you look at the results, he is the culprit who destroyed my house many times. Wu Jin earnestly. Can I ask why you do not like him? Yu Jiang slowly explained. Because he is the one who made my life more difficult than it already was. I had a very bad life before. She spoke non-stop. They say that time will heal everything, but when people experience things they can't handle, they tend to avoid thinking about it. And then Yu Jiang affirmed again. Yan Wu Jin gives me such a feeling. Just thinking about him makes me tired and stressed. And Harkad, I do not want to meet him. Wu Jin slumped down. Sadly, this situation made her panic. Wait, Yan Wu, are you okay? You look too pale. His trembling hands grasped her hands. She gently suggested. Please let go of my hands. He gently pulled her hand up, cherishing and lightly kissing it. But I do not want to. Yu Jiang was silent for a moment. Maybe this situation is more serious than I thought. Her voice was louder. Let me go, Yan Wu. Wu Jin immediately let go of her hands. His expression was a little sad and regretful. She reached out and touched his forehead. That made him suddenly wake up. Yu Jiang sat up and leaned close to his head, asking caringly, "You do not have cold sweat, but do you feel pain anywhere? Tell me how you feel. If it is guiding, I can help."